ABC Sport.
We begin this broadcast by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which this match will be played today and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. We extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples listening.
Boy, we're going to have some fun.
The AFL in 2026 on ABC Sport.
When the siren sounds. Here we go. Listen to the roar. It is showtime.
Hey, take a seat, because it don't get better than this.
Right to the goal line. Jamie Elliott, the man who gravity forgot.
That's why we love AFL football.
On ABC Sport, this is the AFL.
Sit back, relax, witness the greatest. It don't get better than this.
From 45 and rides it all the way home.
An ambitious effort. Unbelievable.
The left foot is a goal. Oh, yeah.
Take a seat, because it don't get better than this.
Rosen kicks off goal. The prancing pony.
What a goal.
He's off and running from 45 to get the party started.
Take a seat, because it don't get better than this.
It's bouncing. It's through. Bailey Smith. He'll want the cameras on him right now.
Like camera action, baby. Countdown to contact.
Spins around and buries it. Loads up from 55. That's a monster bomb.
40 metres out, snaps towards goal. What a beautiful finish.
Bacon goes square, goes for glory.
He eyes the goals and sends it home.
Don't get better than this.
100% pure footy.
Every minute of every match, all season long.
Gathers, snaps, goal.
It's just football at its best.
Take a seat, because it don't get better than this.
Big on goal, dribbles it through. What about that? Took them all on and said, I'll have some of this.
Bailey pinches his pocket and bang, bang, bang. That's the price you pay against the Premier.
Watson snaps. Oh, Watson puts it through. And the Wizard arrives precisely on time. He's built for the big stage. On his left boot, his kick is good.
AFL.
Inside 50, off the step, turns and goes bang. And snap.
And goal.
There's some bravery through the middle of the ground.
How good is that? What a goal. He wastes no time. He whacks it through for another. It doesn't have to be your night, but it can be your moment. Hands it to Charlie Cameron. He can walk it in. Show him your tail lights, Charlie.
Welcome to ABC Sports coverage of the 2026 AFL Premiership season.
Runs the 50 out. What a way to finish.
Take a seat, because it don't get better than this.
On radio
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
and ABC Listen.
Yeah, take a seat, because it don't get better than this.
The final of 5 matches played in 3 states over opening round to kick off the 2026 AFL season concludes with St Kilda and Collingwood from the MCG tonight. Hello and welcome to ABC Sports coverage of the AFL season. I'm Matt Clinch and it's great to be back with you. A crowd of over 80,000 expected tonight. If they can break 82,000, it will be St Kilda's biggest home and away crowd apart from finals. A blockbuster contest is the only match outside of New South Wales and Queensland, and for some the perfect lead-in to the public holiday tomorrow. St Kilda have been the big spenders over the off-season, adding 4 players with big price tags. Tom De Koning, Jack Silvani from Carlton, flying Liam Ryan from the West Coast Eagles and son Sam Flanders. Can they take the shortcut to get back to September glory? While for the Magpies, they're nudging closer to the edge of the cliff as their champion group grows older in age. They're hoping there's still another premiership at the end of the road. We shall see tonight as to who can take the first step forward. It's a beautiful 24 degrees still in Melbourne this afternoon. And while the Formula One has been won and run, there's still all the action in the AFL to close out a Sunday night. Ben Cameron to call the action alongside me once more. Benny, welcome to season 2026.
Hello, Clinchy. It's great to be here, and what the AFL hopes will be their newest blockbuster, and more specifically, what St Kilda hopes will be the newest blockbuster. They're hoping that all of the Pies fans, along with their own, will drag in an enormous crowd here tonight. It's incredible, Clinchy. I mean, over 150,000 people at Albert Park for the F1. We could have 80,000 here today. Now, over 260,000 people across 2 sporting events, a Malcolm Blight torpedo apart. How good is that? It is a beautiful night for it. so thrilled for football to be back at our cradle of it here in Melbourne.
And there's plenty of people out and about in the city, so no doubt if they're not coming to the footy, they'll be following us on ABC Sport. We mentioned the new signings for St Kilda. It's also a milestone night for Collingwood coach Craig McRae, who coaches his 100th game. Jack Bullard makes his debut, the former Sydney Swan. And Scott Pendlebury is behind just Boomer Harvey now in terms of the game's record as he joins Michael Tuck on game 426 tonight. Our experts are back and ready to go for another season. Two-time All-Australian, number one draft pick, Brett Delidio is with us for another year. Welcome to you, Lids.
Good evening, Clinchy, Benny and Bally. I'm wrapped to be here on this opening round night. I think that the AFL got it right by bringing at least one game here into Victoria. The ground looks absolutely Mickey Mouse. It certainly entices me to get back out there and run a little bit, Bally. I'm more inclined to stay on the hardwood floors of the basketball court rather than the grass. But, geez, it looks in perfect condition. Really looking forward to tonight. I think the Saints, look, I've been and watched them train a couple of times. They look sharp at the moment. I reckon Ross has got them really wound up and ready to go. With the addition of those players that you mentioned before, it's going to be an absolute crack of a game.
And in your younger days, you might have been at the Formula One, but today you're doing Father of the Year responsibilities.
Well, guilty as charged, Clinchy, yes. My wife, actually, she caught the calf case, Bally, would you believe? She's pinged one. I had to go pick her up, play the ambulance today. But then I had, a basketball tournament, spent a lot of time down in Casey. Beautiful part of the world down there. I don't know what the Melbourne people are complaining about, or the boys are. And then taught my 4-year-old how to ride a bike without training wheels. So
well done.
I'll be putting my hand up for Father of the Year, that's for sure.
Always a great moment of trust between father and daughter, or father and son. And sitting alongside Lids, premiership player with the Magpies, started his career with the Saints. It's great to have Luke Ball with you. You've heard him on AFL Saturday already with Mick Corbin and the crew. But Bolly, welcome to season 2026.
Oh, thanks, Clinchy. Yeah, always grateful to be back for another year. And Lids, you might have to get the kids on the calf raises early.
I know, right?
Between the two of you, the genes. I'm a bit worried there, but it is great to be here. And you're right, Lids. It just feels right to have a game in Melbourne tonight. The city's buzzing. It's a great long weekend. We've got the Grand Prix, the races yesterday, Moomba tomorrow. So terrific to come along to the G tonight. Hopefully we do pack it out. Even the neutrals come along if you're umming and ahhing and you've got a ticket. Where else would you rather be? Ground looks great, as you said, and what a contest. The Buzz team really over the pre-season. The Saints, plenty of hype, and they've embraced it. Yeah, to be fair, they've said, yep, we want to contend. We've brought in some big players, as we know, and it may be on the flip side too, that the question marks around the Pies. Most have got, look at the pundits, the tips that come out at the start of the year, the Nostradamus, most have got the Pies sliding. So we'll get... we won't jump to conclusions, whatever happens tonight, but we'll get an indication, certainly from the Saints, I think, as to how legit they are.
Don't be silly, Bally. Of course we will. That's what we like to do in the media. We'll jump to conclusions depending on what happens this evening. But I did watch the Marching In documentary, and they were very forthright in the fact that their mantra with this group is best Saints ever. So they are certainly setting aspirational goals and trying to track towards that. Also worth mentioning just quickly, the team's just in, no late changes for either side. So as named, we will see them tonight.
That sounds a little bit like the Blues many years ago, where they know we're coming.
I don't know. Sorry, aspirational. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's a
you got to lean
good
into
goal.
It. You got to lean into it.
Yeah. And we know there were some pretty good teams. It's 60 years, of course, this year since their one and only Premiership Cup was delivered back in 1966. I think there's a function tonight. It's bumped into Michael Roberts out the back, and I think they've got a lot of the crew that are still alive. Obviously, the 66 crew here tonight watching the game, and I know there's a past players function as well, being a Saints home game. So let's see if they can kickstart their year and their first step on the way to being the best Saints team.
So Collingwood President Barry Karp will join you in the lead-up to tonight's match. There's plenty of questions to ask around Collingwood and some of the rumours around Craig McRae during the week. And we'll take you inside the St Kilda camp. Jimmy Allen, who's crossed over from Werribee, where he was a premiership coach there. We'll chat with Lauren Borden down on the boundary. And there's been some questions around St Kilda's defence in recent seasons as Jack Silvani comes in to try and bolster that. Lids, you work in the player-manager side of things. It's always the perennial debate as to how do you try and take shortcuts to improve a list that's not quite there. When you look at the players in which St Kilda have brought in, and look, they left a few at the altar as well, with Lecalier being told that they didn't want to pursue him in the end, and the captain, Jack Steele, told it's time for you to move on as well. Does Jack Silvani, Tom De Koning, Sam Flanders and Liam Ryan move the needle in your eyes in St Kilda's aspiration to climb the ladder from 12th?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, absolutely. First things first, I think the signing of Naz was really important for them. There's Wanganeen Miller and their ability to then bring in those other guys and have their commitment brought in with Flanders as well is another one who just adds more depth and more speed, I think, through that midfield. But the addition of Jack Silvani, I think, shores them up down back. I really like that. I think De Koning to play in the ruck allows to get two of the best in terms of him and Marshall. I know they did have a really good ruckman in Marshall, but to add Tom De Koning, I think, then it brings in the other guys that follow the lead. The hardest part with it all is making sure that your other stars that you have got there. Hang on a second. Where do I sit in the pecking order? We saw Cal Wilkie look to explore his options, and I'm sure there was a couple of others in there asking questions as well. So, I mean, winning usually takes care of all of that. If you start to win and blokes buy in, but if the wheels start to fall off and they don't tend to get the results, then you tend to might have a few cracks.
We've also seen a lot of teams win premierships with recycled ruckmen who are, off the rookie list or something of the like. I mean, even Darcy Cameron was someone that Collingwood got from the Sydney Swans, and they wouldn't have been paying big money to when they won the flag. They might have with his new deal that he's just signed. But it's going to be close to $2.5 million invested in their ruck department with Marshall and De Koning. Is that too much if you're building what you hope to be a premiership side?
Well, again, time will tell, won't it? I think there'd certainly be a hope that, we know that there will, especially until Max King returns to the team, that there'd be an expectation that they get 30 goals out of one of the two, I think, or maybe let's call it 50 out of both of them across the season. Can they get 1.5, 2 a game out of both of them? So that would certainly be part of the plan. I think De Koning at his best has shown that he's capable of doing that, as has Rowan Marshall. So there's no doubt that it's not just a pure ruck play, and we know that the extra on the bench, the 23rd on the bench now, the sub-vest disappears. That'll allow teams to experiment a little bit more around that side of it, but time will tell, like it always does. But I think you're right. I mean, it is a stars league. We know that. You see the teams at the pointy end. The lines of the benchmark still. If you don't have that A++ talent, it's going to be pretty hard to win it. And so you're right. Wanganeen Miller, who looks like, he's not there yet because he hasn't done it consistently, but he looks like he's almost there.
Yep.
He was the big signing, and then they build around that. And I think the age profile of the guys they've brought in, I think, is really important too. I think that we know that they've probably still got their best footy in front of them, and Flanders as well at his best has shown that he's a top 5, top 3 in a club B&F type of player. So I think it's come together pretty well. I think I heard the coaching staff say that and many sort of have thought that it was a bit of an overreach, but it has been part of a plan. And Stars, and in fairness, Stars don't become available that often, do they? So they were the best available. I think they said no to Dan Houston last year because they had these prize top draft picks in a really good draft. So they brought draft capital in. So it's been a combination. It hasn't just been bringing players in. It's been a combination of building through the draft, and now they were ready to go with these senior players.
What do you think his ceiling can be, ball in, Asai Wanganeen Miller, with the way he finished the season last year, the speculation around his contract, and just to whet the appetite of fans with 4 goals and 28 disposals in a pre-season game? Save it for the real stuff. But where he could play his best footy this season?
Well, a bit of every. I picked him for the Brownlow medal, so anything less than that is a disappointing year from my point of view.
High standards from the outset.
There's his ceiling. But I think the beauty of him is he can be deployed in so many different areas. He built his year last year at halfback. He's injected into the midfield when they needed some run and dash and a bit of class through there, and we saw what he was able to do. I think the last part of the thought is, okay, well, now he comes in as that linchpin. He'll be targeted a lot more. He'll be tagged, but I think he dealt with tags pretty well last year. And the beauty of him, he can go forward and take a mark as well, and
go back.
He's such a beautiful kick. So really hard play to plan for and to match up against because of all those attributes that he does have.
Well, he's got so many. That attribute to get from inside the contest, but to be so calm and get outside and then still find a target down the field. What I've loved is his ability to go forward, and if he can play out of the square and everyone else get out of the way and let him just be down there, I reckon that's going to be you might not have it 25 times, but you have it 15 and still kick 4 or 5.
I think between him and it looks like even over the pre-season they've been more inclined to play Sinclair through the middle a bit more, which we think he's such a class player through. The challenge will be, what do they lose off half-back? I think most teams these days, or the good teams, have that run. We saw the Gold Coast, didn't we, on Friday night? That real run and dare and kicking skills across halfback. You take Sinclair and Wanganeen Miller out, and just looking at their team on paper or how it's positioned for tonight's game. With Silvani, now he's shown that he can kick it pretty well off halfback, but if it's Wilkie, Silvani, young Taru, and one or two other, and Caminiti down there, it doesn't really have that, does it?
There's no drive.
There's no real run and carry, so that'll be the challenge. It's how much do you, it's the old Rob Peter to pay pause, and how much do you take away from that by putting Wanganeen Miller and Sinclair around the ball, and that'll be the balance across the night and the season for the Saints.
The Magpies did start their season without their captain, Darcy Moore. Jeremy Howe also to miss. How much of their aspiration to be there come the pointy end of the season rests on the shoulders of Nick Dacos, the little star, who will try and do what Nasiah Wanganeen is doing as well.
Well, exactly right. And I think him performing, Ball and I were talking off air before, they're weaker at the bookends, aren't they? That's not their strong suit. Where they're going to kick their goals, I'm really concerned about before the game even starts. But their midfield is their strong suit. And if they get up and going, I think, Bawley mentioned he thinks Josh Dacos should spend more time in and around the nut, versus being out on the wings, allow someone else. I've liked the development of young Ned Long. I think he's been a great addition. Bigger body, can go in there and add a little bit of calmness inside. Ed Allen's the one that needs to probably stand up and offer that as well, going through that midfield, because you always know what you're going to get out of a Pendlebury and Dacos when they're running through there. So it's I think it's a midfield battle tonight. But can they kick enough goals, to actually stay in the game? But I've got concerns, Clinchy. That's all. That's where I'll leave that.
And two of their top four leading goal kickers from last season up there. So Jamie Elliott had a breakout season with 60 goals last season. Brody Myercheck was not given the contract he wanted, so he makes way with 36 goals to the Demons. And Bobby Hill is out of the side at the moment with 20 goals. And concern, obviously, about his well-being as he tries to make a return to footy. But they're hoping for the return of Jordan Ngoe back to some of his best footy. Bo McCreary has had his own injuries. And then the inclusions of players like Lockie Schultz and Dan Houston, who they had aspirations to be bigger contributors than what they've been in their first couple of seasons.
Yeah, and so the heat will go on them to go again this year and step up and deliver a little bit more, as you say. And I think it can be a challenge moving from one club, one system to another. And Collingwood played in a certain way last year that maybe didn't suit Houston the way he'd been playing at Port Adelaide. So. But he's an experienced player and a highly paid player. So, the challenge that he has to accept is, okay, how do I lift my level to be able to deliver what the team needs from me? So he's certainly one that you talk about, okay, where's the improvement going to come from this year? And everyone will focus on the older players. Well, Houston's right in his prime, isn't he? So between him and Perryman in particular, I really liked McCreary's year last year. I think whilst he's a low possession type of player, he's a high impact, and they'll certainly look to use him through the centre bounce this year as well. Quain Orr's, right in his prime as well. So
I reckon De Goey's the one who needs to shoulder a bit more of the load and give, hasn't been all Australian, I don't think. No. But just been that burst player, but hasn't really shown that consistency to say, well, you know what, I can go and play midfield. I know he's had injuries and he's probably not that player who's going to churn out 30 touches for you and do it consistently week in, week out. He's going to be that burst who goes forward and kicks goals. But can he be the reason why have a Jamie Elliott type year like he did last year, or a Jack Gunston at the Hawks where it was a breakout year as you're an older player? Can I get that out of him? I don't know.
His best season was 48 goals in 2018 when Nathan Buckley played him as a forward, but only twice in his career has he kicked over 30 goals. So it's that question, as you said, Bawley, do you need him as a forward or do you need him as a midfielder? And I guess they're the challenges for Collingwood in trying to set up their team for the best possible chances. And the player who just keeps keeping on is Scott Pendlebury, 38 years of age. Of course, now joins Michael Tuck in terms of games played with 426 games. So it's only Boomer Harvey who he's chasing down, who stands in front of him. And Scott Pendlebury, what a career he's had and continues to have. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Matt Clinch alongside Ben Cameron, Luke Ball and Brett Delidio, your experts on ABC Sport. The final member of our team can take us inside the St Kilda camp. It's a very good evening to Lauren Borden.
Thanks, Clinchy. It's a wonderful evening as well to be down here on the MCG for opening round and the opening match at the MCG for the season. I'm joined by Jimmy Allen, so close to the bounce. St Kilda assistant coach, head of the backs. Jimmy, thanks for your time so close to the start of the season for St Kilda.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. Beautiful night, as you said. Crowds pouring in here, so
unbelievable night for footy. Really excited.
The players are just walking back into the rooms behind us. It's not often we get to chat to someone 25 minutes from the start of the match and the start of a season. So what happens right now up until the start of the match?
It's a good question. This is my first game involved at AFL level, but I think the boys will go get a bit of quiet time. We'll have a quick chat to them before they come out, and they'll get ready to go. So most of the work's been done. They've just got to come out and perform now.
Well, I wanted to chat to you about your career so far. So, a premiership-winning coach at Werribee, the big drought-breaking premiership a couple of years ago, 3-time Magarey medalist in the SA NFL. What can you tell us about your own career, or what are you most proud of up until this point?
Oh, look, I don't want to talk about it too much. I had a really good time, went over to SA. I wasn't good enough to play AFL footy, so went over there and enjoyed it. Got into teaching and thought I didn't want to do that forever, and getting into coaching was probably the logical step. So it's all happened really quickly for me, but I'm really excited by this opportunity.
The classic teacher into footy coach. I like it when it comes to that. How has the first pre-season when it comes to being part of the AFL system treated you?
Yeah, it's been really good. Obviously, it's a really experienced coaching group, so I'm really lucky to have Robert Harvey, Brendan Bolton, Ross, Corey Enright, all these guys around to help me out. I came in late in the piece, so it's all happened really quickly. It felt like yesterday that I started. Now here we are, round 0. So, yeah, can't wait for it to start.
You've got a couple of co-captains in Jack Sinclair and Cal Wilkie in the back line, which you're taking care of. That must be pretty handy when you've got that leadership down there.
Yeah, absolutely. Got a really good mix there of experienced guys and then some young guys who are still trying to establish themselves at this level. Jack Carroll comes in tonight and gets the opportunity. Hasn't played a lot back. Marcus Windhager will go through the back line a little bit as well. He's played mainly as a midfielder, so see what happens there tonight. But, it's been really good. I've been leaning on them as much as they've been leaning on me. So, yeah, it's been great.
And we're all interested to see Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller. How long will he be lining up in the back line for? And how do you share it when it comes with the midfield role and where he's going to play his time and his minutes in terms of that? How's that going in the conversation between the coaches?
It's been an interesting conversation. I want him down back. Bolts wants him forward and Hales wants him in the midfield. So if we had 3 of him, it would be great. We've got some other good players as well that we think can support him, and he's in really good form. He's going to have a big job to do for us tonight. He'll start in the midfield, but yeah, we're really excited. And it's just a pleasure to watch him train and play. He does some things that are just unbelievable.
And obviously this is the final match of opening round. Have you watched the games throughout the weekend just to get a little bit of an insight into how the rule changes are being monitored, particularly maybe the stand rule and the 50s that have been paid? The umpires have been pretty hot on it.
Yeah, they have been, and all through the pre-season, you have umpires out to training, and we've been really red hot on our guys. And in any sort of close game you see last night, you don't want to give away a 50 and have that decide the match. So I'm sure they'll be red hot on it tonight, but we've done plenty of work. Hopefully that holds us in good stead tonight.
And just a big picture one to finish off with. What are your expectations for St Kilda coming into this season? There's probably a lot of hype around them to improve from last year, but where do you see the Saints going this year?
Yeah, I think that's the key. It's just all about improvement. Obviously, we've brought in some quality players, but hopefully we get plenty of growth from the guys who have been around before, and that improvement's going to come from the whole squad, not just 4 players. So to play tonight's unreal. We get to test ourselves and we'll get a bit of feedback on how we're going.
Jimmy, thanks so much for your time so close to the start of the match. Enjoy sitting up in the coaching box at the MCG.
Thank you very much.
Jimmy Allen, who's living his dream, now coaching, involved with an AFL club, joining to Lauren Borden down on the boundary, as St Kilda have been honouring their 1966 premiership side, and those that are still living, their families and partners, a chance to come along and be a part of it, and some of them have been down at ground level on the MCG. If you want to join us throughout the night, 0437 774 774 is the SMS number, 0437 774 774. Coming up next on Sunday Night Footy on ABC Sport, the Collingwood president, Barry Karp, will join us.
There's no doubt that country music is bigger than ever right now. Join me, Outback Tom, as I get you around the artists that are blazing a trail. Listen to Country Club, Sunday night at 6 on ABC Country, or anytime you like on the ABC Listen app.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season.
On ABC Sport.
AFL. On ABC Radio.
On digital. And ABC Listen.
Look for the AFL button.
Sunday footy from the MCG on ABC Sport. It's St Kilda taking on Collingwood, and the 15th president of the Magpies, Barry Karp, has been good enough to join us ahead of their opening round clash. Barry, welcome to season 2026, and you're an away tenant at the MCG.
Thank you, Matt. Great to be here, and great to be with you. What an exciting night.
Give me your take on opening round as to how you see it and this, I guess, creation of playing the pre-public holiday game on a Sunday night?
I think it's fantastic. I think the 4 games that we've seen so far have been brilliant. Real promotion of the game in the northern states, which is great. And here we are at the MCG on a Sunday night, Formula One into this and a public holiday tomorrow. I mean, how perfect. So we're delighted to be here. Delighted to be the away team at the MCG and look forward, hopefully, to a great game.
We're expecting a crowd of around 80,000 tonight. Does that justify it as a marquee event in your eyes?
Well, I think it absolutely does, Matt, and I think the exciting thing is for our fans and members to be able to come out here on a Sunday night with a holiday tomorrow and really enjoy what the team has to offer. So I think it is a marquee game and very excited about it.
Barry, the big story during the week, regrettably, was about Craig McRae and really salacious, unfortunate rumours that were being spread about him. Why did the club feel the need to clear that up?
Well, firstly, can I say congratulations to 100 games tonight as coach of our club. And when you think about the impact that he's had coming in late 21, the changes he brought with him, the values, the connection, effectively the love, he transformed the Collingwood Football Club. We shouldn't forget that. And our members and fans know that. So when you have a situation where faceless, nameless, social media platforms are putting out this sort of stuff, I think at some point it comes to a point where you say enough's enough. A wonderful man, a wonderful family, and doing so much for our club and for connecting football fans. And I think it's enough is enough.
Yeah, I think I'll second that as well. And certainly congratulations on 100 games. He's been a breath of fresh air in the media as well with his performances there. Where's this list at? What are you anticipating from this year? I know you're not in charge of the football department, but you guys are briefed frequently by them. What's the board expecting from the list this year?
Oh, we're excited. I mean, I think I've seen the narrative around the age. I think I saw that our average age is 25.6. I think Brisbane's at 25.3. We're not miles off. The members and fans of our football club can be really excited about what they're going to see this year. Continuous improvement. Focus on some great new players coming into the club. Really excited about our draftees. Really excited about some of the younger guys that are going to get an opportunity. We're going to see Jack Buller tonight make his debut for the club. Excited about that. We won't see Angus Anderson this week. We won't see Ty Printable yet. We won't see Sam, Jer, Zach McCarthy. But Oscar Steen, Charlie West. I mean, there's so much for our fans and members to be excited about. And that's the evolution of a football club. The list turns over.
You're a very good mathematician in the work that you do. I didn't pay as much attention in maths, but I know with averages there can be issues. It feels like there's some very old and some very young at Collingwood, and maybe not a lot in the middle. It feels like everyone's concerned about whether there's a dearth of young talent coming through at the Pies. Are you and the board concerned?
I don't share the concern, and I have to say I don't subscribe to the narrative. I think perhaps we should flip the narrative and say what an amazing job by the Collingwood high performance team that keeps our older players, in inverted commas, playing the level of football that they're playing and the standard they're playing. And clearly Pendles and Steele and Howie, they're going to inflate those averages, I get that, but they're playing it at such a great level. So I'd like to flip the narrative and say, what a great performance by our Jared Wade and the high performance team.
Collingwood President Barry Karp is with you on ABC Sport ahead of opening round Collingwood and St Kilda. Scott Pendlebury also becomes the second games record holder behind Brent Harvey, joining Michael Tuck tonight. I mean, what a tremendous career he has had, and you have some challenges without Darcy Moore and Jeremy Howe as well tonight. So in terms of peppering the expectation of supporters, you're obviously optimistic as you come to the ground, but what do you think tonight?
I'm optimistic, but I did take some comfort in Scott Pendlebury saying before game 426 and season 21 or whatever it is that he felt a little nervous. Because I thought if Pendles feels a bit nervous, then all of our fans and members, all of us can afford to feel a bit nervous. And I think that's how you start a season. We're all, at the starting blocks ready to go. There is an uncertainty, there's an anxiety, there's a nervousness, but there's, an excitement and a joy being back at the footy and being back at the G.
And the debut for Jack Buller tonight. What should Collingwood fans expect from him?
Oh, just a contest. A guy that will bring the ball to the ground, just provide a contest. Members and fans can be really excited about what Jack's going to bring, and he's a terrific young man as well. And he and his partner Sean have just added so much to our club in the short time they've been there. So very excited.
And as we let you go, you've been appointed to the AFLW competition committee ahead of the upcoming AFLW season. So it's a chance to ask you about what changes, what sort of direction you feel that the W needs to take.
I think the W's going well and going ahead in leaps and bounds, Matt, to be honest. And from my perspective, it's as much about learning from a Collingwood perspective as anything else. We haven't in the last couple of years done as well as we'd like to do in the AFLW. So sitting around the table, being able to understand the issues and perhaps bring a lens to those issues is going to be helpful. We want to be much, much more competitive in the AFLW this year.
Not to back over old ground or revisit it, but the bequeathment story was an unfortunate one. You did apologise as a club about the insensitivity of it all. Will the program continue, though, and what can you learn from the whole episode?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, our constitution starts with the line that says the Collingwood Football Club belongs to its supporters and its members. And wherever and whenever we don't get that quite right, we need to own it. And I think there was no doubt that we've owned it. We certainly made a mistake. We upset some of our members, and that's not good enough. So we need to learn from that, a failure of process. Bequeathment programs are very common, whether they be schools, whether they be religious institutions, whether they be football clubs. So it's not so much the program as the execution of the program and the process. And we need to listen to our members and get a lot better with the way we do those things.
There's always plenty of questions. Tasmania's on the horizon. Barry, thank you for coming up. Hopefully we chat to you again throughout the season.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks for having me.
Collingwood President Barry Karp joining you for Sunday Footy on ABC Sport. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron to call the action. Lauren Borden down on the boundary. The thoughts of two-time All-Australian Brett Delidio and Collingwood Premiership player Luke Ball. As the Saints start their lead into tonight's match, it's a home game for them. Expected crowd is around 80,000 tonight. So the biggest ever home and away crowd for the Saints, apart from finals, is 81,386. And that was against the Magpies in round 16, 2010. So hoping that a few more will come along tonight and a chance to try and break that piece of history. The other news today has been around the match review officer. That's a 3-match suspension for Harris Andrews. So certainly a talking point as to how the game is going to be adjudicated this season, and the findings for the match review officer has been labelled. So unfortunately for Harris Andrews, he'll go and plead his case, but it stands as careless conduct, severe impact and high contact, a 3-match ban for his stray elbow to Artie Jones. Zach Bailey has also been given a 1-week suspension, intentional conduct, low impact, high contact for his contact to Michael Selwood. And Darcy Gardner has also been given a week for his careless conduct, median impact and high contact to Aaron Norton. That resulted in Norton getting the 50-metre penalty and the goal. So, yeah, the Harris Andrew one, Bully, is probably going to be the one we'll focus our time on.
Yeah, it will, given the consequences. But I find it hard to see how he gets that. He's not going to be able to get that downgraded from careless to accidental, I don't think. That was a classic careless. I don't think anyone, he certainly didn't mean to get him where he did. But it was a careless action
but if
in the play.
If you throw your arm behind you, you basically relinquish all control. It then depends on where you hit them, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So he
was purely just trying to stop him from getting access to the footy.
But it was too careless. The action was too careless.
He was doing it hard,
That's right. And so then you're at the mercy of the consequence, and poor old Artie gets knocked out. So hard to see that's anything but 3 weeks for Harris. Gardner, I think, might have a case again, whether that was... whether the contact was heavy enough or whether it was too late, or he might be able to get that downgraded. And the Bailey one, I think, that's one of those non-footy acts, that happens outside
that's frustration.
The field of play. That was frustration. That even though he could argue that he barely got in, that's. But
I can also understand why he has thrown that, because you've been tackled down hard over the boundary line. That frustrates you, and I've been in that similar position where you're like, that was uncalled for, didn't need that, but you can't be throwing elbows.
It's interesting, isn't it? Just you talk about what's going to stop Brisbane this year, and we had a chat on Saturday, Ben, about it, didn't we? And, short of say catastrophic injury, which we don't think will happen, or complacency that can come in the form of just little bits of ill discipline that they probably haven't done in terms of suspensions over the last couple of years. And when you've got 2 in your back pocket, those little things that you need to tidy up a little bit. I mean, they've got, it's obviously early in the year and you feel like they'll be able to cover it, but just a little early indication or a sign, a little warning sign for Chris Fagan to say, hey boys, come on, let's be a bit more disciplined than this, and we don't want this happening because we know they're going to have a tough draw, as you do when you're the reigning premiers. They go to Sydney and play Sydney next week, so just an early little warning sign for Chris.
And that's the challenge, isn't it? Sydney at the SCG on a Saturday night, they're going to be without Hugh McCluggage.
Yep.
Potentially
Bailey,
without Harris Andrews, potentially out Bailey and Gardner. Their backline all of a sudden.
With Payne already out, yep.
Will have some challenges. So they've still got Link McCarthy to come back in. It was great to see Kadeem Coleman back in. But
great to see Oscar Allen playing as well.
I haven't looked that far ahead, but do they match up again later in the year, Sydney and the Lions?
They will, yeah. You have to. I would imagine, yeah. You get the tough draw when you're the reigning premier. So the Dogs and the Swans, a terrific game, wasn't it? Like it was a great example. Like what we saw what we think are going to be a top 4 team on Thursday night demolish probably a bottom 8 team.
Yep.
The Cats, I think we're not going to overreact to that, but we saw the Suns, looking red hot. But last night we saw 2 teams that we think are going to be there at the pointy end.
You won't believe it, they don't meet again.
Throughout the whole
Dogs
season.
And the Lions? Such are the vagaries of the AFL draw, but they play an opening round and do not meet again.
What about the Swans and the Lions, though? Because we're going to miss out on that with full lineups. That's what I want to know later on.
As Ben looks through the schedule, Collingwood make their way out onto the MCG. The away team for a match here at the G to kick off opening round, led by Nick Dacos, who will captain the side tonight without Darcy Moore, alongside his brother Josh as they stride out to the MCG. And for Jack Buller, he makes his debut as a Magpie. 3 years in the system, the Western Australian played 10 games for the Sydney Swans. Collingwood liked what they saw, and they viewed him as the replacement for Brodie Myercheck in season 2026.
Sydney and the Western Bulldogs do meet.
Sydney and Brisbane.
Sydney and Brisbane, sorry. Sydney and Brisbane do meet again later in the season.
That's good. I just want to see both of those 2 sides at full strength because they've both got so many weapons, through that midfield.
Well, who plays on Charlie Curnow now? I mean, doesn't it set up beautifully for him? He gets through the game against his old team. He can settle into his work now, and he gets a Lions team completely depleted in terms of key backs. So anyway, we'll look forward to that. But all eyes on tonight's game. And I look at Josh Dacos, and it seems probably a bit silly to say, for someone who's won at best and fairest and been All-Australian, but I think he's the one this year. We probably think that Nick can't do too much more. I think Josh needs to go and spend a fair bit more time on the ball this year, and we saw that certain times last year in games, him going in that Gold Coast game, fresh in my mind, where he went in the last quarter and absolutely dominated. So he can do it, we know that. And that will allow Jordan Agoe to play a little bit more forward. We know he's probably going to have to kick 30-plus goals this year. That the young fella Buller, can he come in and just at least provide the contest that Myercheck did last year? And Myercheck didn't have his best year, but we know what he brought to that team in terms of reliability and being able to provide that target and that contest. And can Dan McStay have an uninterrupted run at it as well? These are all questions that are on Collingwood's fans' lips. I know that. Again, we know that Nick Dacos and Pendlebury and Sidebottom can't do too much more. So looking for the improvement to come around the edges. Houston's another one, and Perryman are the other 2 that we mentioned in their second year at the club.
They're the 2 probably I think need to go and raise the bar for him to be consistent and competitive and get to that prelim final like they did last year. But the Houston, by his own admission down here, Perryman, I don't think he's reached the heights yet that he was at the Giants. So bring those 2 boys in, lift them up, and then you get the lift from your young players that have been snipping at the heels, haven't they, for a while of this ageing midfield or older midfield, looking to get their chance in, young Ed Allen and Ned Long. Can they grab it and make it their own?
And as Collingwood make their way out onto the MCG, Scott Pendlebury starts his 21st season in the AFL.
Ridiculous.
Dustin Fletcher with 400 games, Kevin Bartlett with 403, Sean Burgoyne with 407. He joins Michael Tuck tonight with 426 games, and just Brent Harvey with 432 stands ahead of him in the games record holding in the VFL AFL. As the Saints have been banging the drums, they make their way out onto the MCG, led by Cal Wilkie and Jack Sinclair in season 2026. The hype around St Kilda as they've made big additions in the off-season. Now comes the time to try and stand up and deliver.
Would you two find it slightly weird or difficult as a player if a player went and met with a rival coach like Cal Wilkie did with Luke Beveridge, that's been reported, and then was co-captain the next year? I mean, they've voted for him, but would that be a little strange in the locker room or not at all?
I don't think so. I think we're
growing past.
Yeah, we are. I think we're at the stage where, particularly a player like that who has given so much to the club and is such a strong leader anyway, and you could understand in those particular circumstances too. I think it wasn't just the Zach Merritt one, for example. Up against that was a little bit different. He really initiated that, and I think you got the sense that while Wilkie was happy to have the chat, he was probably never really going to entertain leaving once the plan had been set out by the top brass going forward, and once Wanganeen Miller had re-signed. So,
or maybe I don't have an issue with it. It might not have been able to be facilitated, not unlike the Zach Merritt thing.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, well, maybe I don't try and push this too much further down the road, but
it's a modern age a bit, though.
I think we just need to come to terms with that. Yeah, players are going to be moving more, and it's a business versus the loyalty factor, and you shouldn't be picked and stay at your one club that you had no choice in going to in the first place. So, I think we just need to open our minds a little bit more to it all.
Well, to have an issue with it would be to suggest that you've got queries as to whether when they clock back in for work, they're not fully vested, which I just don't think that's the case. It's not with Merritt and it's not with Wilkie. So no, I think we, there might have been a little joke or a gag about it day one of pre-season, and then away they go.
Yeah, you don't miss those blokes when they go and explore their options.
Yeah, there might have been a Bulldog sticker on his locker or something like that, and then
when Dustin went up to the Giants, he was we had a high vis jacket and a hard hat for him waiting.
Speaking of high vis and hard hats, so I think, Benny, we were speculating as to why the St Kilda cheer squad or the whole bay are decked out in fluoro yellow. Are they hard hats?
They are hard hats at the Punt Road end.
RSCA. Very much an RSCA sponsor thing. So I don't know if there's any other sort of hidden meaning behind it. Benny, what do you reckon it is? Put your hard hat on, let's get to work. Is that what it is?
Get to the job site. Get to work. I like it.
Okay. Yeah, well.
I mean, if Ross Lyon goes down and addresses the cheer squad, I'd be all for it. It feels like he's done a lot of talking in the off-season, so it's going to be a fascinating contest tonight. I mean, the traditional matchups we've seen, Marcus Windhager has gone to Nick Dacos. Do we expect that tonight? And do we expect Nasai might get some close attention from Collingwood?
But who's the player that can go to him from Collingwood?
Again, it's a bit of a philosophy thing, isn't it? Like Ross has always been target the star and take away that. So I'd be absolutely staggered if Marcus Windhager didn't renew hostilities with Nick. Having said that, that game at Marvel Stadium towards the end last year when Dacos ended up getting on top, it was a fascinating contest, wasn't it? Dacos ended up being the match winner for Collingwood. So
he's warming up with the backs now, which would suggest that they either think he's going to play a little bit of time forward, or they're just he'll come up and basically try and nullify from the back of the square.
Yeah, but from a Wanganeen Miller point of view, I think if he's around the ball, someone like a Crisp who can play a bit more of a defensive role might get the job on him. If he goes behind the ball, they'll be looking at a Lockie Schultz or someone to make sure that they put some time in, or Browell McCreary, who's got the speed and will be able to at least pressure his disposal coming off half-back. And if he goes forward, maybe it's an Isaac Quaynor to go with him.
I just haven't seen Collingwood do it. I don't think they back their system. Yeah. They prefer to play their system and the way they want to go about it versus, we're not going to take a player away and try and nullify it. Let's just go head-to-head and see what they can do. Ross, on the other hand, and we've seen it for a number of years with him trying to nullify the best player from the opposition.
So how do you imagine the Tom De Koning, Rowan Marshall combination will work tonight?
I think without King, Marshall will play 60% forward, so maybe 30-70 even. So I think they'll give big TDK, and we saw that in the pre-season games, didn't we? They'll give him the first crack at the ruck, and I think with these, the tweaks to the rules as well, they certainly suit him. They stack up well for him and his athleticism. So he'll get a good crack at it. He'll get the first crack of it. And they'll be hoping that Rowan Marshall could impact the scoreboard early on. Billy Frampton, a pretty good matchup for both of those guys when they go forward as that lockdown key back. I'm looking at Higgins. Higgins really dangerous forward. He's had a good record against Collingwood. I think on this ground last year he did a number on them. So maybe it's a Quaynor, I think, goes to him and plays in that lockdown sort of role with Higgins' ability to impact in the air and on the ground. So there'll be some terrific matchups, won't there, all over the field tonight, but certainly none more than through the middle of the ground.
Three young players I'm looking forward to from the Saints. Young Darcy Wilson, I reckon he's ready to take his game to another level. Alex Taru, we saw him come onto the scene last year, just flies for everything. I love the way he attacks it. And there's young Max Hall as well, who finished, I think, 5th maybe in the best and fairest, or 4th last year for St Kilda. He just covers so much ground, but kicks goals as well. I think those three young players are going to be a big reason why they can push for a finals berth this year.
23 goals last season for Max Hall, and that's with a forward line that's adding Liam Ryan. We're intrigued to see what he will offer. Obviously playing with the West Coast Eagles.
Yep.
Tough team to be a part of when the ball's not getting down there all that much, but already seems a bit of symmetry between he and Isaiah Wanganeen-Miller.
Oh, mate, yeah, please. It'd be like Duncan and Hawkins back in the old days.
He'd be, that's right, he'd be licking his lips, wouldn't he? I mean, he's been down in starvation corner playing with the Eagles, Liam Ryan, as most of their forwards, in fairness, over the last couple of years. So he'll be looking forward to some nice, clean ball coming out of the centre square from some of those players that you mentioned. But the balance is going to be interesting, isn't it? So Sam Flanders, he'll be playing midfield time. We mentioned Jack Sinclair, so be really interested to see the midfield balance, how much they attack versus a Windhager going in as a pure defensive sort of mid, and whether he might start forward and come and tag from the
Jimmy Allen told us he was going to play back, so that's why.
Sorry, start back. So
you both played at different clubs. What's the flutter emotion before a game for your new club?
You go first, Paulie.
Oh, yeah, the nerves are definitely there. I was mid-20s. I'd played 140 games, but it was certainly like you were making your debut all over again. And you just wanted to play your role, and you wanted to be seen by your new supporters as just having a crack and being honest and reliable. So, these guys will want to do that tonight in their first outing. And obviously, then when you come up against your old team, it's a different thing altogether, isn't it? But they'll want to absolutely have an impact in their first time in new colours tonight.
First time against my old side. I was a bit further along. I was playing game 250, and I seriously felt like I was running out there for the first time, because you speak about trying to impress your supporters. Well, there weren't many of ours for the Giants here against the Tigers in that prelim final. So it's you certainly want to go out there and try and just to play your role, impress, do the right things, but when things don't go right, ball, and you haven't touched it halfway through the second, you start to go a bit inside yourself and worry about where that first one's coming.
Yeah.
ABC Sport, of course, is not just your home of AFL, but we have so many other sports covered. The Matildas and the Korea Republic are about to clash for top spot of Group A from Stadium Australia. You can hear our coverage on ABC Listen through the green and gold Asian Cup buttons. So coverage available there. For the Australian women's side, it was a 10-wicket win over India. The multi-format series coming to a conclusion this afternoon, and Elisa Healy finishes her career on a real high. 12 points to 4 was the final scoreline in terms of the multi-format series. And across town at Albert Park, there was a 1-2 for Mercedes, with Russell and Antonelli ahead of Charles Leclerc for Ferrari. But the disappointment was for Oscar Piastri, who didn't complete his lead-up lap to starting on the grid. And he's since issued an apology to the Australian fans who were hoping to see the Flying Aussie in action. The captains gather in the middle of the MCG. Nick Dacos, the standing captain for Darcy Moore, and Jack Sinclair gets the first opportunity, the co-captain, alongside Cal Wilkie. And Nick Dacos wins the toss, and the Saints will be heading to the city end as the crowd continues to build. As we look to the Shane Warne stands end, they're all towards the back row, which suggests that we're going to have a big crowd, and the hope is it will be over 82,000, which would be a record for St Kilda for their home and away record. Tips and predictions for tonight, Lids and Bawley.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Saints. I just think they've shown enough early days to suggest that they've invested heavily in these stars, but I think they'll be too fleet of foot, Bawley. Their speed in and around the footy's going to be too quick for the Pies.
Just feel a little bit more ready, don't they, this time of year, early March. So I think I agree. Only going by that in pre-season form. So the head says the Saints just, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Pies have just timed it to get to this point and are ready to go as well. So Not a heap in it, though. Two or three goals, I think.
Fair bit of experience coming to the bench in Pendlebury to the side bottom. There's 700 games.
And memory, yeah.
I'll take the Pies by a couple of goals.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the Saints as well. Of course, I missed tonight's Men's T20 World Cup underway just after midnight on ABC Listen as New Zealand chase their first ever World Cup trophy as they take on the hosts India. The MCG looks a picture as the curtain is ready to come down on opening round, and a bumper crowd in readiness here at the MCG to see if the Saints can live up to the hype and can the Magpies challenge once more. It's opening round from the MCG, St Kilda and Collingwood. Here's Ben Cameron to get us underway.
The Koning and Cameron go up. The Koning punches it down. Nick Dacos onto it. Collingwood with the first clearance. He kicks out to the southern wing. In the Schultz direction. He goes to ground. Bouncing ball. Hill there for the Saints. Paddles at boundary side and we'll get a throw in. No, Lasso.
Off the foot of the goalie, I think it was.
Must have just flicked onto the foot. So a free kick going the way of the Saints, and Hill takes it over to Taru. He'll poke it forward towards the centre line and be able to find Wilson. Handball to Hill, driving ball to half forward for the Saints. Up they go, spoiled away by Maynard. Wanganeen Malira suckers it inside 50. Getting back Josh Dacos. Under pressure, just gets the handball away. The Saints are swarming. Still a live footy inside the pocket. Perryman eventually clears for the Pies.
A clearing kick which heads out towards the boundary, so Schultz tries to keep it alive. He gets a touch to it, which denies the Lasso turnover. So the Saints take back possession.
Sorry, Clinchy. Seen a bit of that over the weekend. Just getting there to get that final touch on the ball before it goes out of bounds. But head-to-head at the moment in the middle of the ground. Dacos, no real tag, no noticeable tag. Dacos and Wanganeen Miller are starting in the centre bounce.
Thrown in. De Koning wins down the tap, but it's long for Collingwood. Hand pass to Nick Dacos, too sharp. Filippo gets a hand pass forward to De Koning. Here go the Saints. Owens tackle brought down by Josh Dacos, holding the ball. Collingwood take it back at right half back. As Hall thought for half a moment he had a step, he didn't, and Josh Dacos reeled him in.
Starting across half back too. Both Josh Dacos and Jack Crisp starting across half back for the Pies.
Turns and switches back inside the defensive 50 to Maynard. Sends Collingwood back up the wing. McStay's the target over his fingertips. Brad Hill swoops back onto it. Hand pass to Caminiti. Links up with Winhager. Back to Brad Hill, boundary side. Southern side of the MCG. Kicks up the wing to a one-on-one. Owens wrestling with Maynard. It spills down to the front. Wanganeen Miller gathers. Chips it inboard. Filippo the target. Long brought it down for Collingwood. Here goes Maynard. Away to Decoe. To Nick Dacos. There's a whistle. It's coming back. It's a St Kilda free kick.
Oh, gee.
Filippo taken high.
But lucky there. Just the spoil, Maynard. Just getting over the shoulder. 50-50 though. They were away through the Pies.
Yeah, that was streaming forward. Filippo whacks it long towards full forward. Sharman goes up. Can't quite take the mark. Close to the boundary line. It's just fumbled out by Boxall. And a throw-in coming. 3 metres around from the behind post. Right forward pocket for the Saints.
I think Perryman's responsible for Naz here. He's been following reasonably closely, so they've broken away from what they've usually gone with.
No score through the opening 2.5 minutes. The umpire spins it in. Cameron palms it down. Onto it Higgins. Spits it out. Filippo gets it on the boot. Swings it on goal. Not quite coming back enough. It will drift through for a minor score. So the first score of this match, a minor one the way of the Saints. They're one behind. Collingwood yet to score. We've played 3 minutes. Sunday night footy on ABC Sport.
At the other end, Wilkie's got the Jamie Elliott matchup. Silvani going with young Buller. Caminiti on Dan McStay.
Dan Houston brings Collingwood back into play to Braden Maynard in the back pocket. He chips it up the field and Josh Dacos takes the mark. Still at left half back. He veers out to the right and kicks long up the members' wing. Cameron's in the pack. De Koning gets hands to it. Trying to knock it on. It's Boxall through traffic. He's tackled and brought down. As Jamie Elliott provides the support for Darcy Cameron, and the umpire will ball it up on the members' wing. St Kilda a point. Collingwood yet to score. We played 3.5 minutes. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Looked impressive young Boxall, didn't he, over the pre-season? Coming off 11 games last year.
Thrown up to Koning, wins down the tap, but it's sharp by Lipinski of Collingwood. Hand pass to Perryman inbound. Miss long, he slaps it forward, but straight to Sinclair. St Kilda regather in the middle of the ground. Gets the hand pass away. Wilson, beautiful sidestep. Chips it looking for Marshall. It's over his head. Frampton makes the spoil for Collingwood. Hall came charging and missed it. Crisp gathers. Can't get it away from Darcy Wilson. Chance for Higgins. Knocked forward for the Saints. And a firing shot on goal. Misses to the left-hand side. And the Saints have 2 consecutive behinds. Higgins Gave the hand pass to Hall and a behind. 2 behinds the Saints, the Collingwood yet to score.
So please Ross, though, time in forward 50. The pressure's right up and denying the outlets for Collingwood.
Just to my untrained eye, they look right up for it, St Kilda. Houston, bullet pass, away to Quaynor, releases Nick Dacos with the handball. Away to Degoe, thinks about giving it back to Nick Dacos, through the logo, sweeps the handball out to Chris. Another handball over the top, now at half forward the Pies. Schultz, inboard to Nick Dacos, eyes the sticks, he is class!
Hang on.
The goal umpire wants to check. It was close to the left-hand goalpost. And we will go upstairs, an early visit to the arc.
Early opportunity to back yourself in too. Goal umpire, if you heard something, back yourself in.
Oh, it deflected.
Yeah, I think Nick knew as well.
Yep. That would have deflected to first slip.
Yeah. Comfortable catch at first.
Saints supporters behind the goals there, Benny, dare I say it. Remembering back to the 2009 grand final. Might have been the other post, but
it was.
If only the technology was available then. Anyway, how's the run from Nick, though? Brilliant bit of play from Jordan Degoe too. Pies going from coast to coast.
Be a dual premiership player, Borley.
As Sinclair brings the Saints back into play. Jack Silvani gets his first touch, kicks up the wing. Flying was Mitch Owens, can't take the mark. Gathered by DeConing. Releases Wanganeen Miller, he's kicked to half forward. Chopped off by Quaynor, who marks in front of Cooper Sharman. Switches across half back to Dan Hewson. He chips it out in front of Chris. He runs onto the footy at right half back. Doesn't take it cleanly initially. Marshall comes at him. Hand pass looking for Degoe. Gives it back to Chris. They run the gauntlet. Gets the hand pass back now to Houston. Turns onto his right hand side. Great kick to Schultz, who leads up the wing and marks centre wing on the Shane Warne stand side.
Shaping inboard, aren't they, the Pies? Every time they get it, looking inside.
St Kilda by a point. Hand pass to Nick Dacos. Inside 50. Wilkie makes the spoil. Sinclair gathers. Hand pass to DeConing. Back to Wilkie. He gets the hand pass away to Caminiti. Chip kick out towards Garcia. Maynard rises. He's claiming the mark. He gestures to the umpire just to make sure.
Yeah, back kick Caminiti. Just missed on the wrong side, didn't he? Kicked it to the inside. Where it had to go outside boundary side. At least let him create a contest and get it out of bounds.
And Braden Maynard in game 230. A chance to shoot from just outside 50 to the left for the opening goal of the match. So often turns defence into attack for Collingwood. He lets fly from 52. It drifts from right to left. And a minor score to the punt road end. Collingwood have 2 behinds from their 2 inside 50s. St Kilda with 2 behinds from their 3 inside 50s. Here's Ben Cameron.
Sinclair taking the kick in, goes short to the pocket and immediately under pressure now the Saints. Windhager's kick smothered away. They'll work it out on the back flank. Silvani rushing a kick, tumbles it to the wing. Frampton wins it for the Pies. Handball to Josh Dacos. Handball to Cameron. Short kick. A good one for Lipinski. Just forward of the wing. He eyes a kick to the pocket. Chopping it off Sinclair. Taps it down. Caminiti gathers for the Saints. Stops, props, clears with a kick. Up goes Ryan. Comes down without the footy and gives away a free kick.
Good jump.
Went straight over the top of them. Flying Ryan. So Lipinski with the kick. 2 minor scores apiece. We've played 8 minutes opening term.
Ben Cameron alongside Matt Clinch calling the action. Lauren Borden down on the boundary. Luke Ball and Brett Delidio, your experts. As Lipinski inboard to Quaynor. And now short to Chris. St Kilda have the wall set.
Yeah.
Everyone is inside their defensive 50. So Chris sends it towards the pocket. DeConing flies. And comes out and marks in front of Dan McStay, showing St Kilda fans what he might be able to do this season. Versatile inside the defensive half. He looks to go short out of defence to Jack McRae. He marks still inside the defensive 50. Feeds the hand pass around the back to Windhager. He sends it up the wing. Cooper Sharman the target. In front. Boxall tries to knock it on. It's gathered by Ryan. He takes the bounce as he runs the boundary line. Has Garcia with him. A second bounce. He draws long. Hand passes it away to Garcia. Chips it into the pocket. Mark taken by Mitch Owens, who hangs on to it.
Yeah.
As his body leading out in front of Billy Frampton was in full toll.
That was like a big Wazzy Akram in-swinger. That thing from Garcia, wasn't it? Didn't spin great, but geez, he did well. He's such a powerful athlete, this young Mitch Owens. How's the pickpocket, though, from Liam Ryan running the boundary?
Wasn't it? Yeah, he had the radar off, didn't he, when he flew high, but that time just hitting the pack at the right time. Lovely bit of run and carry. Sets up the shot at goal.
25 goals last season. St Kilda hoping he can be a player on the rise. He comes in and fires from the right forward pocket. 45 metres out, and he misses as well to the right-hand side. So the Saints take back the lead by a point, but it's 3 behinds plays 2. We've ticked past 9 minutes gone in the opening terms. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Houston with the kick in, a cold turnover. And the mark taken by Jack Carroll in the middle of the ground. Carroll veers out to the left. Sends the Saints back inside attacking 50. Pack forms at the back. Boxall nearly comes down with it. Ball jars free. Close to the boundary line. Houston spinning. Full 720. Tackled out of play. Throw in. 15 around from the attacking goal for St Kilda. Only inside 50s. 5-4 the way of the Saints. Sharman and Cameron to do the ruck work. Umpire spins it in. Cameron taps it down to the front. Side bottom leaves it behind. Josh Dacos there to mop up. To Lipinski, Nick Dacos. And back out of play. Another throw in.
No sign of Pendles yet. He might be being used as that sub-type role that we've seen a few coaches go with. Just monitor his minutes, get him through.
Yeah, little quasi-sub.
Yep.
Jack Buller on club debut, also starting on the bench for Collingwood. Darcy Cameron takes out of the ruck against Cooper Sharman. Hand pass forward to Perryman. Knocks it on to Nick Dacos, one way then the other. Hand pass away to Houston, hemmed in against the boundary. Kicks up the wing. It clears Tom de Koning, but it'll be last touched by the Magpies. And a free kick going the Saints' way. Centre wing on the Shane Warne stand side. St Kilda by a point.
Aru, or de Koning rather, taking the kick quickly away to Caminiti, who pokes it short to Hill.
Oh, 50.
Oh, there's a 50 for, I think it was Schultz coming in from the side rather than McStay not standing on the mark. So
Yeah,
Brad Hill will be marched inside 50 and have a shot on goal.
You can argue, though, he was thinking, mate, that's not 15. So I'm there close enough. And then he just stayed there for a second too long, didn't he?
Well, he was ahead of the mark, wasn't he? He was sort of inside on that 45-degree angle, but he had to run around and get onto the mark before he indicated that he was standing. But if you're blocking off that inside run, you're going to pay it.
Plenty of misses to begin. Brad Hill shows them how it's done. The veteran delivers. St Kilda strike first. 1-3-9, they lead Collingwood 2 behinds. 12 minutes into the opening term. Sunday night footy on ABC Sport. Brett Delidio and Luke Ball.
A little bit stiff, not much in it, but I'm sure they'd say to the letter of the law that is a correct 50-metre penalty, and it's a shame because it took that, didn't it? It was a bit of a battle, wasn't it, the first, 11 or so minutes? Yeah, a real sort of field position battle. Collingwood setting up and St Kilda getting all their numbers back, and then the Saints that time getting a few repeat inside 50s, and pretty even game to this point. You're looking at the numbers as well. Contest, possessions, it's all pretty even. So it took a 50-metre penalty to break the deadlock.
Game number 278 for Brad Hill, the 3-time Premiership Hawkers. He eyes 300 game milestones. Saints strike first here at the MCG. Marshall up against Cameron. Marshall wins down the tap, looking for Nasai Wanganeen-Millerer. Can't gather it cleanly. Knocked out by Ned Long. Wanganeen-Millerer gets there first though for St Kilda. Feeds a hand pass back to Cal Wilkie. Right half back. He chips it back to Naz, who kept running. And Wanganeen-Millerer is away. He runs the members wing. Looks up to half forward. Mitch Owen the target in a wrestle with Parker. Parker gave away the free kick. An arm around the body. St Kilda having it right half forward. Mitch Owens with ball in hand.
Too big, too strong for Will Parker there.
Ryan offers a lead, that's ignored. He goes longer than that, Marshall. And Cooper Sharman in from the side, who rises and takes the mark. Only about 15 metres out, directly in front.
Spectator. Billy Frampton there just allowed Cooper Sharman just the easiest of access there to jump over the top. If you did your research, though, you know that's what Cooper Sharman does. Every single week he runs and he jumps at the footy. So, I don't know, maybe body him.
But you're a key defender. Get an arm across. The ball's within a kick. Billy. Anyway, maybe hoping for a big year from this young man too. Started to really show a bit last year, didn't he?
Yep.
Cooper Sharman directly in front, makes it 2 goals in 4 minutes for the Saints. And they take the early running here at the MCG by 13 points. 2-3-15 to Collingwood 2 behinds. Luke Ball and Brett Delidio, your experts. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
You won't want to see that again, Billy Frampton. That's just You couldn't even say that he lost him in traffic. He just fell asleep, didn't he?
It was a slow free kick ball.
Yeah.
Machito Owens had the ball brought back to him.
Yeah.
And he's just gone long and high.
Got to be arm across your key forward there, especially, as you said, Lids, one that can really run and jump and launch at the footy. That's his game, Sharman. We know he's not a wrestler. He's a run and jumper, and just had far too easy run. Darcy Cameron looks over at his teammate quite rightfully and says, "Hey, Billy, that's your man. I was doing my bit." Good start, Saints.
Thoughts of Luke Ball alongside Brett Delidio. Marshall in the ruck. Cameron outpoints him this time. Soccers it on. The Saints arrive though. Windhager, clean pickup. Kicks them to half forward, looking for a marker. Crisp in front. Marks for the Pies. Gives it off to Houston. He sends his kick out wide. It tumbles out. A lasso free kick here going the way of the Saints. Might have touched a hand on the way through, so we'll get a throw in. Lauren Borden.
Craig McRae is down coaching from the bench for another season like he always does. Obviously, Ross Wine in the box, but Lenny Hayes, who's now the general manager of football at the Saints in his first year, he's sitting on the bench. So someone handy to have down here for St Kilda.
Thank you to Loz. Marshall wins down the tap for the Saints, but it's Cameron who squeezed the kick forward only as far as Carroll. Then the hand pass to Jack McRae off the outside of the boot. Just trying to be too cute as it goes out of play. And a lasso free kick for the Magpies.
Got to be sharper as a commentator now to work out whether there was a little fingertip in there.
Yeah. Or Ted Lasso.
Rowan Steele, who's playing in his sixth game. Not bad from you, Paulie. Kicks up towards half forward. No mark claim. Trying to keep it alive, Darcy Cameron. Close to the boundary line. Charging through Ed Allen. Brought down when not in possession. Here's Rowan Steele again, and he'll get a chance to take possession here at right half forward for the Magpies.
A little bereft for the time being. Kicks back on the 45 to the logo. Quaynor. Short to Josh Dacos. Not the required distance, so he veers out to his right. Chips a kick into the pocket. Cameron juggles it. Got it.
Service.
47 out. Very tight angle. 5 metres in from the boundary line at right half forward.
Yeah, and that's what he has to do, Big Darcy. And he's so good at it too. You saw last year, reigning best and fairest winner, of course. He was in the All-Australian squad, could be wrong, but his ability to get behind the ball, the old traditional ruckman and impact in the air, but got to push forward, especially with the Saints flooding numbers back. Push forward, equalise and get your hands on it. Tough kick this.
Did the BNF best clubman double. The Copeland Trophy last year from 52. He sets it up towards the goal square. Flying out at McStay, punched away, comes down for Degoe, snaps, goals! Degoe gets them going in 2026. The Pies' first goal of the season. They trail St Kilda 2-3-15, plays 1-2-8, 17 minutes into the first. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Yeah, that was just brute strength, wasn't it? The ability to get on the back of, I think it was Windhager who might have been playing in front there. Just got him underneath the footy, read the way that spoil came out, didn't overcommit too far forward. It was a great finish. They really didn't need that goal, though, the Pies. As you can see, we're talking about the other end with Frampton not going and locking down. There was no one free-flying there for, Collingwood forward's point of view, but well read by Degoe. His ability is to get rid of his opponent, turn and snap. That's where he can do it and be very dangerous ball.
Had a good pre-season from all reports. He does look fit, doesn't he? He's had a good sharp start to this game. What I like, no taping on him. I like seeing that. Players starting the year, no shoulder tape, no knee tape. Good start.
Jordan Degoe with Collingwood's opening goal of the match. Back in the middle of the ground, McCreary with a chance to try and clear it. Knocked it on to Josh Dacos. Soccers it off the ground into the congestion. Boxall lays the tackle with Garcia, and Perryman has the footy locked to his chest. Just in front of the AFL logo on the members' side. Opening round written in front of the MCG turf as it's taken out the ruck by McStay. Tries to get a hand pass forward for Collingwood. It's picked up by Mason Wood. Kicks up towards half forward. Taken high, a free kick going the way of Parker for Collingwood. And he'll take it, the former leg spinner at centre half back.
Shot of Michael Dixon in the crowd, the Super Bowl winning punter for Seattle. Started out playing in the Sydney Academy. As Collingwood cough it up and we'll get a throw in on the wing. A diving spoil from Boxall.
He's a fair lump of a lad too, isn't he, Boxall?
Yeah, big, yeah.
Throw in beneath the members. Umpire spins it back into play. The rucks come charging in. McStay and De Koning. De Koning backhands it down off the back of the head of Wanganeen Malira. There's a whistle somewhere. Free kick going to Messiah. They're just being impeded there. Free kick for the Saints on the members' wing.
Oh.
Just waits the ball beautifully for Garcia. Attacking edge of the square. Off to Sinclair. Steps a couple. Feeds the handball. Running by the shot on goal from Carroll. He's missing right. Well, it was a fair old kick from Nasai, wasn't it, to set all of that up and open it up.
Just got the licence, doesn't he? Just to be creative. And you get the licence when you more often than not hit
when you execute,
don't you? Yeah, that was a great kick.
Sunday footy on ABC Sport. The Saints by 8 points. Josh Dacos brings the ball back into play. Works it to Maynard at half-back and now up the wing to Dan McStay. He turns and comes inboard by foot and finds Perryman. He's got the job on Nasiah Wanganeen Miller, so it'll be a tough night for him. Inboard to Nick Dacos. At the back edge of the centre square for Collingwood. He switches into the middle of the ground. Billy Frampton takes the mark. There's not a lot of clear options in front of him, so he'll kick it laterally out to Quainer, who takes the mark in front of Liam Ryan. So could have their press. So back to Frampton, who marks back inside the defensive 50. Trying to force a false kick from Collingwood. The chip from Frampton out to Maynard. Stretches it now out onto the members' side, and Sidebottom takes the mark. Lauren Borden on the boundary.
Yeah, he's just ahead of Scott Pendlebury. He's getting some instructions. Looks like he will finally be coming onto the field soon after we've hit red time in this first quarter.
Sidebottom shorts it to Elliott, who tries to wait a kick to Perryman, who just get a hand to it. Nearly pulled in the mark. Had it bundled out by Tom DeConing, and the Saints are there. They win it back at centre half back. Garcia away to Silvani, who shanks his kick. It just pitches in play and was knocked out at the last moment by Boxall.
It
wasn't, in fact. No, free kick going the way of the Pies.
Kick.
Hit inside 50 by Sidebottom. Beautifully for the leading Membry. The former Saint, he marks 48 metres out, a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, for every bit that we commended Nazai for his kick inside, that was just as good from Rusty Steele Sidebottom. It was pretty impressive. Over the man coming across and put it right onto Membry's chest. He should take some kicking, though, from the skunk.
Love to hit the scoreboard, wouldn't he, against his old team?
Yeah, 178 games for St Kilda between 2015 and 2024. His second year as a Pie. Starts it out right, brings it back. Not quite enough. St Kilda lead by 7 points, 21 and a half minutes into the first. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Crowd of close to 80,000 into the MCG with a public holiday tomorrow for some states. As Jack Silvani brings the Saints back into play. Kicks up towards Tom DeConing. Maynard makes the spoil into the middle of the ground. Garcia can't gather loose footy. He does now to Hall. Maynard, a bone-shading tackle as it's hand pass forward for Collingwood by Chris. Leaks up with Nick Dacos. Found an avenue forward. Hand pass to Pendlebury. To Ngoe for his second. Off the outside of the boot. He curls it through. Nick Dacos, Pendlebury to Ngoe, a couple of the key movers for Collingwood getting involved. And it's back to a 1 point lead St Kilda's way. 2-4-16 to the Magpies. 2-3-15. 22 minutes gone, opening term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport with Luke Ball and Brett Delidio.
It's just a game of field position at the moment, isn't it? Yep. Both teams having little 5 minutes of periods where they were able to lock the ball in their front half, and that time was a terrific tackle from Maynard, who started really well as well. And then that's just class. You can't teach that. Yeah, Dacos, Pendlebury, finding space where there didn't appear to be any. Just decision making too. You can't teach that. Just no panic. Wait for the game to open up. Pendlebury gets his first involvement, and Ngoe, as we said, looking very sharp. Good finish.
St Kilda kicked the first two. Collingwood the next two. Dacos back in the middle. Wins it for the Pies. Off the Crisp, who feeds a handball back to Ngoe. Long kick inside 50, looking for a marker. Buller hands to it. Pendlebury roves, feeds the handball. Schultz steps his man, and then he's taken high. Nearly decapitated. He'll go back and kick for the sticks. 20 out, Plum in front.
Yeah, got lucky, but certainly a free kick. Almost took one step too many there. Pendlebury involved again.
Didn't know he had small forward craft down there, Paulie, but he's got on the end of a couple already. Big Caminiti's just about taken off. Lockie Schultz has gone, and Jack Sinclair was arguing he raised his arm. I don't think so, Jack.
Just good clearance work again, though. It'll be interesting to see how long both coaches until they blink, and Nick Dacos involved again in the centre square. Ngoe as well.
Schultz comes in. and hands Collingwood their first lead of the night. He sneaks it through. And the Pies 3-3-21 wrench control of this match, playing 2-4-16 St Kilda. 24 minutes into the first, Brett Delidio and Luke Ball.
Yeah, we're just looking at the stats there, Bally. You can see both Josh Dacos off half-back and Jack Crisp been right up there in terms of their drive. Crisp in that centre bounce with that handball out to De Goey. Then they just get in nice and long. Great contest from Buller. Pendlebury doing the front and square work, but they've had a dominant period here for the last 4 or 5 minutes where they've actually put them just got on top a little bit with their ground position, as you spoke about, and made them pay.
St Kilda with the first 2 goals, Collingwood with the next 3, as the Magpies take the lead by 5 points. Back in the middle of the ground, De Koning up against Cameron as the umpire throws it aloft. Cameron wins down the tap. De Goey can't gather. Nick Dacos is onto it. Hand pass away to De Goey. Clearing kick for Collingwood up towards half forward. McCreary the target. Used his body well against Winhager. He gathers against the boundary line. Chips it inboard. Getting back. Flanders dropped the mark. Cannon's in a Buller. Trying to knock it onto Wilkie. Hand pass from Pendlebury again. Membry mown down. St Kilda take it back. Brad Hill holding the ball. Takes the advantage. 1-2 with Sinclair. Hill switches out to the far side where the mark is taken by Higgins working up the ground.
Higgins puts his foot through it. Long kick up towards Sharman. Drops the mark. Recovers at ground level. Saints high half forward. Handball to Hill. Little fumble. Allows in the Pies through Parker. Handball to Josh Dacos. Spills out. Maynard gets it moving forward. Nick Dacos. Pies working down the wing. Schultz steps inside. Handball away towards Ed Allen. He fumbles it. That allows in St Kilda. Now it spills out towards Josh Dacos. Both teams just turning it over for the time being. Maynard goes in and wins it. This might release the Pies. De Goey away to Houston. Runs into a brick wall. Good handball to Parker. Feeds it onto Allen. Fumbles it. And then he's clattered into by Caminiti. An ugly passage of play, isn't it?
Ball loose still at half forward as Caminiti gets it away to Taru. Get it out of there. High ball up the wing. Tom De Koning back with a flight. Takes an impressive mark as he turns inboard and chips it to Flanders. Players streaming forward. Half past to Winhager. Wrong option. McCreary came charging in. Knocks the footy clear. Little toe poke from Pendlebury. McCreary hacks it inside 50. Membry on the bounce. Hand pass too sharp for McStay. Back after it, Membry. He turns it over. Flanders takes it for St Kilda. Hand pass to Sinclair. The tempo's gone up. Hand pass to Wood. He chips it up to Hall. He marks it right half forward.
Is this the late in the first quarter of opening round 1 fatigue that's set in?
Commentator's nightmare, that passage of play.
Ball up on the wing. Sets it up towards the teeth of goal. Looking for a marker. Frampton double fists it down. The Goey Roves. Pies inside their D50. Roan Steele to Houston. To Nick Dacos. Goes the spiral and gets onto it. McStay, so too Buller. Neither can mark. Buller drops it down at ground level. McStay set upon. A couple of Saints get him. And a ball upcoming. Left half forward here for the Pies. They lead it by 5.
Shows the importance and difference, doesn't it? Obviously, of getting the ball in your good decision makers' hands and
calm, composed.
Yeah, that was a frantic bit of play. Both teams not able to execute the skill where it looked like they were out and had an opportunity to score.
Ryan Marshall gesturing for the umpire to throw it up. Collingwood had no ruck, so he takes it out of the ruck, kicks up the wing, and that's where Cameron was. Darcy Cameron takes it against Cooper Sharman. Hand pass back to Maynard. Chips it up the members' wing, and Josh Dacos marks. Collingwood by 5 points, 3-3-21. St Kilda 2-4-16. Time on in the opening term. Long kick looking for McStay. He makes the spoil. Buller off hands, takes it. Hand pass back to Pendlebury. Through the 50. Hand pass away to McStay as he was tackled. McStay bumbles it towards goal and bounces it through. It doesn't matter how it gets there. And Collingwood all of a sudden have put 4 goals on the bounce to lead by 11 points. 4-3-27. To St Kilda, 2-4-16. And is that another goal assist for the 38-year-old Scott Pendlebury?
Sorry, how many preset? What season's this?
21.
21.
21.
And he didn't come on until like the 20-minute mark.
His career's old enough to drink in the US.
Mate, and he's already had the 5.
5 possessions, 3 goal assists.
3 goal assists.
Yeah.
It just sets them up for fun. That's a great finish from Dan McStay, but their ability just to be composed at the right time and make better decisions by hand. I feel like St Kilda are referring pressure balling. They're winning it, no worries, but they're handballing to a player who's being swamped, and therefore it's creating a turnover, whereas the Pies, they're just taking that little extra. Darcy Cameron here on the wing, perfect.
Last 4 goals in the game, the way of the black and white stripes. McRae extracts it in the middle. Out to Flanders. Kick inside 50 here for St Kilda. Is there a marker? Quainer spoils it away. Bouncing ball, centre half back for Collingwood. Pendlebury off to Lipinski to the run of Quaynor. Handball errant into the middle of the ground. Follows it up and wins it. Another errant handball though. Meeting in the middle of the ground. Boxall taken by Schultz. Strong tackle. And a ball up inside the centre square. Collingwood by 11 points.
Nick Dacos up to 13 disposals. Josh with 11. Sinclair with 8. Manganese Miller up with 7 for the Saints. Back in the middle of the ground. Boxall tries to knock it out for St Kilda. Got it to Hall. Hand pass looking for Hill. Marshall just slaps it forward. Gained 10 metres, but Houston was in front position. He gathers for Collingwood. Hand pass away to Allen and now links up with Perryman. Sends it out wide looking for Membry. Well done by Carroll. Was he taken when not in possession? He was. As he competed in the air and then cleverly didn't take possession, and just the eagerness of Membry trying to lay the tackle gave away the free kick. As he chips back to Sinclair, who has it at left half back. 30 minutes gone in this opening term. Collingwood by 11 points after St Kilda started so promisingly. Carroll gets it back from Sinclair. He's at left half back on the Shane Warne stand side. Sends it as long as he can up the wing. Phillippo sets himself. Almost juggles the mark over the back of Darcy Cameron. Hand pass back up to the congestion, taken by Cameron. His kick doesn't clear it, and Phillippo has another go. Kicks up towards half forward to Koenig on the bounce in front of Frampton. Knocks it down to Hall, one way then the other, and the siren sounds for quarter time. As Tom de Koenig gets back to his feet. And the Saints started promisingly with the opening 2 goals of the match, but Collingwood finished with the next 4 to lead by 11 points at quarter time. The Magpies 4-3-27. to St Kilda 2-4-16. Jordan De Goey with a couple, while individuals to Lockie Schultz and to Dan McStay. While for the Saints, their goals have come through Brad Hill and Cooper Sharman. Great to have footy back at the MCG, the final match of opening round. This is Sunday Footy on ABC Sport.
Hi, it's Mackenzie Arnold. I'm Caitlin Ford. It's Alana Kennedy. Hi, I'm Claire Hunt from the Matildas.
Get behind the Tillies with ABC Sport for the AFC Women's Asian Cup Australia 2026. Live and ad-free on ABC Listen.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Kick quickly away to Caminiti, who pokes it short to Hill.
50.
Oh, there's a 50 for... I think it was Schultz coming in from the side rather than McStay not standing on the mark. So Brad Hill will be marched inside 50 and have a shot on goal. Plenty of misses to begin. Brad Hill shows them how it's done. The veteran delivers. St Kilda strike first.
Cooper Sharman directly in front, makes it 2 goals in 4 minutes for the Saints. And they take the early running here at the MCG by 13 points.
The Copeland Trophy last year from 52. He sets it up towards the goal square. Flying out at McStay, punched away, comes down for De Goey. Snaps, goals! De Goey gets them going in 2026.
Into the middle of the ground, Garcia can't gather loose footy. He does now to Hall. Maynard, a bone-shading tackle as it's hand pass forward for Collingwood by Chris. Leaks up with Nick Dacos. Found an avenue forward. Hand pass to Pendlebury to De Goey for his second. Off the outside of the boot. He curls it through.
Who feeds a handball back to De Goey. Long kick inside 50, looking for a marker. Buller hands to it. Pendlebury robes, feeds the handball. Schultz steps his man, and then he's taken high. Nearly decapitated. He'll go back and kick for the sticks. 20 out, Plum in front. Schultz comes in and hands Collingwood their first lead of the night.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Quarter time at the MCG, and it's Collingwood who lead by 11 points. 4-3-27 to St Kilda 2-4-16. The Saints started strongly. And then the acting captain, Nick Dacos, alongside Scott Pendlebury, who starts his 21st season, joining Michael Tuck with 426 games tonight, and just Boomer Harvey behind them, who wrestled momentum Collingwood's way with the last 4 goals of the quarter. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron calling the action. Lauren Borton down on the boundary. The thoughts of our experts, Brett Delidio and Luke Ball.
Well, it's interesting, Lids. We're just looking down, and Ross has gone straight to the team, whereas they usually break up into their lines. He said, no, I want them all. And it looked like he had a few in the gun, didn't it? It looked like he had Mason Wood in particular on the front row, and maybe Brad Hill. I think it was that last 10 minutes of that quarter. A pretty even start, like we spoke about.
Got dominance, didn't
hard
they,
to get to break the deadlock, and both teams were having little 5-minute periods, but then that last 10 minutes, it felt like Collingwood really got on top in the wrestle, I think. And you look at the contested possession, that would indicate that. And I think that's probably what Ross is saying. We had opportunities to, where we had even numbers, and they probably just went a little bit harder and stayed over the footy in that last 10 minutes of the quarter, Collingwood, and it reflected in their ability then to go forward and hit the scoreboard. So, really interesting there to see both coaches address their teams at quarter time, but pretty entertaining first quarter after that initial arm wrestle,
wasn't it?
First 5 or 10 minutes, and then the game opened up a little bit, and it was really that class, wasn't it? I mean, Dacos 13 possessions, 3 clearances and 3 score involvements.
Does Wing take it go closer to him, given that we've got Perryman go to Wanganeen Miller, and he hasn't had the same freedom?
Yeah,
you have to put some sort of time into him.
Yeah, I think you can't let him run around by himself and get his tail up. That's right. Really impressed with
DeGoey as well. I was impressed
with Jordan DeGoey. Yeah, he spent some time in the middle of the ground, 8 possessions and 4 score involvements, 2 goals himself. So,
but I said at the start of the game, he's that one I think they're looking for. Can he have an All-Australian year? Can he, not carry the whole side, because Nick Dacos is going to do a damn good job of that, but his ability then he played almost the old school Dusty role, come up to the back of the 50 and then just burst forward, but he was composed, as were all of them, though. They kick the handballs basically 1-to-1 here. They're showing a real willingness to get that ball in motion and keep it moving, but they're making better decisions with the footy ball. They're not just handballing to players under pressure, which I found that St Kilda were not quite handling that pressure as well as I think what the Pies were.
Yeah, 32 more possessions, the Pies, and largely through handballs, you said, almost 1-to-1. Now, I think that's probably a little bit too far. I think that would be up on the board in the Collingwood huddle as well. Just at times, you're right, though. When it's a handball to set someone free, we talk about shoulders out, you think about Dacos in traffic, getting it to Pendlebury, who then sets the Goey free to score. A couple of times they probably had shoulders out. You think about Quaynor streaming through the middle of the ground, looking up, one-on-ones ahead of the ball.
Get it in.
And one extra handball. Let's get it in. Let's put their younger key defenders, Caminiti and even Jack Silvani in his new club, let's put them under pressure and see if we can't force some score that way. But it just felt like in that last 10 minutes around the contest and around the clearance, the Pies got on top and then got their halfbacks involved. Dan Houston, 10 possessions. Braden Maynard, 9 possessions. And Crisp, who started across halfback as well, 8 possessions. So I think that would be the other thing the other concern for Ross and the coaching staff. Too much ball, too much uncontested ball and handball release into the high backs of Collingwood, who, if we allow that to continue across the course of the night, they'll cut us up.
We're interested how each team is going to use the 5th player on their bench. Scott Pendlebury take 10 minutes of the game, 6 disposals, 3 goal assists.
Well, and back to the bench again. It's like, come on, I'm on a heater. You want to keep scoring?
I like it.
Keep me at it.
I like it. We know in the starter quarters when the ball's hot, the game's hot, and there's plenty of speed in the game. Just wait until that slowly goes out of it, and can he have that real impact like he did in the back half of a quarter? It might be an absolute masterstroke.
Players back out in position. Collingwood leading by 11 points as they're ready to get the second quarter underway. Tom De Koning up against Darcy Cameron. De Koning wins down the tap to Filippo. Back to De Koning. Releases Flanders with a hand pass. He chips the Saints up towards half forward. Wilson backing back. Mitch Owens flies out. Here's Wanganeen Miller through traffic. Gets the hand pass away. Feeds it back to Wilson. Back to Mason Long. Mason Wood. He kicks a high ball inside 50. Cooper Sharman. He rises and takes the mark. Do they take the advantage? They do. And it's put through for a goal. As Mitch Owen finishes the work for the Saints. They're always dangerous when you take the advantage, but on this occasion it proves beneficial. St Kilda strike first inside a minute, and Collingwood's lead is cut back to 5 points. 4-3-27 to St Kilda 3-4-22.
Good kick from Mason Wood, wasn't it? To hook that ball to a dangerous spot, and they're looking pretty dangerous in the air. Sharman again, just being able to have a run and jump at the footy.
He's got a presence.
That's
Always
right.
does it.
I think the message has got to go out. If you're on Sharman, you've got to get an arm across or stand in front of him, because when he gets a run and jump, he's pretty hard to stop. And that time...
That was on Maynard, so obviously great reach and up. So he's had to chop the arms to actually bring him down. Again, you'd love to see that go back and let the forward kick it, but take advantage and...
Well, no how, no more, we know. So they are vulnerable with the ball in the air. behind the footy, the Pies tonight.
Rev up from Ross, might have worked. Out of the middle go the Saints again. Wanganeen Malera gets rid of it to Flanders. Kick smothered. Steele, and he loses it. That's Roan Steele. Comes out to Mason Wood. Goes to the pocket. Sharman leaping up again. A hand to it out of play. Throwing coming.
How good was that from Wanganeen Malera? We know what he's like out in space, ball in hand, but deceptively tough and hard, isn't he? That was a big tackle. It causes this forward 50 stoppage.
Jarred the ball free. Umpire flings it back in. A left forward pocket for the Saints. Marshall doing the ruck work. Ball hits the deck. Ed Long emerges with it for Collingwood. Off to Crisp, to to Nick Dacos. Breaking the paint to 50, twisting, turning, kicking dangerously into the middle. Exquisitely onto the chest of Schultz.
He looks to quickly transition, kicks out in front of Jamie Elliott, racing onto the ball on the Shane Warne stand wing. Flying Ryan after him, good chase, knocks the ball clear as he never gave up. Out in front of Taru, who uses his body against Dan Houston, who takes it over the boundary line.
Came off his foot.
And the umpire says that is a lasso.
Oh, Ted Lasso. We're not really calling it that all year, are we?
Oh, not a great kick inboard to Winhager. Side bottom made the spoil. Winhager back after it. Has Flanders for support. Out past to Cal Wilkie. They switch out to Mason Wood. He marks it left half back and now out of danger. Sends the Saints up the wing. Darcy Wilson backpedaling. He takes the mark at left half forward. Looks up. Wanganeen Miller is in the goal square. So is Rowan Marshall. He kicks to the pocket. Cooper Sharman, the target. Maynard back with the flight. He was out of position and lucky not to give away a free kick. It goes out of play in the left forward pocket for St Kilda. Collingwood leading by 5 points.
Yeah, they did pretty well to defend that, Collingwood. They were on a break there, the Saints, but just an older back six, or Maynard in particular, just took that leading lane, slowed them up.
In it comes Marshall and Cameron. Cameron palms it down. Nick Dacos leaves it behind. Sharman after the footy in the pocket for the Saints. We'll get another ball up. Collingwood by 5 points. Early stages of the second term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Marshall backhands it down. Filippo leaves it behind. Fresh airy from Nick Dacos. Picked up by Wood. Saints ball off to Hall to Wilson. Pokes it to the goal square. No mark. Houston there for Collingwood. Gets it back from Maynard. Away to Long. And he runs into trouble. Just gets rid of it. Away to McCreery. Under pressure here, the Pies. Inside their D50. Ball jars free. Wilson extracts it. Snaps on goal. It's offline. Into the pocket. Bouncing ball. Getting back Frampton. High fend off on Machito Owens. Gets the handball away. Free kick. It's coming back.
Oh, looked like a punch almost, didn't it, from Frampton? He sold it well, though, Machito.
So Owens will get the free kick in the right forward pocket, and maybe a little noise of affirmation. The crowd went up.
Yeah.
And then the free kick was
taken. Back, Mitch Owen.
He sold it. Yeah, it wasn't. He got him in the neck.
Snapping on the left, curling it across the face. No good for Mitch Owens. Collingwood by 4 points. 4-3, 27 plays, 3-5, 23. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
He's had 3 shots on goal, Mitch Owen. As Houston from half-back sends it in the middle of the ground. Free kick going St Kilda's way. And Jack Silvani, the former Blue, will take the free kick. Just checked his kick as he moves it inboard to Wilkie. He takes the mark in front of side bottom with barely a metre as a spare. He can work it over the top to Winhager, who runs into space. He's attacking side of the centre circles in the middle of the MCG, but it's congested inside forward 50. He drives it long towards Rowan Marshall. Frampton's there, off hands, it's knocked away by Maynard. Long under pressure, tackled by Wanganeen Miller, spills out to Maynard. He chips it out to Schultz down low, sliding in his gathering. Hand pass to Josh Dacos up the wing. Hand pass away to Lipinski, back to Schultz around his body. He looks and hopes up towards Puller. It bounces clear of him and Caminiti. Side bottom knocks it on. Winhager races back, gets there in front of Membry, cuts back boundary side, hand pass over the head of Jack Silvani. He tries to knock it on and then Cannon's over the top of the footy, has to try and knock it clear. Desperate from both sides. Lipinski close to the boundary and eventually it's taken across. Collingwood leading by 4 points. Luke Ball.
No, still just over handballing a bit, aren't they now? A bit of that is the pressure from the Saints, but you feel like at times they've invited the pressure to come, especially in that front half from the Saints. The message has got to go out. If you're out, you've got to kick.
The MCG, an absolute picture. Cameron winning the tap down. Nick Dacos gathers at the front of the pack. Runs an arc. He'll kick up towards half forward. Membry in front. Juggles the mark. Not quite. Ball hits the deck and the Saints rattle it through hands and then clear through Silvani. Kicks up to the wing, and Darcy Cameron will just let it dribble out to win the free kick. So Collingwood ball right on the centre line. He waits the kick infield. A good one for Josh Dacos, who was dealt with as he marked. Brother Nick darts by looking for a handball, nothing doing. So Josh kicks into the middle of the ground and finds Billy Frampton. Collingwood by 4 points, 7 into the second.
Switches it to Perryman and now completes the switch to Dan Houston, who marks on the member side of the MCG. Collingwood by 4 points. Laces out a kick inside 50, looking for Chris. He got a fingertip to it but couldn't hang on. Buller running onto it close to the boundary. And is taken across by Jack Silvani. A throw in the right forward pocket for Collingwood at the city end of the MCG. The Magpies leading by 4 points. Just the one goal so far in this second quarter through Mitch Owens.
Umpire flings it back in. Reaching over the top, Tom De Koning gets it down to Taru, and then Filippo with a tumbling clear and kick up to the wing. Bouncing ball, Higgins gets there first. Handball over the top, good for Wilson. Gathers on the bounce. He's off to the races, running down the wing. A couple of bounces. Frampton can't get him. A third. He'll kick to the goal square. Flying Ryan getting back. He gathers no. Nick Dacos was going step for step with him, and Ryan just couldn't quite gather in the goal square. It was a beautiful lead up from St Kilda. They fell at the final hurdle. Collingwood by 3.
Billy Frampton had the Cal Hooker speedball about him. He was worried it was going to be a highlight reel.
It was the Buddy Franklin run, wasn't it? Down that wing.
I was barracking for it.
In the end, it clean bowled everyone.
Some serious wheels, doesn't he, Darcy Wilson? We know that.
Collingwood through Dan Houston, chips it to the back pocket. Josh Dacos has it. He sends Collingwood up the members wing. Darcy Cameron presents. Tom De Koning in from the side. Slapped away by Cooper Sharman to Winhager of St Kilda. Hurries the kick inside 50. Trying to use his body. Higgins against Josh Dacos, who wants the boundary line and gets it. They throw it in the left forward pocket for St Kilda. They're 3-6-24. Trailing Collingwood 4-3-27.
Ball in from the umpire. Slapping it down Cameron, and the Pies work it out through hands. Lipinski looping one over the top. Crisp snaps around the quarter. Bouncing ball for De Koning. Clean bowls him. Elliott paddles to his own advantage. Soccers it on. Buller goes the long way down to pick it up. And he's tackled quickly by Silvani. King holding the ball.
One hand free, maybe. Two whiz. It's hard work.
That was a harsh call. So the Saints will look to go with the V switch as they go back to Wilkie, who switches to his co-captain Sinclair and completes it right out to Bradley Hill on the wing.
Takes a bounce and looks to reload inside 50, sends it long, looking for Cooper Sharman. Quainer in from the side. Great intercept mark. 7 inside 50s to 1 St Kilda's way in this second quarter. So just 1 goal, 2. As Lipinski across half-back. Chips it up the wing to Sidebottom. Always careful with his ball movement. He chips it over the top to Lockie Schultz.
You have to wait now. He looks up and sees Alex Taru standing, or it's Cal Wilkie rather, standing by himself all night.
Oh, the kick inboard missed. Nick Dacos opens the door for Flying Ryan. Ryan gathers. Nice. Kick looking for Mitch Owens. Can't get it over Billy Frampton. And Collingwood defenders take a deep breath. Frampton turns onto his right-hand side. Kicks out to Darcy Cameron at right half-back.
I think Lockie Schultz took a deep breath as well.
Did.
Braden Maynard pokes it short. Long on the wing. It's a short kick to Ned Long. Collingwood by 3 points. And Kilda all of the attacking in the second term.
Feels like there was a committeeism up for grabs there, Benny.
Yeah, I think there was. Just
short to long.
Don't try and imitate greatness, I think,
Morley.
And Allen on the wing. He sends it inside 50. Launching at it, Elliott. Doesn't quite come down with it. Wilkie gathers the footy, handball away, knocked towards the line. And a throw-in.
It's been a little bit off Jamie Elliott. We know Kel Wilkie's a tough matchup for him, but
yeah, real tough.
Just hasn't quite, just the timing then. Didn't quite time his jump to get it at the highest point, and his hands weren't sticky.
A loop ball alongside Brett Delidio, Matt Lynch, Ben Cameron and Lauren Borden, your team. On Sunday footy on ABC Sport from the throw-in, McCreary goes to work. And Jack Crisp on the bottom of the pack, and the umpire will come in and separate them. Box all over the top. Also Jack McRae. Collingwood have it at right half forward. Still hanging on to that lead. De Koning tries to take it out of the ruck off hands. He loses it. It spills out the way of Flanders. He tries to knock it away from McCreary. Umpire lets it go for a moment. Then long tackle brought down by McRae. Umpire circles and will ball it up.
Still no penalty this quarter. Just keep an eye. If there's a pattern emerging here, I think you won't see him in the first 15 minutes of a quarter.
Koning hooks the tap onto it quickly for the Pies, though, Ed Allen. He turns and kicks to no one in particular. Windhager tracking it back. Caminiti the other way. Stripped of it, Caminiti. Umpire lets them play. Carried out in the end by Boxall. Throw in right on the elbow of 50 in the boundary line. Attacking 50 for Collingwood.
Here he comes, Scott Pendlebury.
Umpire hurls it back into play. Knocked away by both of the rucks. Onto it long. He's tumbled in the Owens tackle. Filippo gets involved. St Kilda ball. Off to Wilson. Kick coming from Windhager. Forward of the wing. Punched away by Frampton. McRae can't take it cleanly. Fumbles. Then picks up. Off to De Koning. He fumbles. Gets it back to McRae. St Kilda working the handballs. Sharman slick back to McRae.
He looks up towards half forward. Jack Higgins leading back to goal. He turns boundary side. The kick is sprayed wide and out of bounds on the full. Another wasted opportunity for the Saints going forward as Quainer takes the free kick. Switches back inside the defensive 50 to Dan Houston. Houston looks back out to the members' side. Spots Ed Allen on his own. A good kick that finds him. He's a right half back. He can work it over the top. To Rowan Steele, who takes the mark. He plays on. And chips the kick up to Jamie Elliott. So a control build up from Collingwood. Just taking the short passes that are on offer. Elliott comes inboard to Allen. Gives it back to Nick Dacos, who just chips it inside 50. McStay was the target. Bullen made the contest as well. And offhands, it's out of play as Cal Wilkie wanted the boundary and gets it. As Rowan Steele lays the tackle.
You can tell, Jack, you got to... Oh, Jack, don't argue there, son. I know he's keen to get his hands on the footy, isn't he? But that time, he just had to hold his ground, and Dan McStay would have taken an uncontested mark.
Forward 50 stoppage for the Pies. Cameron palming it down. Garcia there for St Kilda. Off to McRae. Tumbles it to the middle of the ground. Parker gathers for Collingwood. Centre half forward. Sets it up towards full forward. McStay goes up. Spoiled away by Caminiti. They play volleyball. Marshall does well. Handball. Schultz applying the tackle on Silvani. Drags him to ground. A ball upcoming. Left forward pocket for Collingwood. Pies by 3 points. 14 minutes into the second.
Saints keep the first 2 goals of the match. Collingwood with the next 4. St Kilda with the only goal this second quarter. Marshall out of the ruck. Tackled, brought down. They turn to the umpire. And a ball up. Long laid the tackle.
There's a big row going so far. Just the 2 touches.
Played more as a forward than a ruck. Darcy Cameron wins down the tap. Crumbed and kicked towards the boundary line by Jamie Elliott off balance, and it goes out of play. Lauren Borden on the boundary.
Just watching Liam Ryan chatting to the doctors, it looks like he's having a bit of an issue with his right hand or wrist. He's got a lot of strapping on it, but having a bit of a conversation with the doctor now about what to do about it.
Thanks, Loz. Of course, Rowan Marshall did a move to Geelong during the trade period, denied by the Saints. Cameron brings it down. Elliott swoops onto it. Off to side bottom. Back feeds a handball to Pendlebury. Flicks it over his head. Nick Dacos twisting, turning, evading. Masterclass kicking on goal. Offline. McStay floats in, knocks it through. He was elusive there, Nick, wasn't he?
Ability to be able to turn.
Yeah. At speed.
On a penny.
Get yourself out of trouble while everyone else is trying to tackle you and then get a shot away. Yeah, he's good to watch.
Brett Delidio alongside loop ball as Brad Hill sends the Saints out of defence up towards the wing. Ron Marshall brings it down at ground level. McRae crumbs it, hand pass to Mitch Owens. Through traffic to Garcia, back to Rowan Marshall. He links up with Hill, drives it up towards half forward. They've got Wanganeen Miller out the back. If Darcy Wilson can gather, he crashes into his defender, knocks it onto Hall, gets it to Higgins at the top of the 50. Just brought down at the last moment by Frampton. It spills the way of Filippo. His kick goes straight up in the air. They come charging out. Big rise from Boxall. He completely missed the footy. Still alive for the Saints. Higgins back to Sinclair. Great run down chase by Buller. It spills to Wanganeen Miller and he finishes. Now's this on the board for the Saints as they take back the lead here at the MCG. 10 inside 50s to 5. A chaotic build-up and Wanganeen Miller a swoop through and finished it off. St Kilda 4-6-30 to Collingwood 4-4-28.
And the roar you can hear is from the Collingwood supporters who thought Jack Buller should have been rewarded,
it.
but he did get a foot on it. Jack Sinclair, it was a great chase, great effort, but
it's a class finish.
In the end, it just took some class. It was a scrappy bit of play.
Yeah.
Sometimes
great pressure from Collingwood, wasn't it? They couldn't get free St Kilda to get it over the back to Naz. But yeah, that's a great run down from your big key forward after probably butchering an opportunity forward for your team.
It's a good chain of hands though from the Saints. They're working hard. They're turning up in numbers.
Got to him eventually. He did it the hard way. The Saints out they go. Out of the middle again. Garcia. High kick towards full forward. Quaynor loses control of the ball. Spills out. Wilson hacks it on goal. Misses to the left. Soccering it off the deck. St Kilda add to their advantage. They lead by 3 points. They kicked the first 2 goals of the game. Collingwood kicked the next 4. The Saints have kicked the last 2.
Josh Dacos brings Collingwood back into play to Houston in the back pocket. Sends it up the wing, looking for Buller. It doesn't get to him. And the intercepting mark taken by Carroll. Saints having a good run of it in this second quarter. He chips it over the top to Winhager. Saints would double the inside 50s.
Smashing with contested ball.
2-3 to 1 behind. Carroll inside 50. McStay's gone into defence. Brings it down to Pendlebury. Hand pass to Houston. He's tackled by Hall, and the umpire will ball it up in the right forward pocket for the Saints.
Got to mark that down, McStay. He's had a couple of chances, both ends of the ground, forward and back, to where he's had his hands to it, hasn't been able to stick it.
St Kilda turn it over. Clearing Perryman. Dribbles the ball along the ground towards the boundary line, and Buller sliding in like he's scoring a try. Carries it over the line. Avoids the Lasso free kick.
Interesting, we spoke about that 1-to-1 kick the handball. That's where the Saints are at, and they've had the momentum in this quarter ball. Maybe that is, the new rules, and we're seeing them taken full advantage of.
Maybe we need a new name if you don't like the Lasso bally as well. Marshall taking it out of the ruck, snaps the Saints into the pocket. Losing it is Billy Frampton, and he's caught, pinged, holding the ball. He threw it up to himself and punched it away, and the umpire said, you can't do that. Free kick is going to spring-heeled Cooper Sharman.
And he's been let know by a couple of the Saints boys. Just see how bad that was. He's having had a good start to the game, Big Bill. Has he? I like this young lad, Cooper Sharman. I love the way he jumps at it. Good, honest, forward, presents.
Usually a good kick too.
Yeah.
Great technique.
34 goals last season. That is perfect. Super Cooper.
Oh.
And they are rolling the Saints. Back out by 9 points. 5-7-37 plays 4-4-28. Lucky they're wearing their hard hats down there at the punt road end, the Saints fans, because they are pumping them through. 3 goals in their second term. Sharman's got a couple.
Yeah, it was great pressure, and they're reaping the rewards, aren't they, the Saints, from that pressure. Their ability to put their head over it and win it in the contest is where they've largely controlled this second quarter. At the moment, 32-11 up. That's a devastating second quarter. Their ability in and around it just to get their hands free and then get it to their runners on the outside. Wilson's got involved, Windhager, Philippou as well, and Flanders has got more involved in this second quarter.
That is alarming. That is red alert, the Collingwood bench.
Loop ball and Brettolino. Marshall out of the ruck, bumped off it. Side bottom takes it back for Collingwood. Kicks to half forward. McCreary was clean. Hand pass to DeGoey. Links up with Pendlebury, trying to sidestep Taru. Back to DeGoey. Fires a hand pass that missed McCreary. Taken by Sinclair. Hand pass to Garcia. Through traffic, Wilson's hand pass never got to Philippou. Perryman gets down low. He's tackled by Garcia, and the umpire circles and will ball it up.
That's too much handball again. Again, good pressure, but at time, Pendlebury just with the overuse. That's from a centre bounce too. 1-on-1 ahead of the ball. Get it in, get a deep entry.
St Kilda by 9 points. Wanganeen Miller emerges with it. Free kick going St Kilda's way. Hang on, the advantage hasn't been allowed, so it's going to have to come back to Ryan Marshall.
Out of zone umpire. Play advantage.
And it's Garcia who gets the free kick at left half back. In the Asian Cup, Korea Republic have scored against the Matildas to go 1-0 up in the 13th minute mark. We'll bring you details at half forward. There's the kick from Sinclair up towards Cooper Sharman at half forward. Head pass to Wanganeen Miller. Down low for Ryan. Can't gather. Wilson off the deck. It misses out to the right hand side and fails to score. Up against the right behind post, a throw in, deep in attack for the Saints.
He's playing in the Asian Cup at the moment, Darcy Wilson, isn't he? He doesn't want to use his hands.
I'd like to see him pick it up there.
Yeah.
He's strong enough through the legs and the upper body now. Spend time over it, pick it up, burst out.
Here's the opposable thumbs. Throw in forward pocket. Cameron wins the tap down. Garcia onto it for St Kilda. Here is Wilson feeding it out. Filippo's kick smothered. Free kick picked out.
He's pinging for a throw.
Yep, it'll go to Josh Dacos. St Kilda by 9 points. 22 minutes into the second term. Collingwood led by 11 at quarter time. Now the Saints by 9. Frampton's kick, a turnover. Mason Wood comes up with it. Four to the wing. 1-2 there with Sinclair. Runs through them here, Wood. Sets it up towards the hot spot. Looking for a marker. In front, Cameron for the Pies. He marks a fullback. Just in front of Boxall, who did take the mark of the pre-season last week. Quaynor moves it on by Hunter Perryman. Off to Ed Allen, running the southern wing.
Sends it up the wing, but it won't get to Membry in front. Jack Silvani takes the mark. Intercepting for St Kilda, as the faithful hope he will do throughout the season. Chips it back to Cal Wilkie, and for a moment everyone can catch their breath. St Kilda by 9 points. They booted 3 goals to 1 behind in this second quarter. As Wilkie receives it back, got the 1-2 from Flanders, sends it up towards Jack Higgins, but getting back. Darcy Cameron, and then a fend off to Higgins, who was just hanging around the bootlaces, just trying to prevent him from pushing back.
Getting rid of the mozzies he was.
Darcy Cameron now off a step. His kick is close to the boundary line. It might be a cross out of bounds on the full. Free kick going the way of the Saints, and Jack Silvani and maybe Jack Higgins get the last laugh.
Well, Tom DeConey a chance to push down. He's going to be the target here.
Sets it up. Wanganeen Malira goes up. There's a free kick. Marshall marks in front, but Masai got a little excited.
Disappointing for Marshall. He's come down and actually got a hold of one, and Naz has tried to sit on 3 heads.
Cameron kicks laterally away to Quaynor. Shorts it to Lipinski. Lipinski pokes it on to Josh Dacos.
And find a way to get some field position here, the Pies. Been totally dominated. 17 inside 50s to 5 for the quarter.
Josh Dacos pokes it on to Dan Houston.
Saints setting up beautifully behind the ball.
And he shorts it again away to side bottom. Side bottom pokes it on. De Goey on the logo. Series of short kicks for Collingwood. Now slightly longer out wide. Mark taken by Crisp. He just keeps going. His 263rd consecutive game here tonight, Jack Crisp. Just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And he comes infield for Houston. Slow build up for the Pies. Tries to lace it out towards a marker, and he's got it, Membry. Juggles it twice, marks it just in the field of play.
Yeah, I reckon that touched a few hands there, Benny.
Yeah, and now it's a tough shot, but they get a mark inside 50 and they give the defenders a breather, don't they? And it was, again, the experienced heads involved in that passage of play, marching the ball up the field. Dacos, side bottom. Crisp, De Goey. Memory ends up with and Houston, yeah, who's kicking it well tonight. What's he had? He's had 9 disposals for the quarter, Houston.
Hard up against the advertising hoardings. Boot to ball from virtually the elbow of 50 in the boundary line. Membry's kick is narrow most of the way. Sneaks it through for a behind. Saints by 8. 25 minutes into the second. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Glum faces in the Collingwood cheer squad.
Just Collingwood's second score of the quarter as Sinclair brings the Saints back into play. Quick 1-2 with Carroll. Sends it up the members wing. Mitch Owens is the target, but Quaynor comes in late and makes the spoil, much to the encouragement of his fellow midfielders and defenders. St Kilda leading by 8 points, 5-7-37 to Collingwood 4-5-29. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron calling the action. Lauren Borden down on the boundary. Brett Delidio and Luke Ball with you for Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Koning tried to lunge back after it. Chris volleyed it off the ground, but only as far as Wilkie from half-back up the wing. Quaynor rises on the back of Mitch Owens and takes the mark.
Having a big quarter, Quaynor.
He's showing he can play taller in size with an undermanned defence without Jeremy Howe and Darcy Moore. Short to De Goey, through the middle of the ground. He kicks to Josh Dacos, off balance. He sends the ball inside 50, Membry the target. He brings it down at ground level. Chris works his way to the front against Hill. Hand pass away to Allen. Membry with a fumble, feeds it back to Sidebottom, just inside 50.
Wow.
Short pass is good. He finds Schultz hard against the boundary in the left forward pocket.
So everyone knows he's a right footer. His deal Sidebottom. He has just absolutely laced that out onto Lockie Schultz's chest. Geez, that was good. That was a rush play too, wasn't it? But he had to be composed, and then under pressure, left foot, puts it through a window.
Schultz kicked a goal in the opening quarter. He'll start this around 40 metres out, trying to curl it around his body. 3 or 4 steps out, curls it straight through the middle. His second, and Collingwood's first of this second quarter. Comes with just 2 minutes remaining in the half. 26 now, 27 minutes gone. St Kilda's lead is cut back to 2 points. 5-7-37 to Collingwood 5-5-35. A 3-goal-to-1 term St Kilda's way, but Collingwood back within striking distance. Luke Ball and Brett Delidio with you on ABC Sport.
Yeah, well, a much needed goal, goes without saying. It wasn't pretty, was it? Just fought and scrapped and found a way to get it there. They haven't been clean at all this quarter, the Pies. Saints' pressure's definitely lifted. That's just a brilliant kick from Sidebottom.
For all their domination, though, the Saints haven't really been able to capitalise a lot, have they? They're smacking plus 20 in contested ball, plus 10 in inside 50s, but haven't been able to put that score and put Collingwood to bed.
Back in the middle, Tom De Koning hooking it out towards the side, onto it quickly, Flanders. He'll rush a kick up towards Higgins. Parker right there with him, spoils it away. Hill arrives for the Saints, picks it up. Handball back towards Higgins. Under pressure, back to Hill. Hill will kick high into the pocket, looking for a marker. Boxall trying to take the basket catch, can't quite bring it in. And he'll hatch an egg in the end almost, and a ball up 25 around from the attacking goal for the Saints.
Thrown up. Cameron wins down the tap for Collingwood. Through traffic, Boxall knocks it onto Hall, and he's tackled over the boundary line. A crowd of around 80,000 expected at the MCG tonight. If we surpass 81,386, that'll be the most fans that have witnessed a St Kilda game apart from finals. Marshall wins down the tap. Josh Dacos onto it. His hand pass stripped by Brad Hill, and the umpire will eventually ball it up as it's locked to the chest of Rowan Steele. 50 metres out from St Kilda's goal. Marshall and Cameron spills out the way of Boxhill. Darcy Cameron tries to knock it on to Nick Dacos. Through traffic, hand pass to Rowan Steele. Off balance, he gets it forward to Schultz. He fires a hand pass forward. Buller sidesteps around his opponent. Kicks around his body. A high ball to half forward. No one home for Collingwood. And the mark taken by Windhager at half back. Turns the fence into attack through the middle of the ground. Finds Flanders to Mitch Owen. A lace-out kick to the pocket looking for Wanganeen Miller. Can't take the mark. He volleys it out towards Sinclair at half forward. His hand pass to Boxall. Links it back to Tom De Koning. Turns and reloads inside 50. Higgins the deepest target. And in from the side, the mark is taken by Frampton of Collingwood.
His short kick. Just the 15 away towards Quaynor.
Redemption for Billy.
In the defensive goal square, Quaynor pokes it on to Parker. Parker has a fit of the fumbles, drops it. Time to recover. He'll clear with a long kick up to the wing. Wilkie brings it down. Mason Woodrose. St Kilda ball. Back to Windhager, back to Hill. Hill with a long kick into the pocket. Parker in front. Redeems himself. Holds on to this one. 45 out from the defensive goal. Former Shield player for Victoria. Play for the Hurricanes in the BBL, and he kicks up to the wing as the siren sounds for half-time. St Kilda's quarter, they kick 3-1 after trailing by 11 points at quarter-time. They lead by 2 at the main break.
It got out to 11 points at quarter-time, but since then it's been an arm wrestle. The Saints leading by 2 points after goals in that term for the Saints to Cooper Sharman, who has a couple, while Mitch Owens has also been able to contribute with Wanganeen Miller, while for Collingwood 2 goals to Goey, 2 goals to Schultz, and Dan McStay has the other goal.
Sorry, Clinchy, I meant to read those. Just a little bit of opening round rust.
It's all right, we scrambled our way through there, I think. Got them all. 2 to Sharman, 1 to Mitch Owen, 1 to Brad Hill, and 1 to Wanganeen Miller. I think I missed Brad Hill. It's all right, it's opening round. We've got 24 rounds still to come. The thoughts of Luke Ball and Brett Delidio, with the Saints holding a 2-point advantage at half-time. But did they make enough of their dominance in that second quarter?
Well, I don't think the Saints did. I think they fully capitalised. They absolutely dominated that second quarter. We just go through to what those numbers were there. I think they were plus 10. Were they plus 13 in inside 50s, Paulie? They got a bit bomby, I reckon, towards the end. It's caught a couple of times. Darcy Cameron got back there to help. Billy Frampton took a nice mark there late. They just didn't quite have the targets there leading up in front. They're trying to just make it happen with those quick turnovers, and then the pressure was still good enough to force it into a high ball. But when you're plus 20, just about, plus 21 in contested ball and then plus 13 inside 50s, you'd like to think you got more dominance of the game, but to only go in with a 2-point lead, albeit, you were down in the first quarter, so you've done well after a little rev at quarter time from the coach. But I think the Pies would be okay, but I think if I'm a neutral supporter here, as I am here tonight, I'm probably leaning more towards where the Saints sit, given their run and carry, their energy that they've played with, versus the stop-start sort of style of the Pies.
Yeah, they got the cook, didn't they, at quarter time from the senior coach, who spent a good 5 minutes really eyeballing them, and they got the response, so they definitely dialed it up. The Saints around the contest, that last 10 minutes of the first quarter, the Pies were all over them in terms of contested ball and tackle and pressure. And it allowed them to chain the ball out and score. Well, that time it was the Saints turning up in numbers, and they were a bit cleaner. And Collingwood's overuse of handball really stood out that quarter, didn't they? They invited the pressure, and the Saints were absolutely up to the task. And then that allowed them to control field position, didn't it? So, as you said, 20 inside 50s to 7 was a mauling from that point of view. But yep. You're right, they didn't really have Sharman, the only winner ahead of the ball. Higgins, not much of an involvement yet. Owens has had his moments, hasn't he? But really only scored off that advantage bit of play where Sharman got the free kick. So other than Sharman, they're really struggling for a winner. You'd have to say that the Marshall-DeConey thing not really working at the moment. I think when Marshall goes into the ruck against McStay, they look to have the advantage around the ball, but neither have been able to have an impact forward of the ball at the moment. So, and Liam Ryan only had the 2 possessions. So Sharman aside, the Pies defenders have held up pretty well. And when you look at the numbers, it's really been Collingwood's defenders. Dacos 19 has spent most of his time behind the footy. Houston 19. Quaynor had a really good quarter, I thought, 14. Maynard 13. So all Collingwood's defenders are getting a fair bit of the ball, which talks to the fact that the game was played in St Kilda's half. But from a Saints forwards point of view, they need them to have a bit more of an impact, don't they? Max Hall hasn't really had an impact or looked dangerous forward of the ball as well. So, I mean, that's a mauling in terms of contested possession that quarter. That'll really that'll be up within large font on the whiteboard at half time. I would have thought that's not us. If you're Craig McRae, that's absolutely not us. So. You're right. They get away with it a bit, don't they? For St Kilda's lack of effectiveness or efficiency, rather, going forward of the ball.
The initial thoughts of Luke Ball and Brett Delidio. St Kilda leading by 2 points at half-time, 5-7-37 to the Magpies, 5-5-35. The Tillies have fallen behind against the Korea Republic. They trail 1-0. In fact, the Matildas have just scored. So on the other side of the ABC News, we'll bring you all the details. But here's the latest from the ABC Newsroom.
ABC News with David Rowlands. The Israeli Defence Forces says it cannot verify reports that hospitals have been struck during the conflict with Iran, but maintains it's committed to minimising civilian harm. The World Health Organization says it's verified 13 attacks on hospitals and health infrastructure in Iran since the fighting began last weekend. The agency says 4 healthcare workers have been killed and 25 injured, with damage reported to hospitals in Tehran, emergency service buildings and several ambulances. The WHO also warns humanitarian supply chains are being disrupted, with millions of dollars worth of medicines and medical supplies blocked from reaching the region. Meanwhile, Iran's attacks on its Gulf neighbours have continued, despite its president, Masoud Pezeshkian, apologising for striking Gulf countries and promising it would only strike in self-defence. As Global Affairs editor Laura Tingle reports from Dubai, this raises questions about who's in charge of Iran now.
It's really been Iran's Revolutionary Guard that's been running these missile attacks on the Gulf states, and particularly since his apology. And that, in fact, they said in a statement that the attacks had been launched, the ones in Dubai, because the area around the marina was where troops were stationed from the US, and it was also near a Warner Brothers site. Now, the Revolutionary Guard's continued strikes really do raise questions about who's in control in Iran at the moment, and just shows how little regard the Revolutionary Guard has for the central political control structures.
Foreign Minister Penny Wong has reiterated that Australia will not send troops into Iran as part of the ongoing US-Israeli military offensive there. However, the government is considering a request from Gulf states for defensive military support amid Iranian drone and missile attacks. Senator Wong says the Albanese Labor government will not engage in offensive action and dismissed parallels between this war and the US-led invasion of Iraq in 2003, which Australia was involved in.
This is not Iraq, and we are not the Howard government. We are not asking Australians to accept Australian men and women being deployed into a ground war.
To other news, and the Bureau of Meteorology says major flooding in the Northern Territory community of Nauyo Daly River will be prolonged. The river at the community's police station is sitting just above the major flooding level of 14 metres and is expected to rise to around 14.8 metres during the evening local time. Meanwhile, major flooding is continuing in the town of Katherine, southeast of Daly River, with the Katherine River sitting at around 18.6 metres, but beginning to drop very slowly. Senior forecaster Miriam Bradbury says the Daly River is likely to exceed 15.3 metres, which is above the level seen in the community during major floods in 1957, but that won't occur until Wednesday.
The fact that we're not going to reach that river level height until Wednesday just shows just how slowly this flood peak is moving. It is climbing, and it is going to take some days to continue to climb, through the early part of the week until we start to potentially see a peak.
Two men from Sydney who drowned while rock fishing on the New South Wales Central Coast were not wearing life jackets. The bodies of a 46 and 67-year-old were pulled from the water at the remote Little Beach. Acting Inspector Richard Nicholson says the first man was located in the water just after 4 p.m.
The men who located the male brought him onto land, and unfortunately that male was deceased. Information was received that he was seen earlier in the day fishing with another male, and police immediately commenced a search. At about 7:45 p.m, a second male was located face down in the water by Polaire.
To sport, and Alyssa Healy has ended her international cricket career in style, with Australia's women's cruising to a 10-wicket win over India in their test match at the Wacker Ground in Perth this afternoon. Australia's spinners restricted India to just 149 in its second innings before Georgia Vole and Phoebe Litchfield chased down the paltry target of 25. After scoring 13 in her final innings with the bat, Healy contributed with a catch on day 3 before leading the Australians off the field at the completion of India's innings as the triumphant skipper. That brings you up to date with ABC News.
During an emergency,
power's not on, the line's still down, the tree's still on it.
Find your local ABC radio station.
Who's without power or phone but hopefully listening to the ABC on a battery radio.
ABC Radio is your emergency broadcaster.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Mason Wood, he kicks a high ball inside 50. Cooper Sharman, he rises and takes the mark. Do they take the advantage? They do. And it's put through for a goal. As Mitch Owen finishes the work for the Saints. They're always dangerous when you take the advantage, but on this occasion, it proves beneficial. Gets it to Higgins at the top of the 50. Just brought down in the last moment by Frampton. It spills the way of Philippou. His kick goes straight up in the air. They come charging out. Big rise from Boxall. He completely missed the footy. Still alive for the Saints. Higgins back to Sinclair. Great run down chase by Buller. It spills to Wanganeen Miller, and he finishes. Now's this on the board for the Saints as they take back the lead here at the MCG.
34 goals last season, that is perfect. Super Cooper, and they are rolling the Saints back out by 9 points.
Schultz kicked a goal in the opening quarter. He'll start this around 40 metres out, trying to curl it around his body. 3 or 4 steps out, curls it straight through the middle. His second, and Collingwood's first of this second quarter.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
and ABC Listen.
The highlights of the second quarter is heard on ABC Sports. St Kilda lead by 2 points, 5-7-37 to Collingwood, 5-5-35. That's out to the Magpies. Took the lead at quarter time by 11 points. That's been the biggest lead of the match so far. Matt Clinch alongside Ben Cameron calling the action. Brett Delidio and Luke Ball are your experts with Lauren Borden down on the boundary. A couple of goals to Cooper Sharman, 2 goals to Jordan De Goey. While it's been Nasiah Wanganeen Miller and Nick Dacos who have lit up both sides in this opening round public holiday Sunday night match to start things in Victoria. As always, you can get in touch with us on the SMS 0437 774 774. It's been a big day in sport already, and one match that's taking place at the moment. The Tillies are in action in Sydney, and the good news is after falling down early, 1-0 against the Korea Republic, it's been an equaliser for the Tillies. Here's how it's called on ABC Sport.
Sam Kerr tries to lay it off for Kennedy. Still not properly cleared by Korea. Might drop for Fowler now. Might go for Kennedy. And Alana Kennedy's bundled the ball home. A third goal of the tournament. Pops up on the spot. Roars to the crowd. And Australia forced their way back into this match. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't clean. But it got the job done. And just over half an hour played. It's Australia 1, Korea 1.
So a lot better result than what it was about 15 minutes ago. Coverage of the AFC Women's Asian Cup is available on ABC Listen. That was Ned Hall behind the mic. He's joined in commentary by Alicia Ferguson tonight with Neve Owen down pitch side. We'll bring you some reaction from the Tealies and some of the post-game interviews. The Formula One was just across town, Ben, at Albert Park. It wasn't a memorable day for our own Oscar Piastri, who didn't even get to start the race in his warm-up lap. He skidded into the fencing, and it was a 1-2 for Mercedes with Ferrari not far behind. But George Russell announcing himself here in Melbourne once more.
Yeah, George Russell came through very much with Lando Norris and took a lot of motivation out of the fact that Lando won the World Championship last year. So the Mercedes was predicted to be quick heading into Melbourne. They tested really well, new year, new regulations in the Formula One, and it proved as such. So Russell ahead of Antonelli, and then Charles Leclerc in third place as well. But the disaster was Oscar. Just the way that his car came out of the pit lane for that warm-up lap as well. There was some great analysis from Anthony on the television broadcast explaining how the first time you go through the gears there's real issues, and then Oscar was coming around the sweeping bend and it wasn't really revving. So he had the foot flat to the floor, but it wasn't accelerating. And then he went around the corner and he put the foot down again, and it did really go. And he went up on the curbing, and as a result, it was revving hard, and that caused him to spin out as he went around the corner and into the wall. And good night, race over before it even began. It was a heavy blow.
Disappointing. I was looking forward to watching him race.
He issued an apology after the race saying that he took full responsibility. There were some mitigating circumstances, but at the end of the day, to not compete in your home Grand Prix, one of the great frustrations is that the dejected figure, the video and stills of him making his way back to the starting line, but without a place in the Formula One.
How do you take responsibility? It's not you that's making the car not rev. So what's his issue there?
Yeah, so
it's not his fault.
I know I said that. I found it interesting, though, because Zach Brown, the team boss, immediately after said, the data shows no issues. So he was kind of basically, I thought, Oscar's just picking himself out from under the bus, isn't he, after that?
High and dry.
Not my fault.
It wouldn't be the car's fault.
I don't want to lose my job Monday.
But
he's a beauty.
I don't think it was all his fault, but he wanted to take responsibility.
Yeah, I think that's why we love him, though, too, isn't he? I feel like, that sport, it's pretty easy to pass the blame, but he's always so humble, easy in success or setbacks. So disappointing, wasn't it? Disappointing. Home crowd. He had the big grandstand here, the Oscar Piastri fans all scattered around the grandstand. So for it to end like it did, but anyway, he's got to butter up and they move on pretty quick, don't they? First meet of the season.
Yep. I'm looking forward to the next one. Full analysis from Mark Murphy on Thursday night.
Well, he's been there. Yeah, he's sore neck. He's got that many lanyards around it. So I look forward to finding out from Murph what the pit lane was like.
The other sport taking place today as Australia wrapped up the multi-format series against India, a 10-wicket win. And Alyssa Healy's final game as Australian captain and in international duties. So they finished 12 points to 4. If you want to catch up with it all, grandstand at Stumps, it's all there under the best of ABC Sport. And the sporting coverage continues tonight in the cricket sense. You can hear the conclusion of the Men's T20 World Cup from midnight Australian Eastern Daylight Time on ABC Listen through the silver cricket ball as it's been throughout the tournament as New Zealand chase their first ever World Cup trophy when they take on the host nations and defending champions India, who are hoping to become the first nation to go back-to-back. So are we sort of backing the Kiwis because you've got to back someone over them over India?
Gee, they're in form, aren't they? Obviously, yeah, to make it there. And they've got the weapons, don't they? They've got big is it Finn Allen, isn't it? Coming off an unbelievable knock in the semi-final. So, but you do feel like it's a pretty significant home advantage, don't you? Home team advantage. But 2020 so much can happen, so much can go wrong, can't it? So, toss of the coin. I suppose we better barrack for our neighbours across the ditch.
Yeah, I'm with them. I'm on board. What do they call themselves? The Black Caps.
Yeah, the Black Caps.
Players not too far away from returning here to the MCG. St Kilda hold a 2-point advantage, 5-7-37 to Collingwood 5-5-35. The Magpies really had to hang tough throughout that second quarter. It was 20 inside 50s to 7. The Saints finished with 3 goals 3 to Collingwood's 1 goal 2. What would Ross Lyon be saying to his midfield group and his forward group to try and get a better result in this second half? And for Collingwood, we know they're undersized without Darcy Moore and Jeremy Howe. Billy Frampton's had to try and take on a couple of opponents at times, and that's led to some mistakes. And a few of the Collingwood defenders need to try and play a little taller with so much ball coming inside their defensive 50.
Well, I think the composure's the obvious thing, isn't it? And I think sometimes you can get caught in that, okay, no Howe, no more, so let's bomb. Yep. And you called it, Lids. They probably got a bit bomby late. You can picture Darcy Cameron taking 2 marks in a row, Billy Frampton taking a mark,
even Isaac Quainer taking a mark.
That's right. So can we lower our eyes a bit and bring a Jack Higgins into the game, bring a Liam Ryan into the game.
Get Naz into the game when he's playing forward.
That's right, but for that to happen, they need to be leading up at the footy. When was the last time you saw? I mean, Sharman, as I said, has looked the dangerous one because he's led at the footy.
They've probably been too far out. They've been attacking from just outside that launch zone we used to call it, from 50 to 70. They've been just outside it, which forces you then to go that long high ball where they can break that paint and get inside that 50 to 70 zone. Then you're hitting those smaller kicks, aren't you? You're not looking for that extra yardage and trying to get it deeper.
Yeah, so both teams forwards, really, both teams forward. I mean, that quarter, Collingwood's forward 6 were starved of opportunity, weren't they? But
well, sung to go his praises in the first quarter. He just got starved in that second. We didn't see him at all, hardly at all. 3 touches, and then the rest of the forwards just didn't get a look at it. McCreery's had next to no impact. McStay had 1 chance. He got spoiled by his own teammate. So, yeah, they'll be looking for a bit more ball inside forward 50, but composure's the key for me. If you're a Saints fan and Saints coaching staff, is, boys, how can we utilise the amount of ball that we are winning? That contested footy, get it on the outside, get it to our users and not just blast away.
I think the Pies look dangerous with the ball on the ground in their forward 52. That's going to be a potential weakness of that St Kilda defence with the size down there, and Caminiti and Silvani and Taru's the other one, yes, who we know is great flying, isn't he, in the air? And get the ball to ground and let's see if Schultz has looked dangerous, hasn't he, a couple of times, kicked a couple of goals. Elliott yet to really get into the game. He's got his hands full with Wilkie, so looking at overuse of handball with the players out. Let's get the ball deep into one-on-ones, and if we can't mark it, bring the ball to ground and see if our smaller players can do some damage at ground level.
Pendlebury starting this third quarter, going with the forward group, so I won't be spending much time in the midfield, more so just playing as that crumbing forward as he showed us, so how much he's worked on that over the summer, obviously.
It looks like McCreery's going to start in the centre bounce as well, so maybe it's
a straight swap.
Yeah, it's a centre bounce flip.
So Tom De Koning has had the 9 disposals, as we've touched on. Rowan Marshall just the 5. He did take a mark inside 50, but his teammate gave away a free kick. So the Saints experiment with the 2 rucks for the moment. Still looking to try and maximise on that.
Still no real tag or run with, isn't it? I mean, Nick Dacos, brilliant first quarter, just out, not as prolific that quarter.
St Kilda by 2 points into the second half.
Ball hits the deck, both rucks with hands on it. Nick Dacos goes the outside of the boot, up towards half forward. Lipinski out after it, wins the footy for the Pies. Handball to Pendlebury, look away handball. McCreary for the dream start, curls it through. Up Pies to start this second half. 6-5-41 plays 5-7-37. Less than 25 seconds into it. And just like that, Collingwood back in front. They lead by 4 points.
Well, that's another score involvement, score assist for Scott Pendlebury. That ability, he's guaranteed he's not the quickest bloke out there, but his ability to find his way onto the end of it and work over. And McCreary from the centre bounce,
spread. Yeah,
just to get over to that next contest and be a part of the next chain. He left whoever he started next to in the centre bounce.
Yeah, now Flanders got drawn to the ball, but yeah, that's brilliant from McCreary. First hands on the footy, got the handball, and once he saw that they were out, the kick went forward. He took off, and he was rewarded.
Third lead change of the match, and Collingwood take back the lead from the 16-minute mark of the second quarter. Back in the middle of the ground, McCreary trying to get the clearance, but it's to Koning to Filippo. Hand pass to Flanders, gets it forward to Hall. On the bounce, he gathers at centre half forward. Links up with Boxall, looks into the pocket. The kick for Higgins just held up, and it allowed Frampton to make the spoil with Parker's support. Maynard comes crashing through, gets it on to Josh Dacos. Links up with Lipinski, away to Nick Dacos. Chips it up the wing to McCreary. He has space now to take a bounce. He runs the wing. Hand pass to Elliott, looks inboard to Parker, linking up beautifully, pulls the kick to half forward, and the mark is taken by Pendlebury, who's crashed into late by Caminiti.
That's fine.
And doesn't get a 50-metre penalty. Pendlebury stayed down.
80 minute, didn't he?
Yeah.
The old boy, the 38-year-old back, probably didn't need that, and he's going to give it off here.
He does to McCreary on the run from 50, arcs out to the right for back-to-back goals to start the third quarter. McCreary has his second, and Collingwood go 1-2 to take a 10-point advantage in this third quarter, which is just 2 minutes old. Collingwood 7-5-47, St Kilda 5-7-37. Bo McCreary getting on the end of Scott Pendlebury's work.
So 2 in a row. It's the goal assist era of Scott Pendlebury.
Amazing. That's unbelievable. That's his fifth of the game, where he's had to do, like the next handball across to someone or kick to someone who's kicked a goal. I love this injection of Bo McCreary into the midfield. He's given him some real spread and broken the game open. There's a nice little kick to Pendlebury, who's made to earn it from Caminiti, but I don't think he was making the journey. I know it was just inside 50, but the older legs probably wouldn't knock that through. McCreary just floating about.
It's interesting, isn't it? Pendlebury's lining up against Jack Sinclair, who not paying him a lot of attention when the ball goes forward. We know Sinclair's an attacking half-back. Here he is again.
And Pendlebury on the end of it. The Pies out of the middle. He chips it short. Schultz off to Nick Dacos. Floats a left footer. Gets a bounce, but not quite enough. Needed the leg break rather than the top spinner. And skids through for a minor score. Collingwood by 11 points, the opening 2 goals of the second half.
After only having 7 inside 50s in the second quarter, they've come out with some purpose. They lead by 11 points from half-back. Wilkie gave a half pass to Sinclair over the top to Winhager. Now Flanders at half-back, close to the boundary line, too wide for Marshall. Out of bounds on the full on the members' side. Collingwood will take it back through Darcy Cameron. The Pies by 11 points. Chips it to half-back to Maynard. Spots up Nick Dacos. He marks it left half-back, gives it back to Maynard. Runs around Cooper Sharman, up towards McStay. Elliott with a late fly. He gave away a free kick with a push in the back. And Wilkie will take it, although St Kilda will take the advantage. Flanders from half-back. Kicks up to Boxall, who marks at right half-back for the Saints.
Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Long kick around the wing towards a contest. Up they go. Cameron brings it down in front. Maynard. Collingwood ball again. Off to Nick Dacos. Outside of the boot. Drop punt. Finds Elliott. The Pies are away. He'll go on his left. Kick inside 50. McStay's all on his own. He can't mark it. Waits for it to sit up. Flicks it over the top. And Membry snaps. It's the post.
Turned the wrong way.
It is all black and white at the moment. No red. Collingwood 12 points to the good, nearly 5 minutes into the third.
It's an easy
4 inside 50s to 1.
Yeah.
28 disposals to 13. St Kilda need to get their hands on the ball.
Spot on.
Sinclair sends it out to Brad Hill. He marks it left half back. Just happy to try and take a bit of the sting out of Collingwood's dominance. Kicks out to Cal Wilkie. He pushes back behind his mark and now comes inboard to Winhager. Collingwood 7-7-49, St Kilda 5-7-37. As the Saints now switch play to Caminiti. He marks in the right back pocket. Has Mason Wood over the top, steers a kick in that direction. He marks in front of McCreary. Can come inboard. Had to wait a little while, Winhager. He takes the mark in front of Jordan Agoe. Now spots Flanders free in the middle of the ground. This is good tempo footy from the Saints, just finding the loose options. As Flanders can go back to Wood on the members' wing, wants to look further than that. To Koenig in from the side. Cameron sits underneath it for Collingwood. Spills down to Hall. Chips a kick in towards the goal square. Gathered by Parker on the bounce. Tackled and brought down. Ball spills clear. Wilson laid the tackle. He's rewarded for holding the ball. Ooh. Parker sort of tried to get a hand pass away. Made good intent. Umpire says he didn't get a knuckle to it.
Yeah, let's have another look. It was a good, nice, clean pickup. Certainly had prior opportunity. Did he get a hand on it? Let's have a look. Oh, could have gone either way. He's a bit stiff there, I think, Will Parker. Good forward pressure, though.
Saints need a response either way. 2 quick goals for the Pies. Footy in the hands of Darcy Wilson. 45-degree angle. 35 metres out to steady for the Saints. He leans back and misses to the right-hand side. He got very close to the man on the mark, and Will Parker gives him a pat on the back. Collingwood by 11 points.
Maybe a little bit of justice. I thought he was a bit stiff as well, Bally. Josh Dacos short to Frampton. Receives it back and pokes it short to Elliott. Pies down the southern wing. Elliott kicks around it, looking for Membry. Silvani fists it away. Tumbles out of play. Throw in between wing and half forward for the Pies at the punt road end of the ground. Ben Cameron, Matt Clinch, Brett Delidio, Luke Ball and Lauren Borden bringing you the action. Spinning it back into play. Cameron palms it into De Koning, who goes and picks it up. Ball spits out. Out towards Membry at half forward for the Pies. He can't gather it. Silvani can for the Saints. Off to Wilkie.
As they link from half back, Flanders puts it out in front of Liam Ryan at full speed. He tries to dodge away from Maynard. Chips it up the wing. Great kick to Wilson. He's streaming forward at right half forward. He looks up. Cooper Sharman, the deepest target. Over the head of Quainer. Leaning back, it's Mitch Owens who takes the mark.
Can't be much about that.
Summed it up well. Quainer tried to take front position, and Mitch Owens, he handled that well. And a chance to try and put through his second.
That touch of Liam Ryan, that's running full tilt towards the boundary to pop that into the path of Darcy Wilson as a leap.
The Saints have missed a few of these. Mitch Owens directly in front, 15 metres out, not this time. An important steadier for the Saints to cut the margin back to 5 points Collingwood's way. Owens with his second. Collingwood 7-7-49. St Kilda 6-8-44. 8 minutes gone, third quarter, Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Ahead of Lids and Bally, Lauren Borden on the boundary.
Clinchy, a half-time attendance has come through, and that's sitting at 82,000 people. So that means this is officially the biggest home and away attendance that the St Kilda Footy Club has ever played in across their history. That breaks the 81,386 when they played against Collingwood as well back in 2010. That was an away game for St Kilda. Their highest home attendance was in the late 90s when they were at Waverley, and they recorded 72,669. So a big crowd here to watch St Kilda, their excitement for this season, and the biggest one that they've had in home and away attendance in their history.
Are we happy with that? Collingwood by 5 points. De Koning and Cameron. De Koning looking to follow up his own work. McRae wins it, gives it back to De Koning, gives it off to Hill. St Kilda out of the middle. Kick short, a good one for Flanders. The new Saint chips the ball beautifully for the leading Sharman, who skips onto the ball, 20 out directly in front.
Centre bounce. Just good centre bounce work to Koning involved with the follow-up, getting his hands on the ball.
Sam Flanders at his best, though,
wasn't it?
Yeah, his Suns, he was that half forward coming up the back of contest, then delivering inside forward 50. So much time and space there, and a huge paddock and a big bucket to put that one into.
18 possessions, he's having a good day. 6 for the quarter.
Sharman on the approach. Boot to ball from 35 out. He stabs at it and misses it right. Would have taken back the lead for the Saints, not to be.
I was about to say, put this one in the book.
Collingwood by 4. He usually is a good kick, isn't he?
Matildas have taken the lead in the Asian Cup over Korea Republic. Sam Kerr scoring and they lead 2-1. Dan Houston brings Collingwood back into play, leading by 4 points. Caminiti from behind makes the spoil against Buller. Buller tries to slide back in on club taboo, trying to knock it out for Collingwood. Ned Long slides in as well. Now Darcy Cameron lays the tackle, and the umpire will ball it up on the wing between wing and half forward. Tom De Koning and Darcy Cameron having a bit of a smile as they tangle, and eventually Cameron helps him to his feet. Thrown in the air. Cameron wins down the tap for Collingwood. Arm across the chest by Tom De Koning results in a free kick.
It's a good battle, isn't it? De Koning and Cameron.
Cameron gives it off to De Goey. Long kick around the members' wing. Buller launching at the footy. Silvani putting his fist through it. Free kick coming back to Buller anyway. We'll have to track the ball down. It's headed to the boundary.
I think he's working hard, Buller. The stat sheet doesn't say much, but I like the fact that he's continuing to work.
Gives off the handball to Nick Dacos. He'll set it up towards the hot spot. Schultz is down there, but flying in Silvani. Marks it fullback for St Kilda. Pokes it laterally away to Wilkie in the back pocket. He'll move the Saints out towards the wing onto the chest of Wilson. Very wide out. Collingwood by 4 points.
He's been able to get on the end of a few attacking runs, Darcy Wilson, as he moves it back inside the defensive 50 to Silvani. Takes the mark. In his new colours, wearing number 3, through the middle of the ground, kicks to Garcia. He takes the mark and switches it out to Carroll on the member side. They're using the full width of the MCG as Carroll looks up to Marshall at half forward. Cameron makes the spoil for Collingwood. Flanders tries to knock it away from side bottom. Down low, good contest taking place, and Houston lays the tackle, preventing the break of Hall at half forward for the Saints. Collingwood by 4 points. They kick 2 goals to 1 in this third quarter.
Umpire puts it up. Both rucks with hands on it. Towards the boundary line it goes. McRae paddling. Gathers now. Tackled by Perryman. Slaps it on McRae. Carroll picks it up for the Sainters. Sends them inside 50. Looking for a marker. Owens hands to it very nearly. Quaynor slaps it away cleverly. Has the support of Frampton and Collingwood repel. Maynard kicks to side bottom. He slaps it on. McRae still going after the footy, or would rather. And Collingwood, they emerge with it off the back flank. Long away to side bottom. Kicks around the wing. Buller going back. It bounces off his chest. Works out for Elliott. Pokes it inside 50. And Membry marks 40 metres out. 30-degree angle to the left.
Oh, well done, Jack Buller.
Membry wants to come infield for Houston and gets him. Spots him up in the corridor. 40 metres out, so the same distance but a better angle.
Just had to go, didn't he? Put his body on the line. That's how you endear yourself to your new supporters.
Certainly is. Putting your body on the line, you earn their respect pretty quickly, not knowing what's coming the other way.
Just opening up a bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's space out there. Dan Houston, who's had a pretty good night.
Found his love life in the social pages recently. Dan Houston, his drop punt here is tugged left. Collingwood by 5 points, 13 minutes and change into the third. Sorry, Bawley.
I was just going to say, it's his 16th kick.
Not his best one.
No, certainly not his best.
You're reading those socialised pages in the middle of the paper?
Always checking them out, Clinchy.
They still make papers, do they?
His first stop.
On the wing, Frampton tries to knock it down to side bottom, spills out Perryman's way, got it to Long, to Crisp. Here goes Collingwood through Perryman, dribbles a kick inside 50, try and make that work. In the end, Buller couldn't do so. Gathered by Silvani, tackled by Lipinski, just got it away at the last moment. Back to Caminiti. Links up with Mason Wood at right half back. Kicks out to the lead. It's too high in the end for Windhager. And it goes out of play. Last touch, St Kilda. Free kick going the way of Nick Dacos and Collingwood. Waste no time moving it to half forward. Lipinski takes the mark. He's at left half forward. Veers out to the right. Looks for Elliott on the lead. He comes out. In from the side. Caminiti. De Goey, the crummer. Around the body through his third. Vintage Jordan De Goey. Caminiti's slow to rise, and they'll go to Jamie Elliott for making his presence known. But Jordan De Goey is starting 2026 in red-hot form. A third goal for him, and the Magpies lead by 11 points once more. 8-8-56 to St Kilda, 6-9-45. 14 minutes gone, third quarter. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Yeah, it's a good example, this, isn't it? So two forwards not having great days, Jack Buller and Jamie Elliott, just battling away, but...
Contest.
Two contests. They don't get a number on the stat sheet, but that will be shown you can bet tomorrow morning or this week during the review. Commit your body, create the contest, create the spill ball, directly goal resulting.
Yeah, not great defensive work, if I'm being completely honest. It's his third goal from the go. You've got to be a bit tighter, I would have thought. Pretty dangerous.
He's become a hobby farmer recently, Geordie De Goey. His outlet to get away from footy. Brett Delidio would have thoughts on that, no doubt. Higgins wins it off the deck for St Kilda, out to Bradley Hill. Now Wangani Malira, half forward, kicks inside 50, turnover. Houston marks, and Collingwood will reload from the back pocket. Pies by 11. Short to Lipinski.
It's his first possession for the quarter, Messiah. He's only had 13 for the game.
Lipinski's kick untidy. It's his teammate under pressure who's wrapped up, and a ball upcoming.
Started well, didn't he? But they'll need a lift from him.
Yep.
They're going to go on and win this one, the Saints.
Perryman doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Scott Benterbury started on the bench again in this third quarter, as he has each of the quarters so far in game 426. Side bottom through traffic. Hand pass to De Goey. Run down by Winhager. Got him this time. Wins a free kick for the Saints on the Shane Warne stand wing. Collingwood by 11 points. Winhager in Danny Frawley's number 2. Inside 50. Marshall worked out of it. Frampton brought it down. Sharman tackled by Dan McStay holding the ball. There's a late whistle.
The side bottom's been caught holding the side bottom.
Yeah.
So holding the ball on side bottom. After Sharman was stripped of it in a tackle by McStay. Filippo tackled side bottom. It was the second one that was paid.
Yeah, Collingwood supporters, you hear them. I think they missed the first one, and the replay shows I think they did. But they get a bit lucky here, the Saints.
I'm not sure how the umpire missed that first one, but he was standing right there having a look at it.
So Mateus Filippo at left half forward. He's shown some good signs, spending more time in the midfield. They need someone to stand up. He shanked this out towards the top of the goal square. Marshall presents. It comes off hands. Dacos, that's Josh. Hand pass to Quainer. Bangs it up the wing looking for memory. Caminiti brings it down. Running onto it, Schultz. Was he taken high by Brad Hill? He was. And the ball will come back.
Just a moment to breathe in this match. No helter-skelter the last few minutes. Collingwood by 11 points, 17 and a half into the third. Eventually Schultz retrieves the ball. Stabs a kick very short out to Pat Lipinski. He'll kick up towards centre half forward, looking for Buller to launch at it. Hands to it, no mark. Long roves the pack, sweeps the handball away. Rone Steele in stride, runs to 30, finishes. His first goal in AFL footy, and they will get around him after a melee perhaps. They all get around Buller and say great job creating the contest. There's a little argy-bargy as well. Collingwood by 17, 9-8-62, plays 6-9-45.
Surprise, surprise, Braden Maynard. He'd run a lap of the tan to get in the fight, I reckon. he absolutely loves it. But there's that handball from Ned Long, that vision. Diesel Williams just to put... Are we going with Roan or Rowan?
Let's go with Roan.
Roan.
It's R-O-A-N, so I think it is Roan.
It is Roan.
I don't know. I'm happy to be corrected.
We'll just go with Steele.
That is as good a handball as you'll see this year from Ned Long, who hasn't had a great night.
How good.
Just didn't break stride, Steele.
Great finish.
30-metre handball.
In just his 6th game of AFL footy, Steele has his first goal, and Collingwood with 4 of the last 5 goals in the match. Umpire blows his whistle back in the middle of the ground. It's a St Kilda free kick. Messiah Wangani wants to take the advantage, but it's going to come back.
Well, it's the old out of zone umpire again. Will strike.
Stitched twice now with that one.
Yes. Well, they've got DeConey in the ruck against Jack Buller here, so they've got to really cash in here, the Saints.
And it's going the way of Garcia. Who quickly gives away the hand pass to Winhager. Drives a high ball inside 50. Looking in the direction of Jack Higgins. It spills out the way of Quainer. Quick hand pass over the top to Nick Dacos. He links up with Perryman. Collingwood from half back into the middle of the ground. Lipinski used his body illegally against Flanders to block him out. And a free kick going the way of the Saints.
Yeah. They move it on quickly. Flanders. Long kick to full forward. Cameron hands to it. Spills down. All the recipient goals. And the Collingwood fans are incensed. The Saints won't mind. It'll count all the same, and it's back to 11 points. 9:8:62 plays 7:9:51. 20 minutes into the third. Loop ball, Brett Delidio. How did you see it?
I feel like Pies maybe a little bit unlucky with a mark deep in defence there. That's what they're arguing with the umpires about. Who was it coming through there? Was McStay, yeah.
Just the almost
mark
at the moment. Yeah, he's got about 5 of them.
But I get concerned about that. They get into a bit of a rush, don't they, the Saints, and they're going hard forward, and they go bombing again, where they was lowering their eyes and they were starting to use it a little bit better. They go long, deep. McStay probably should have swallowed that one. But great positioning there from Hall. We called him out at the start of the game. And some of the things that he's been able to do his first couple of years on the list.
His family run a cattle farm at Yea. He's playing for Box Hill, and now he's featuring in the AFL. An important goal for the Saints to pull it back to an 11-point margin. To Koning up against Darcy Cameron. One down the tap, trying to get the clearance. Ball spills away to Garcia. Links up with Flanders. Back to Koning. He breaks away from Cameron. Tries to chip it out in front of Liam Ryan. He gathers on the bounce. Cuts around Ed Allen. Turns on his right. Long ball looking for Mitcho, and he rises. Can't take the mark. Spills out. Mason Wood out of traffic. Spinning with the hand pass back to Boxall. He's tackled. Great desperation from Ned Long. Another great tackle. Owens come charging in. He's tackled, and now he becomes the tackler. As the ball is being hotly contested inside St Kilda's forward 50. Collingwood by 11 points. 22 minutes gone, third quarter. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Umpire tosses it skyward. Cameron taking it out of the ruck. Handball beyond defensive 50. St Kilda win it back. Carroll dumps it on the boot. High ball inside 50. Crisp has a lot of it. Paid the mark this time.
Markle free kick. I don't think he...
They hit the ball, but...
Yeah.
I think the umpire just felt guilty for the last one. Yeah.
Even up as Chris moves it to Billy Frampton, who gets it onto Roan Steele. On the left back flank, Collingwood by 11. Feeds the handball to the run of Josh Dacos, tiptoeing the boundary line. Short for Pendlebury. Equaling the games of Michael Tuck, 426 today. And
I remember Tucky's 426 game, the 1991 grand final out at Waverley.
You were a Hawks fan growing up, weren't you, Borley?
I don't reckon he was moving quite as well as Pendles. He was an absolute star, obviously.
I'm told 5 goal assists is a career best. So if you're doing that in your 21st season, you're doing well.
It was his 11th grand final too.
Chris kicks inside 50 and Membry zipping through the pack. He marks 48 metres out. Tidy Shangle to the left.
We giving him the benefit of the doubt. That's what he was going for there. Crispy, it looked like a nice kick, didn't it? That Membry was leading. It just got over the hands of a defender there in front.
Crisp as well. And they are going to be the beneficiary of this 23rd play. Collingwood in particular. I mean, you think of some of the players on this list. Pendlebury, Crisp, we know about Elliott.
Tim Membry, slow approach. Boot to ball from 55. He sends it on goal now. Starts it out right, swings it back. It'll fall in the goal square to Koning. Slaps it through. Collingwood lead by 12. 2 goals neat. 23 minutes and change into the third term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Sinclair brings the Saints back into play to his fellow co-captain, and Wilkie looks to Flanders at left half back. He takes the mark, just cutting back to his right, and then tries to chip to Liam Ryan, who's caught flat-footed, and Jack Crisp takes the intercepting mark. Having broken Jim Steins' record for consecutive games, he comes inboard. The mark is taken by Scott Pendlebury. Pendlebury has Quainer all on his own on half-back. He'll chip it back to him, and they'll switch through Billy Frampton.
Done this all night, the Pies, haven't they? Really fanned and spread the ground, made it big.
Kicks out to Dan Houston, who marks it left half-back. Collingwood by 12 points. Lewis Mitch Owens, and then chips over the top, and the mark is taken by Lipinski. He's in no hurry, really, just standing on the members' wing as no one runs at him. So he can give it to Nick Dacos, possession number 27, about to come up for him, leading possession getter on the ground. As he centres the ball with a kick towards Darcy Cameron. Tom De Koning made the spoil, but he had arms around the midriff in the eyes of the umpire and gives away a free kick.
There's nothing in it.
Not much in that.
It's an easy one for the umpire to give, unfortunately. You see it so often.
De Koning throws his head back. There's been some interesting calls tonight.
Man.
And now Mitch Owen has been put down. There's a lot of players getting in behind Darcy Cameron, who's lining up for goal directly in front, 45 metres out.
Gift.
And he hangs onto the ball.
Yeah, as soon as that arm, they see the arm go around, it just feel like there's a lack of feel for the game there in that one.
Collingwood's best and fairest last season, which says a bit when you have Nick Dacos in your team. He was the runner-up in the Brownlow from just inside 50. Collingwood's big man steers it through, and they're all into Tom De Koning to let him know. Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller comes across for the Saints, and it's on once more. Collingwood are doing the flexing on the scoreboard. They lead by 18 points, 5 goals to 2 so far in this third quarter. As Darcy Cameron puts through his first goal of the night. Collingwood 10-9-69, St Kilda 7-9-51. As eventually they break to head back into position. Luke Ball and Brett Delidio with you on ABC Sport.
Save your energy, boys. Late in the third quarter, having a wrestle.
Brazzy's got another 3-10s to run to go and get another. He was right in the middle again, that bloke. He loves it, doesn't he?
He does.
Chief instigator of most little scuffles.
Yeah. Good finish.
Great finish.
What a pickup he's been, Darcy Cameron. It's been a great battle, hasn't it? They both had their moments, I think, tonight.
But I think Cameron's ability to go back behind and catch it has given him the edge, in my opinion.
Restart in the middle. Tom De Koning stayed down and has a free kick. I think that might have been the ruck infringement from Darcy Cameron. Free kick going to Tom De Koning. Driving ball inside 50. Sharman launching again, doesn't mark. Hall stays down, gathers the footy away to Wilson. He'll centre it for the Saints. Spoiled away by Josh Dacos. Maynard, nice pick up. Off towards Houston, who gives it to Nick Dacos. Back to Frampton. Kicks loose off the side of the boot, but works out. And Parker just juggles the mark in the end. On the right back flank. And a few issues just gripping it cleanly tonight, Parker. He shorts it to DeGoey.
Jordan DeGoey with 3 goals tonight. At right half back here, he veers around Brad Hill. Tries to kick up towards Buller in a 2-on-1. Taru in front. Wilkie brings it down and get it to Tom De Koning. He charges in to Buller, and then they work it through Taru around the boundary line to Hall. Under the Shane Warne stand with the floodlights beating down. A crowd of around 82,000 into the MCG. The biggest in which St Kilda have played in, apart from grand finals and finals. Kick to Winhager across half back, and now Carroll takes the mark. Collingwood by 18 points. Carroll spots Caminiti all on his own. Members wing takes the mark. Now where to for the Saints? Not a lot of movement. Rowan Marshall's waving his arms. Caminiti sends it in that direction. They set themselves. Maynard makes body contact. Frampton in from the side. Free kick. A hold, and Rowan Marshall will get this one. Right half forward.
Yeah, holding the arm. Maynard outsized, wasn't he? Just had to grab the hold of that arm and try and nullify Marshall's size.
Marshall wants to poke it into the pocket. His kick is just good. Finding Carroll in the pocket. Boxall rather.
Yeah, not a high percentage kick from out here, is it? But they've got a mark inside 50. You see that one of Caminiti's. He just had to go so long and high.
So Boxall from very wide out. It's not a bad effort. It hits
good effort.
The outside of the post. A very good effort from out there. Collingwood by 17. 28 minutes and change into this third term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Nick Dacos is taking the kick-ins. Another possession up to 29 as he gives it to Scott Pendlebury. He wants it back around the back as well. He won't get it this time, although he will get a chip kick from Pendlebury. So cheap stats, but they all count in the right back pocket. Possession number 30 coming up. This time he tries to bite something up through the middle of the ground. Bullers the target. Can't complete the mark. Winhager brings it down. Gets it to Wilkie. Back to Winhager. Centre of the MCG. Chips it over the top to Garcia. He marks in front of Sidebottom. They have it at left half forward, just at the edge of the centre square. This is where they've struggled throughout the night. He sends it in the direction of Cooper Sharman and Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller. Miller can't take the mark. It spills out to Perryman. He dribbles the kick out towards Josh Dacos. Short kick to Sidebottom. Here goes Collingwood through Nick Dacos.
He kicks long, looking for Elliott on a searching lead. What a kick. Here I say it in the wake of Dennis's passing. It was centimetre perfect. Elliott veers out, kicks on goal and misses to the right. Tumbles through for a behind. Collingwood by 3 goals. That kick was phenomenal. I would give anything to be able to kick the football like that.
I think we all would, to be honest.
Just missed the replay of Darcy Wilson's bump, but Braden Maynard was into him once more as the kick up the wing. Houston took the intercepting mark, but Liam Ryan was down. He quickly takes the ball back and then tries to play on with a quick hand pass to Boxall, but the siren sounds for three-quarter time. Collingwood head to the three-quarter time break. 18 points the good of St Kilda. 10-10-70 to the Saints. 7-10-52. The Magpies with 5 goals, 5 to 2 goals, 3 in that third quarter to establish an 18-point lead after trailing by 2 points at half-time. The goal kickers for the Magpies, 3 goals to Jordan De Goey, who's led the way in the black and white tonight. 2 goals to McCreary and 2 goals to Lockie Schultz. Individuals to McStay, Rowenstein and Darcy Cameron. Tim Membry's booted 3 behinds, while for the Saints, it's been 2 goals to Mitch Owen and 2 goals to Cooper Sharman. Individuals to Brad Hill, Messiah Wanganeen Miller and Darcy Wilson. Three-quarter time of the MCG. Collingwood leading by 18 points. While in the Asian Cup, Korea Republic have equalised against the Matildas. So it's 2-2 following a penalty. Coverage available on ABC. Listen, just look for the green and gold button. The Magpies by 18 points. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
12 teams, 3 cities, 1 dream.
Great touch on the edge of the box. Right foot strike. He scores. Unbelievable.
ABC Listen, your home of the AFC Women's Asian Cup Australia 2026.
Dribbles to the edge of the area. Strikes. Oh, it's in. What a wonderful goal.
One match live every day. Every Matildas game. Every final. On ABC Listen. Just look for the green and gold Asian Cup button.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Ball hits the deck, both rucks with hands on it. Nick Dacos goes the outside of the boot, up towards half forward. Lipinski out after it, wins the footy for the Pies. Handball to Pendlebury, look away handball. McCreary for the dream start, curls it through. Less than 25 seconds into it. And just like that, Collingwood back in front, they lead by 4 points.
Away to Nick Dacos, chips it up the wing to McCreary. He has space now to take a bounce. He runs the wing, hand pass to Elliott, looks inboard to Parker, linking up beautifully, pulls the kick to half forward, and the mark is taken by Pendlebury.
And he's going to give it off here.
He does to McCreary on the run from 50, arcs out to the right for back-to-back goals to start the third. McCreary has his second. Saints have missed a few of these. Mitch Owens directly in front, 15 metres out, not this time. An important steadier for the Saints to cut the margin back to 5 points Collingwood's way. Lipinski takes the mark. He's at left half forward. Veers out to the right. Looks for Elliott on the lead. He comes out. In from the side, Caminiti. De Goey the crummer. Around the body to his third. Vintage Jordan De Goey.
At Lipinski. He'll kick up towards centre half forward. Looking for Buller to launch at it. Hands to it, no mark. Long roves the pack. Sweeps the handball away. Rone Steele in stride. Runs to 30. Finishes.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Great to have your company wherever you're joining us around the country. A 5-2 third quarter from the Magpies has them 18-point leaders at three-quarter time. 10-10-70 to the Saints, 7-10-52. I'm Matt Clinch alongside Ben Cameron in commentary. Lauren Porton down on the boundary. The thoughts of our experts, Luke Ball and Brett Delidio.
Much better quarter, wasn't it? Good response from that second quarter where they really got dominated around the contest. The Pies, as we said, they were able to turn it around. Still, the Saints, it was 23-21, so the Saints shaded them, but you just got the sense, you got the feeling they absorbed it more. And it was actually that centre bounces lids have been critical, really, haven't they? Whoever's been able to get on top at the centre bounce, there's been some scoring out of it, which we know with the new rules and 666, we know that's an opportunity. Both sides have been able to burst out of the front of the centre bounce as well. So that's one to watch.
McCreary's the one in that quarter, wasn't he?
He was brilliant, wasn't he? He started in the centre bounce and really set the tone, didn't he? That first
one.
First contest and then pushed forward and kicked the goal.
2 goals in that quarter.
Dacos got going again in that quarter. So he had 13 possessions for the quarter. I think they've, this quarter they need to put someone. I think young Hugo Garcia went to him about the last 5 or 10 minutes, but the damage had already been done a little bit. 7 score involvements, Nick, for the quarter. So it's a monster quarter, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, he's 13. Like, he has 11 of them uncontested. So he took a couple of kick-ins.
Yeah,
but
it's
like, if you're going to make him work for
work him over. And on the flip side, we spoke, Wanganeen Miller only the 1 possession for the quarter.
Yep.
So that's a massive win. He's the match winner. He went forward at the end there. and was able to fly for a few marks, but they had him well and truly covered. And it feels like Perryman, whilst it hasn't been a hard tag,
he's been
it's been a pretty accountable job, hasn't it? So that's been a huge win. Now we know that if you go to sleep on Wanganeen Miller, he can light it up and do some damage, but he's well and truly under control from the Pies' point of view. So that's a massive win, and it's just been, you called it too. We were just chatting. It's been the cool, calm heads. It's the experienced players that have played together for a long time. They've been happy to kick and catch, haven't they? They've really sped the ground. They've made the Saints defend and try and drag their team defence out of place a little bit. The Pies have controlled the footy a lot more than the Saints have. So you feel like, this quarter, if they're allowed to play that way, they'll do enough to be able to go on and win. Whereas the Saints probably need to get the ball in motion more, don't they? They need to sort of continue to keep energy on the ball and continue to lower their eyes. Again, that bomby sort of kick, the Pies have been able to deal with pretty well behind the footy.
They've put Naz now to half back to try and help him get free, but Perryman's still going to go down there with him and play as a defensive half forward. They've swung Taru forward, which I don't mind because he'll jump at it and he'll have a real crack at it, but they've swung the magnets a little bit to try and energise their player.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? So Sinclair and Wanganeen Miller go back behind the ball to try and generate a bit of run. Now, you'll see them be really aggressive, which, can backfire, can go the other way. We saw Pendlebury playing on Sinclair really do some damage in that quarter because Sinclair didn't want to pay him enough attention. So, but it's a move to help them try and win the game, isn't it?
Yep.
Just the one disposal for Nasiah Wanganeen Miller in that third quarter. Collingwood by 18 points as we enter the final term. Taconi wins down the tap against Cameron. It's knocked on Collingwood's way. And then a second time by Perryman. Inside the 50 it trickles. Winhager gets back, tries to knock it to the advantage of Flanders, who gathers for St Kilda. Kicks in the middle of the ground. The kick is wide of Hall. And the intercepting mark taken by Dan Houston, whose confidence continues to rise. Out to the members wing. He kicks to Nick Dacos. Turns inboard to Elliott. He's trying to get it to McCreary or to Goey, and to Goey. In the end, it's chopped off in front of him by Max Hall, getting back in defence for the Saints. Sends it out to the wing to Cooper Sharman. Gets the hand pass away to Sinclair. Has Darcy Wilson over the top. Chips it to him between wing and half forward. Sinclair kept running on the outside. He receives the hand pass. Ryan's the target in the pocket, and he takes the mark. As Maynard tried to get there late to spoil.
Is Maynard and Ryan in the same pocket, the Dom Sheed pocket?
It was.
That was where the Shepherd happened. Could have been a free kick.
Ryan took the mark and kicked it to Sheed, though, didn't he?
Yep.
He's a bit further up the ground, but very similar. Well, these are the sort of half chances you need to take, don't you? That's what they got him for. Got into the club for.
The 5 disposals for the former Premiership Eagle. In his debut for the Saints, 29 years of age, in his 9th year in the AFL system. He's hard against the boundary here in the right forward pocket. Liam Ryan sets flight. It's a pretty good effort. It's a reason to get out and share. Welcome to Moorabbin. As it gives St Kilda the spark they need just 90 seconds into the final term. Collingwood's lead cut back to 12 points. The Magpies 10-10-70. To St Kilda 8-10-58. What a start to the final term for St Kilda.
You trace it back to the JB Elliott turnover.
Yeah.
Just didn't get it deep enough, did he? It's so often you see in today's footy, if you turn the ball over,
trampoline
part of the ground, it can come back the other way with interest. And they didn't really see it, did they, after that? Sinclair involved.
Yep. What it does do, having Nasiah Wanganeen Miller go down there to half back, is that a lot of attention goes towards trying to stop him. I know Perryman's right; he's been in his shorts all day, but Sinclair then got off the chain. He linked up 2 or 3 times and then gave that goal assist over to Liam Ryan. Pretty handy finish out there from that pocket. A little nod of acknowledgement from Bruzzy Maynard.
The Koning slapping it down. Garcia with the clearance for St Kilda, tumbling it inside 50 through the hands of Parker. Parker does well to tap it back. Has some support from Crisp, who kicks out wide. Dacos slaps it on, goes to ground. Hill will track it. Saints ball again. Hill turns and kicks inside 50. Higgins, lots of it, doesn't mark. Crisp mopping up for the Pies again. Houston kicks out on the full. So Brad Hill will get the free kick. High half forward for St Kilda. A little bit of momentum for those in red, white and black at the moment.
This hasn't been a factor at all, Jack Higgins, has he? Can he produce something in this last quarter?
Hill kicks inside 50. Mitch Owen rises, can't complete the mark. Brampton dumped in a tackle by Higgins, holding the ball.
Billy.
St Kilda have come to life.
What? He swarmed on.
Frampton was trying to at least show the attempt, and he was trying to knock the ball clear, but Higgins got him. And now St Kilda with a chance to kick back-to-back goals.
That's so stiff.
Red hot.
He grabbed a hold of it.
Red hot. He turned to 180, didn't he?
Higgins around the body from 35 metres out, puts through his first of the night. And St Kilda have come to life in the final term. The margin is back to 6 points Collingwood's way in just 4 minutes. The Saints have put on 2 quick ones. The Magpies 10-10-70, St Kilda 9-10-64, and some forward pressure delivering results.
Just finished saying, didn't we, Lids? Hasn't had an impact really at all. Jack Higgins only his second kick, but that's footy, isn't it? If you stick at it, you keep presenting, keep turning up. I think he was a bit stiff there, Billy Frampton. He's been caught a couple of times tonight. That time it was really only a turn, wasn't it? Not sure if that's prior opportunity even if you're going to give the key defender a bit of grace. But that was a centre bounce, though. That was De Koning out of the centre bounce. This is where his size, his athleticism will really test out Darcy Cameron. Needs to compete here.
He went with that weird hand signal that Steve Smith did to Jofra Archer during the Ashes. There's a celebration. Jack Higgins. Saints out of the middle again. A free kick. De Koning to Flanders. Kick smothered. Grubbers up to half forward. Collingwood arrive. St Kilda win it again. Wilson shoveling out a handball. Garcia with nowhere to go. Free kick. Back to Darcy Wilson it will go. All of the momentum at the moment. St Kilda.
Yeah, he didn't fancy himself here. He's got a long leg. De Koning's all over Darcy Cameron in these centre bounce contests.
Darcy Wilson stabs it into the pocket. De Koning, it skids out. 4:50 stoppage coming up for St Kilda. They trail by a kick.
He pushed off Cameron, had the space and couldn't deliver it to him. Yeah. Lauren Borden on the boundary.
Rowan Marshall is downstairs in the rooms for St Kilda. He's undergoing a concussion test, so he won't be able to come back on until at least the 15-minute mark of this quarter if he passes.
Thanks, Lives. Korea have also taken the lead against the Tillies 3-2 in the Asian Cup.
Oh. He copped a nasty knee in the back of the head late in that third quarter, Rowan, so hopefully he's okay.
Ball up in the right forward pocket for St Kilda. Mitch Owens gets it down. Max Hall on the run. Flying shot on goal. Misses everything. Out of bounds on the full to the right. Collingwood lead by 6 points, but the Saints are surging.
On the scoring end, isn't it?
Certainly has.
Hunt Road end.
With the hard hats, Paulie. Knew what was coming. 5 inside 50s to 2. Maynard kicks long around the boundary line. Schultz roving the pack. Wrenched down in a high free kick. 16 disposals to 7 in this quarter the way of the Saints. And all of the running, but Schultz just settling it down. Kicks around the southern wing. Contest kick. Up they go. Off hands. Perryman shovels out a handball. Turnover. St Kilda ball. Silvani off to Wangani Malira. Chips a kick. Schultz. Oh, not paid the mark. McRae goes back after it. High free kick.
It was paid in the end.
So Schultz to have the kick on the wing. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Collingwood all of a sudden needing a bit of composure as he sends it out to Nick Dacos. Takes the mark at left half back. Acting captain tonight without Darcy Moore. Finds Tagoe just in front of Wangani Millera. He plays on and gives the hand pass away to Josh Dacos. Tries to kick up towards the top of the 50. McCreary and Sidebottom both there. Hill makes the spoil for St Kilda. Taru slides in. Knocks it away from Long. Winhager's hand pass chopped off by McCreary at Collingwood. Hand pass to Parker at right half forward. Just gets his kick away in time. Looking for Membry. Elliott over the top. It's spoiled away. And Sinclair gathers. Risky hand pass though. Got it in the end to Flanders. Got it forward to Winhager. Up the wing to Cooper Sharman. Did he have it long enough? No. Ball knocked away. Good second effort from Maynard. Got it to Chris. To Josh Dacos. Hand pass missed to Goey. Cannons into Winhager. Tom De Koning tries to knock it clear. It's frantic footy. Perryman gets the hand pass to Maynard. Out towards left half forward. Running onto it. Steele has a goal already. Chips it into the pocket. It's over Elliott's head. And Wilkie takes it for the Saints. He's almost run down. It spills to McCreary. The work of Schultz. McCreary misses across his body to the right-hand side.
Well done, Schultz.
Collingwood by 7 points.
Oh, it's frenetic stuff, isn't it?
Oh, feels hot, doesn't it? Yeah. Going up a beat here. Wanganeen Malira kicks to Hill, kicks around the wing. Crisp and Owens. Owens slips out the back, gathers the footy for the Saints. He's run down, handball for Hall on the logo, runs back into traffic, retreats with the handball to Hill. Hill chips it short for De Koning. He can release Garcia. Garcia's kick dribbles inside 50. It won't really work out. Josh Dacos gets there. Side bottom, able to shepherd away Higgins. And Josh Dacos pokes a kick for his brother, scored away. Out of play. And a throwing coming, 60 around from the attacking goal for the Saints.
Some hands on hips. This is, March the 8th. It's not supposed to be played at this intensity. It's early in the season. There'll be some big breaths being had here.
Thrown back in. Darcy Cameron takes front position. Tom De Koning shoves him out of the way, then volleys it along the ground inside 50. Mitch Owens in front. He tangles against Maynard, spills out, side bottom brought down. And the umpire will ball it up in the left forward pocket for the Saints. Collingwood by 7 points, but the Saints are surging. 2 goals to none so far in this final term. 9 minutes gone. Thrown in the air. Cameron controls front position against Mitch Owens. Tapped it up to Ned Long. Not deemed to throw. Kicks out of the defensive 50. Tom De Koning waiting for the intercepting mark.
He's having an impact, isn't he, the big fella?
Yeah, just dropped behind the ball. Allowed Owens to do the ruck work in the forward pocket. Takes the intercept mark and moves it infield to Windhager. Lauren Borden.
Rowan Marshall's just come back up and he's sitting on the back row of the bench, so it doesn't look good for him. No confirmation from St Kilda just yet, but it looks like he might be out of the match.
Wilkie to Sinclair, who comes infield to Windhager, centre half forward. Driving ball towards full forward. Sharman hands to it. Doesn't quite complete it. Down at ground level. Owens shovels out a handball. Higgins swooping onto it. Clean hands. Ryan wrapped up by McCreary. Back to Higgins. Snaps on goal. Wilson. He drops the mark in the pocket. He gets it back on the boot. It's all the Pies. Not 15. Maynard's run down. Ball jars free. Still the umpire lets them rumble. Hot footy inside 50. Ryan burrowing through. Holding the ball.
Wow.
He ducked his head.
Yeah, he did.
You don't duck your head, he probably gets a high free kick.
Geez, Darcy Wilson.
Yeah.
Looked at
how clean was Jack Higgins there at full tilt.
All of a sudden this game has turned into such a frenetic contest as Liam Ryan stepped over the mark, and a 50-metre penalty will take Jordan Ngoe out of defence into the middle of the ground. Collingwood by 7 points. They've withstood everything St Kilda have thrown at them. He gets it to McCreary. High ball inside 50. Pull of the deepest target. Wilkie makes the spoil. It comes down to Windhager. St Kilda out of defence with a hand pass to Wilson. Run down by Schultz. Great chase.
He is a beauty. Lockie Schultz.
Oh, how good's that?
And the ball goes out of play on the full.
Never see someone chase to tackle with such intent. It is unbelievable stuff. He's had about 3 or 4 of those efforts this quarter. It's match-winning stuff, really.
So Owen Steele has it. He veers out to the right on 50. Elliott in front, got first bite to it and took it on the second. Jamie Elliott holding front spot. Takes the mark in front of a big pack. And the St Kilda defenders will be frustrated. They couldn't get a hand to that. Jack Silvani was there. Carroll as well. And Elliott just read it best.
Yeah, just a bit of inexperience, wasn't it? Just allowed that space at the front. Gave him a...
10 disposals and a behind as Jamie Elliott steps across his body and puts through a steadier for Collingwood. 2 goals to start this final term the way of St Kilda, and Elliott steadies for the black and white. A 13-point lead Collingwood's way. 11-11, 77 to St Kilda, 9-10, 64. A career best 60 goals last season for Jamie Elliott. He gets his first in the final term for Collingwood, 12 minutes in.
That was incredible, that chase and run down from Lockie Schultz. They looked like they were just about to waltz this out and find one. Just that half a step too much, Darcy Wilson on it, but the pressure and dive. I thought young Steele could have maybe pinned the ears back and knocked it through from outside 50 there, but good disciplined kick just to the top, 5 metres out from the top of the goal square.
He's got caught in no man's land there, Cal Wilkie. He was back by himself. We're so used to him being in the right position to impact the contest, but Elliott allowed a run and jump at it.
Collingwood steady to lead by 13. Restart in the middle. Nick Dacos can't take it. Pendlebury does. Out towards Long. Back to Pendlebury. Forward handball. Releases Lipinski. Darting kick for a leading McStay. Doesn't mark. Ball on the ground. Sinclair, nice spin. Saints back with it. Windhager to Sinclair. Just run down. Knocks him off his kick. Works for Houston. Pies ball again. Pendlebury goes back to Long. Right on the centre line on the wing. He chips it out wide. Finds McCreary. High half forward.
How's the difference of Pendlebury in the middle there with his composure? I know we've said it for years. His ability to stand there and have everyone else go around him. The Saints don't seem to have that composure just yet inside their midfield.
McCreary retreats, goes back to Josh Dacos, who goes back to McCreary, 80 out from goal.
He has it at right half forward on the members' side. Elliott leads into the pocket. He chisels a pass in that direction. It clears him and Carroll. Not marked cleanly by Silvani. Has to knock it clear. Elliott tries to knock it away. In the end, he gets trapped under Perryman. Tried to scoop it up to Ed Allen. Play on Sakul. Spills out St Kilda's way. Flanders can't clear it. Ed Allen for Collingwood. Hand pass to McCreary. It's smothered by Filippo and ricochets out of play. A throw in the right forward pocket for Collingwood. They lead by 13 points. 14 minutes gone in the final term. The Saints kicked the first 2 goals of the final term, but the Pies have steadied.
Forward 50 stoppage for Collingwood. Cameron comes in, taps it down, Pendlebury onto it, handball to Ed Allen, back out to McCreary. Right at the junction of the 50 and the boundary line, centering kick, they're all there. Boxall punches it away from Wilkie in the end. Spoils it through, safety first. Collingwood by 14 points. Quarter hour mark, final term.
Ben Cameron alongside Matt Clinch calling the action. Lauren Borden on the boundary. Luke Ball and Brett Delidio, your experts. Nasai Wanganeen Millerer will take the kick in. Chips it to Carroll, who marks in the left back pocket, then runs around the back to get it back again. This time he works it over the top to Garcia. He might get it back a third time now, as he does here. He runs away from McCreary, sends it up towards Cooper, Sharman and Ryan. It clears the 2. Ryan lost his footing. Sharman tries to sock it on the ground away from Maynard. Running onto Aquina. Hand pass inboard for Collingwood to Josh Dacos. Away to Billy Frampton. Off the instep. He turns it over. Philippi takes the mark. Saints away again. Hand pass to Sinclair. They're on in the goal square. Sharman the target. Quainer makes the spoil. Still alive. Mitch Owens slides in. He's brought down by Pendlebury. Umpire waves play on. Houston just gave it to Pendlebury. 25 metres out from St Kilda's goal. Was Ryan taken high? Yeah. He slides in. He was. It's chaotic. It's desperate. And the Saints will get a shot on goal.
I think the umpires got caught up a little bit there in watching it and the roar of the crowd and everyone's so excited. But it was just a little overzealous, that attack on the footy, and the man with Liam Ryan kicked one from the other side of the ground. Can he knock this one through as well to bring him back into it?
Only a slight angle, but he's going to kick around his body. Liam Ryan opens up the angle for his second in the final term. He misses to the left-hand side. Boy, they've left some shots out there tonight. Collingwood lead by 13 points. 16 minutes gone, final term.
Official crowd posted 82,528. So this is the biggest ever home and away crowd that the Saints have played in front of. Short kick in from Houston, away to Maynard to a sliding Josh Dacos.
Big Billy takes a big sigh of relief there.
I'll say he does.
Streaming out of defence and shanking one.
Had a bit of everything today, Billy.
He has, yeah.
Short kick from Lipinski, a turnover. Trying to exit the defensive 50. Owens marks for St Kilda. Half forward flank, wide out. Centering ball towards the hot spot. Up they go. Maynard drops the mark. Pendlebury gathers. Handball back towards the ground. Gathered by Hall. St Kilda ball again. Filippo pokes it out wide. Hill can't take the sprawling mark. Ed Allen just paddles it away. It's chaotic again. Dacos gets a handball back to Allen. He's tackled the ground and a ball up just inside 50 for the Saints.
Get down to Lauren Borden in a few moments by McCreary down to the bench. Collingwood leading by 13 points. De Koning wins down the tap against Cameron. Flanders throws his head back, trying to get a free. Didn't get it. Hand pass to Hall. Spills out. Filippo. Look away. Hand pass over his shoulder. Only as far as Josh Dacos of Collingwood. Kick up the wing. Looking for Membry. Wilkie works him underneath. Takes the intercepting mark for St Kilda. Kicks into the middle of the ground. Sinclair marks. Now he's got Silvani wider in the middle of the ground. He sends it to him. Collingwood have most of their players in the defensive half. The kick to Sharma. Cooper Sharman can't complete the mark. He had a metre or two. Knocks it on to Ryan. Off balance as he fires towards goal and misses to the right-hand side. It's now a 2 straight kick, 12-point lead Collingwood's way at the 18-minute mark of the final term.
Just can't find a mark, can they, inside 50? The Saints have had some opportunities. Sharman that time dropping one.
Lauren Borden.
It looks like a right shoulder issue for Beau McCreary, so he's got the physio just rubbing some deep heat into it at the moment. So obviously very keen to get back out there.
Josh Dacos, short on the exiting kick to a sprawling Schultz. Been good, particularly in this final quarter, Lockie Schultz, with his defensive efforts. Short to Pendlebury and back to Schultz.
I feel like they might have to score one more time here, the Pies. Don't want to shut up shop too early.
Collingwood leading by 12 points. Still 7 minutes of real time remaining. Kick to Cameron on the wing. There's a lot of it. Paid the mark. Didn't have a lot of it. I'm not sure quite enough.
Yeah.
Right beneath the Shane Warne stand. Southern side of the MCG. Pokes it short for Pendlebury. Still going strong in game 4-2-6. Short kick to Schultz, who comes infield back to Pendlebury. Happy to see a little bit of sand just slip through the hourglass at the moment, Pendlebury. Back to Josh Dacos and back to Frampton. Here we go.
Oh, no.
Hang on to your hats as he looks the kick.
That's it.
Turns and just steers it to Josh Dacos. He's going to give it back to him. St Kilda are just pressing back.
What are St Kilda doing? Come forward, boys.
All of a sudden not applying the pressure. Maynard drives the kick inside 50. Bull of the target, getting back Wilkie. Supports his fellow defender in Carroll and sees it out of play for a boundary throw in. Right forward pocket for the Magpies. 20 minutes gone in the final term. Collingwood 11-12-78. Leads St Kilda 9-12-66 by 12 points. The Magpies with the last goal of the match. Thrown back in. Tom De Koning tries to knock it down. Garcia stripped of it. Spills out the way of Nick Dacos. Hand pass back to Pendlebury through traffic. Tackle brought down by Filippo.
Took him on, didn't he?
I thought so. Umpire says he'll ball it up.
Tried to break the tackle.
Certainly as much as Billy did down here on the defensive 50. Bit of grace there for the old boy.
Up it goes. McStay taking it out of the ruck. Feeds it out to Steele side bottom. Not his best kick towards full forward. Membry brings it down. Pendlebury goes cannonballing through. And taken to ground in the end. So ball up. 25 out from the Pies attacking goal. And valuable time just coming off the clock. Coney tapping it down. McStay ends up with the footy though. Handball away back into congestion. Josh Dacos stripped of it, holding the ball.
Good tackle.
St Kilda will get their chance. They'll get it 40 out from their defensive goal.
He's been good, Sinclair. One of St Kilda's probably their best.
Works it over the top to his co-captain in Cal Wilkie, who's bounding through the middle of the ground. 2 bounces. Wants Wanganeen Miller up with one arm. Can't complete the mark. Does regather though. Dribbles the kick inside 50. Sets Mitch Owens a challenge. He bounces into an opponent. But Jack Crisp gathers for Collingwood. Hand pass to Parker. Away to Nick Dacos. He works it laterally. Out to Lipinski. They see off another St Kilda challenge as they work it around the outer side. And Lockie Schultz takes the mark. Parker streaming forward. Chips it to him. Hand pass to side bottom. 55 out. Tries to chip it over the top looking for McStay. Can't take the mark. On the bounce he gathers. Hand pass along. Centre and kick. It clears Carroll. Bouncing ball for Ed Allen. Tackled by Carroll and it spills out. Umpire says
holding the ball.
Holding the ball.
We did miss the hands. That one handball opportunity.
Did attempt a hand pass but penalised.
Oh no, that's
Collingwood by 12 points, 22 minutes into the fourth. Windhager whacking a kick. Darcy Cameron thought he'd taken the mark, holding free kick. It'll go to Taru. St Kilda ball, virtually centre half forward. Sinclair to Owens, shrugs a tackle and a second. Dribbles a kick towards full forward. Frampton tracks it to the pocket. Handball to Quaynor, Pies in their back pocket to Parker. Loops it over the top. Here's Perryman just poking it beyond defensive 50. And a good short kick away to Lipinski. Lipinski will go laterally in. Back inside the D50. Perryman marks and the Pies taking some time off the clock. Back to Frampton, top of the defensive goal square.
Frampton out to Jack Crisp, who takes the mark in the right back pocket. Short to Maynard. 22 minutes gone in the final term. Collingwood by 12 points as they play the tempo game. Back to Frampton, 15 metres out from his defensive goal. Works it to Nick Dacos, who marks in the right back pocket. Possession number 38 coming up for Nick Dacos. Well, Marshall out of the match with concussion, so we'll mix next Sunday against Melbourne. And a battle with Max Gawn as Tom de Koning takes the intercepting mark at left half forward for the Saints. Feeds a hand pass back to Brad Hill. His kick is too wide for Mason Wood. And it was touched on the way through, so it goes out of play just short of the attacking 50 for St Kilda. Collingwood by 12 points. 24 minutes gone, final term.
Still time. Where's Naz? They get a little bit of de Koning magic here in the ruck.
Throw in half forward here for St Kilda. De Koning parrying it down, but Pendlebury onto it. Off to Nick Dacos. Set upon by a few. Slapping it out cleverly. Pendlebury away to Nick Dacos again, who shovels a handball to McCreary. Pies down the members' wing. Here's Buller. Short kick for a leading Elliott. On the half volley, clean bowls him. Wilkie mops up for the Saints. Off towards Carroll. Back to Wilkie. Now Silvani. Short kick for de Koning at the interchange gates. Collingwood by 12 points, 24 minutes into the fourth.
Around the interchange, Stewart holding up the sign. Tom de Koning inside 50. Sends it long to Ruflo from the side. Can't take the mark. Chris gets a hand pass out to Sidebottom. Collingwood have done this all night. To Nick Dacos. To Steele, who feeds it over the top. Back to Chris. Up the wing to Buller, who hugs it to his chest. Out of danger. And Collingwood just take it on the wing. In no real urgency to move it. Ball on club to boot. From the Swans, sends it up to half forward. Wilkie works his way to the front against Jamie Elliott. He so takes a mark falling forward.
Still time if they're good enough for St Kilda. Wilkie goes back to Hill. Switches it towards Sinclair. He'll complete it out towards the wing. Wilson drops the mark. Plenty of time to regather it. Takes a bounce. Runs the boundary line. Now kicks out of bounds on the full. And that hurts.
Throw those boots away, Darcy, I reckon.
So Quaynor
makes it tough from there, Benny, doesn't it?
It does. That was a little bit of a momentum killer. Yeah, just going out of the balloon. Quaynor short to Perryman. Perryman pokes it over the top, and Caminiti spoils it away. Throw in centre wing, southern side of the ground. Collingwood by 2 goals.
A crowd of 82,528. The biggest St Kilda home game outside of finals. To close out opening round in the AFL. Collingwood by 12 points. Thrown back in. Cameron's uncontested in the end. No Tom de Koning as he kicks up towards half forward. It clears Caminiti and also McStay. Taken by Wilkie. Switches back inside defensive 50. 2 Saints are there. It's taken by Carroll. Hand pass away to Hill. Links up at left half back as Carroll gets it once more. Turns inboard. It's not a great kick for Cooper Sharman. Pendlebury has to deal with it. Hall put the pressure on. Sharman's hand pass to Higgins. Left a bit to be done. Sharman tries to knock it on once more. Sinclair can't gather one-handed. It's Nick Dacos who emerges. Hand pass away to Steele for Collingwood. Back to the acting captain. He can't take it cleanly. Dacos tries to knock it on. McRae slides in for St Kilda. Got it back to Higgins.
Higgins just drives it deep, looking for a marker. Owens and Frampton. Frampton spoils. Owens out after it. Maynard, he's there for the Pies. A cool head. Handball back to Quaynor. And he chips it to Lipinski. Lipinski kicks out to the wing. Schultz can mark. And he can go for a little gallop. They might have done enough, the Pies. He kicks forward to the wing. Wilkie still trying as ever. Fights after it. Manages to get a handball out. Wilson wins it back for St Kilda. Now Windhager loops it over the top to Flanders.
Flanders just tries to get a hand pass forward. It trickles towards the boundary line. This will be last touch and a Collingwood free kick. Quaynor takes it. He works it back to Jack Crisp. 27 minutes gone in the final term. All the way back to Nick Dacos. And it's worked to Scott Pendlebury, who can just wax it in the back pocket to Jack Crisp. And the siren sounds. Collingwood with a commanding win. Down in personnel. Take down the big spenders of the off-season. The Magpies defeat St Kilda by 12 points in opening round.
Side by side they stick together to uphold the Magpies' name. See the barricades are shouting as all barricades should. Oh, the premiership's a cakewalk.
led by 11 points at quarter time. St Kilda took the lead in the second quarter and led by 2 at half time. The Magpies took control in the third quarter with 5 goals to 2 to lead by 18 points at three-quarter time. And they run out 12-point winners, 11-12-78 to St Kilda 9-12-66 in front of a bumper crowd on a Sunday night at the MCG. 82,528. St Kilda's biggest home game apart from finals.
Good old Collingwood forever. They know how to play the game. Side by side they stick together to uphold the Magpies' name. See the barricades are shouting as all barricades shout. Oh, the premiership's a cakewalk for the good old Collingwood.
St Kilda finished with 2-2 to Collingwood's 1-2 in the final term. But the Magpies start season 2026 as winners. Had lost their last 2 opening round matches to GWS. But Craig McRae in game 100 is a winner as the Magpies coach as he celebrates. And Scott Pendlebury as he joins Michael Tuck in second spot on the games record list for the AFL-VFL behind Brent Harvey in game 426. For the Magpies, 3 goals to Jordan Ngoe, 2 goals to Lockie Schultz and to Beau McCreary. Individuals to Elliott, McStay and Cameron alongside Rowan Steele. While for the Saints, 2 goals to Mitch Owen and 2 goals to Cooper Sharman. Individuals to Higgins, Wanganeen Miller, Hill, Ryan and Hall. The Magpies winners by 12 points here at the MCG against the New Look Saints. The thoughts of Luke Ball and Brett Delidio, your experts on ABC Sport.
Well, I mean, it probably wasn't pretty, was it, Lids?
It wasn't.
In the end, it was a really hard-fought, ground-out win from the Pies, and they just did it in a couple of bursts, really. No, they had a really poor second quarter.
Their second and their last weren't overly strong.
Yeah, and they just sort of held up and just did enough to hang on. I think, 4 points is great in this competition, as we know. That's right, we banked them. We highlighted they had a few issues either end of the footy. They get some key defenders back. I think, they're going to need to do some work on what's happening forward of the footy. A couple of times I'm thinking to myself, geez, now that key forward, just to come out and take a mark and settle things down and go back and kick the goal, they really lacked that, didn't they? They really had to work hard for their goals. McStay will be better for the run. Young Buller, only his first go for his new club, and you called it before the game, really it was their experience and their class through the midfield that got the job done in the end. And the Saints will rue missed chances in that second quarter. 13 more inside 50s, dominated contested footy, just couldn't find a winner forward of the ball. And in the end, Collingwood's defenders need to take a fair bit of credit for that. But just the way they moved the footy and some of their kicking, their decision-making going inside 50, they left a lot of opportunities out there. And in that last quarter as well, when both teams were out on their feet a bit, first game of the season, both teams look really tired and low on petrol tickets, but that's a sign of a good team, and that's where they need to get to. That's where that sort of experience and that ability just to
be calm under pressure.
And lower your and make the right decision or choose the right decision and then execute. You're pointing at Scott Pendlebury. I mean, see him getting interviewed out there on the ground. We didn't see him till about 20 minutes into the first quarter. But
how much time on ground do you reckon he had? I just looked it up.
For 60%,
55%.
There you go, 55%.
Not a bad way, is it?
26 possessions, 11 of those. He had the most, or second most contested possessions for Collingwood.
Yep.
And 10 score involvements.
5 direct goal assists.
Yeah, so
career high.
What a performance! He's 426th game.
Find a way to get in.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
He's a jerk, really.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's just embarrassing the rest of us. but in the end, probably just one or two too many winners across the ground. No one really stood out at either end of the ground, did they? But
not big forward guys.
Yeah, that's right. In the end, just a few too many winners and. You just see Harry Perriman getting a fair bit of credit there from his teammates. I thought his job on Wanganeen Miller, whilst not a hard tag, just a really disciplined run with roll.
Yep. But when he went forward, he had the play as a backman and really try and stop
which
him.
He's done before. So perhaps there's an extra string to his bow there. That's great for the coach to know that he can draw it in for that. And Wanganeen Miller only has 19 possessions.
A lot of those in the last.
And 1 goal. So. Terrific performance there from Harry Perriman. So plenty to improve on, clearly, for both teams. I think you said at three-quarter time, Benny, really, compared to last night's game, you feel like these two teams are the rung down at the moment, aren't they? But you just know that with the Pies' experience, a lot of premiership medals in that team still, and with the Dacos boys and the class around that if they can bank some early wins, knowing that those players, as the season goes on, their experience will hold up really well. They'll be wrapped with that.
Yeah, no, couldn't agree more with you, Paulie, there. I think their ability in big moments just to stand up, and they look like a team that's used to winning and knowing how to. They back each other. They know their structure. They know when the time's right to go forward, but they also know when the time's right just to take the air out of the game. Whereas St Kilda, they got caught up. There's a perfect example just here on the half-forward flank. Tom DeConning gets a mark. The perfect time was just to say, we're not quite right here. Let the play unfold a little bit. Handball, tackle, dribble, kick inside 450, mopped up, and away it goes again. So that's just experience in playing together, but also you've got some young players coming through there. I mean, we saw, Filippo being exposed more so in the midfield today. Darcy Wilson, whilst I thought he was okay, almost game.
Had chances,
but he also had a few that he probably would like his time again, So there's plenty to like out of. Well, we know Collingwood are going to be thereabouts. Their list is set up to have a crack at it, isn't it? Their issues is going to be kicking goals when they go forward.
Yep.
We still saw that, I think, tonight with 3 to go. A couple to McCreary, and their smalls got involved with their tools.
Yep.
Memory and McStay and Buller didn't really look like
no
it.
Impact, yeah.
McStay's goal was a snap around the body that dribbled through, which was handy, but it's not a key forwards role or game. And the other, like on the flip side for St Kilda, they just they weren't able. You have 23 plus 23 inside 50s and still go down by 2 goals. You'd be disappointed.
Yep.
I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you beat up a team that's pretty good in the contest. Yeah, they've let one slip there, I think, the Saints, but they'll learn a hell of a lot from it.
Nick Dacos leads Collingwood off the MCG. He finished with 41 disposals, 11 score involvements and 5 inside 50s, while brother Josh had 36 disposals for the Magpies. Jack Sinclair led the way with 35 disposals and Marcus Winhager had 29. So what do we learn about Collingwood? They've got some vulnerabilities, but their core talent is still there.
Nick Dacos, good player. Yeah, I learned that. 41 for him tonight. His running ability is next level. His ability to go from contest to the next one and to get on the spread again, he just goes absolutely flat out, then recovers really quickly and goes again. Yeah. Perfect example for any young kid to come and watch how to run as a midfielder. They've got good ball users, Houston, Dacos.
Lipinski,
yeah. Even Maynard was solid as a user down back tonight.
Yeah, Quaynor was good. McCreary had moments. Loved Lockie Schultz's game. You just know what he brings to that team. He had some critical moments, really game-winning moments. So what did we learn? Not a heap that we didn't know already. I think that
you're going to have to find a big forward.
That's the key. Yeah, Can Buller?
They've got vulnerabilities at both ends.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and so hopefully they get more back soon, and how. But we know that they're towards the end of their careers as well. I watched Buller a couple of times. I feel like his work rate's there. I think he's I think that if that can be the foundation of his game, then. Sometimes I feel like he was trying too hard, wasn't he? He wanted to really impact the game, obviously, as you do early days in your new club and a young player. So worth persisting with. But they're going to have to get some more out of the key tools forward of the ball.
The Magpies winners by 12 points. Let's join them with Lauren Borden.
They've just got their hush before they normally sing the song. It should be coming any second now. For the first time this season, Collingwood singing their song. They look a little bit exhausted, to be fair. Person of note in the room, Sway Lee, who apparently is an American rapper, was videoing this all. And I'm thinking, Ben, you might be one to know this, but I think there's millions and millions of Instagram followers, and they're down in the room. So there you go. If you know who that is, a big person apparently.
Even Benny's shaking his head. So we can't help you, Loz. Collingwood winners by 12 points. We'll bring you some reaction from the Magpies rooms very shortly. So the Magpies have Adelaide at the MCG next Saturday night. Then they have the bye. Then the Giants and the Brisbane Lions in the weeks to come.
Yeah, it's a tough few weeks, isn't it? They'd want to get Moore and Howe back sooner rather than later, I would imagine, for those games. But, yeah, that's a tough little stretch.
Darcy Moore was close. He was DJing at the Formula One, so they expect he'll be back next week. Darcy Moore might be a week or two away.
All right.
Yeah, that's what we do, is it, in rehab these days? I couldn't imagine saying, sorry, boys, I'm not going to play out there.
Just give me another week.
But just give me 1 week.
Unfortunate clash this week.
Put the headphones on.
Already committed to the decks at the Grand Prix.
The way of the world, hey?
Yes, Val.
Oh, well.
When was he
get away with
DJing,
it?
Clinchy? Was it today or yesterday?
It was in your socialite section of the paper. I saw it today.
Well, it must have been yesterday. That's all right.
Had to have been.
I'd assume it would have been yesterday. But, yeah, so many functions at Albert Park. We'll get Murph onto it on Thursday night to bring us all the latest details from the Formula One. The Saints fans leave the MCG disappointed tonight. They hope for better. That being said, they finished 12th last season with 9 wins and 14 losses. What should be their realistic expectations from what they've seen tonight?
Oh, I think they'll learn a hell of a lot. They were slow out of the blocks, weren't they? And we saw Ross grab the whole group there at quarter time and give them a little rev. So to try and get them going from the get go, I think is ultimately something they can learn from. But being a little bit smoother going forward with the footy, I feel like they were a bit. They bombed away a little bit and they didn't quite utilise those targets that they do have up front. I reckon Cooper Sharman probably left a couple on the table tonight. Mitch Owens didn't really get much separation. He looked good when he's bustling and trying to pick it up from the ground, but just didn't give us that much.
Let's head back down to the Magpies' rooms with Lauren Borden.
Oh, thanks, Clinchy. I've got Lockie Schultz here with me. A couple of goals tonight for you, Lockie. It seemed like a pretty intense first match out there for the season. How did it feel for you out on the field?
Yeah, it was. It was very intense. Always start the year off with a bang. It's always a bit of a finals-like intensity. Everyone's roaring, ready to go. So, it was an awesome contest. Absolutely loved it. Had a lot of fun out there, and to get the win and top it off with that was just a great way to start.
I'm sure there's 1,000 things you wanted to execute on the field out there today, but what were you most pleased with that you did or that the team did?
Probably comes back to our team defence. I think we've seen over the first few games of the round that there's a lot of high-scoring games, and the way we defended the ground and were able to sort of keep them to a fairly low score was just a credit to everything we've sort of worked on over the summer. And we have a lot of pride in our defence, and last year we were number one defence in the league. So to start the season off on the same sort of foot is just really pleasing to see.
And just on yourself, first year in the leadership team, third year at the Pies, it must be really nice to be voted into that role by your team. But did it change anything for you today?
No, not really. To be honest, I didn't even really think about it. I just sort of, game day is just game day. I just go about it the way I've always gone about it, and sort of just, I guess, help those around me. And I guess that's sort of just natural for me to just sort of try and be as vocal as I can out there and help the boys set up around me and celebrate the little things and get the boys up and about. So good start to that, and hopefully we can keep it going.
Lockie Schultz with us on ABC Sport. I'll send you upstairs for some more questions for our ABC Sport experts, Brett Delidio and Luke Ball.
Oh, Lockie, it's Luke Ball now. It's not hard to see why. Well done tonight, mate. Not hard to see why you've been voted into the leadership group the way you went about it tonight. I thought, you hit the scoreboard a couple of times, but some of those efforts, those chase and tackle efforts that you can hear gets the crowd involved, but also your teammates. It seems like you enjoy doing that stuff more than you do actually getting down there and kicking a goal. Is that fair?
Yeah, thanks, boy. I think that's sort of the one thing I can control, and it's the one thing that I sort of put my focus into going into every game. And like, you can't go into the game with focuses of getting the ball or kicking goals, because it's just never going to fall that way, unfortunately. But the one thing you can control is to chase and you harass and you pressure, and I think everything sort of flows from that. If you get involved in the game by your pressure and your tackling and whatnot, I think the rest can come from there. So, it was pleasing to sort of try and get a few tackles early.
It's bloody hard work, that. And I thought you covered a lot of ground tonight. You got a lot of ball out in the wing and playing that high half-forward role. So that would suggest to me you've had a pretty good pre-season, off-season.
Yeah, absolutely. They've smashed assists off-season and pre-season as they do. But, so I was glad to see the end of it. But, I'm feeling really good. I feel really healthy, feeling really fit, and coming into my third season at the club, I've got heaps of belief and confidence in myself and those around me, and I just feel like I can go out on the ground and sort of keep it simple and keep my focuses really simple and execute my role.
Lockie, Brett Delidio here, mate. I just want to touch on that or expand on that a little bit with your pre-season. We all know once you've done your pre-season, you come out there into opening round or round one, Mate, did you notice a big difference, a big shift in terms of the intensity, the pressure, or how your body was feeling out there?
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a finals-like game to start the year. Everyone's sort of roaring ready to go. Everyone's probably at their peak fitness and peak power. So the game sort of sets itself up to be fierce early and really contested. But as it goes on, I think sort of the run in the legs and all the work you've done over the pre-season sort of sets you up to finish off. And we're able to sort of control that last quarter towards the end of the game and hold on to possession of the ball. And it was just really pleasing to see that sort of all the focuses we've had over the summer have sort of fallen into place from get-go, and we're able to close out the game the way we did.
And the big old pensioner in your forward 50 there, mate. Did you know he had that forward craft, that old Pendles, mate, with all those score assists that he had?
Yeah, I know. It's
unbelievable,
I'm
isn't
saying to him all those touch sessions that he doesn't do. But no, he's absolutely, he's a masterclass. Everything he touched turns to gold, and I'm enjoying having him in the forward line for stints, and I was able to be a beneficiary of one of those tonight. So very thankful.
Just on Pendles, Lockie, it looked like, and we've seen it a little bit over the weekend with some of the other games as well. It looked like there was a specific plan to hold him back until a certain period in certainly the first quarter. I don't think we saw him until about the 20-minute mark. And then probably across a few of the other quarters as well. It looks like he and possibly some of the other guys who are on the wrong side of 30 will be the beneficiary of that 23rd player, that extra player on the bench now. Is that a little plan or a little strategy that you can let us in on at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he sort of spent the first 15 minutes of that first quarter off, and it was more of a rotation thing, just so we could get our rotations right, and I guess his longevity, we can get more out of him if we sort of keep the K's out of his legs a little bit in that sense. But we're just so lucky that we've got such a leader on the bench that when we go there, he's there and he's setting us up and he's keeping us calm and sort of allowing us to execute when we do. And when he comes out in the field, he's just phenomenal the way he goes about it and the way he sets us up, and just his poise and his class is something that we're so bloody grateful to have.
Lockie Schultz is with us in the Collingwood rooms following a 12-point win. Craig McRae's 100th game as Magpies coach tonight. Normally he's doing the sort of special presentations before the game. Was there anything in particular for him tonight?
Yeah, it's always a laugh before the game. Out pre-games, we always run out in the field with a big smile on our face. He gets us up and about, which is one of the first things I noticed when I came to the club. Just how sort of clear-headed you are when you run out in the field, just because of how light-hearted we go out there and how clear our focuses are, and we just take the pressure and the intensity out of it straight away. And it's credit to Fly. I think 100 games. He's done it all in 100 games already, and he's a phenomenal coach. And I'm just so lucky to be able to play under him.
And well, making the comment throughout the call, Jordan Ngoe looks physically fit. Has he been noticeable throughout the pre-season? He's been able to do more than in the past?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we were saying before the game, it's his best pre-season in terms of numbers that he's put together for about 6 or 7 years. So he's prime. He's ready to go for a massive year, and we saw that in his first quarter. The way he set himself up was just unbelievable. The way he reads the ball and his class that he shows is second to none. So having him fit and firing is going to take us a long way.
And the umpiring tonight, it felt like it was a bit chaotic at times. Did you sort of adjust to the new rules okay?
Oh, mate, your guess is as good as mine with them. I had to bite my tongue a few times. I didn't know what was going on, but you just got to play what's in front of you, I guess.
That's right. We're all rusty for the first round of the season. Congratulations on the win tonight. Good luck against the Crows on Saturday night.
Thanks, boys. Thanks for having me.
Lockie Schultz joining us from the victorious Magpie Rooms, winners by 12 points.
He was terrific. He was super.
His pressure was back, and
it was
up the ground.
Well, and that was the other thing I think that he's added now, or he can add and continue to add now. Just that, I think in his first year he was sort of a 10, 12 possession guy. He always had the intensity in the tackles, and today he was able to get up onto the wing, wasn't he? Be that sort of link type player, and he used the ball pretty well. And then
more of a lick.
Got on the end of a couple and kicked 2 goals. So he looks back to his best that saw him have a really good year at Fremantle and saw them absolutely target him and get him over and pay reasonable sort of price for him. But you can just tell he's really sort of comfortable now in his 3rd year at the club. Into the leadership group, really highly regarded. So thought he was terrific tonight.
I never like putting sort of players to ask about the umpiring, but there was sort of moments where, because the game was so frenetic,
it was
and
chaotic,
a little bit
it was
sloppy,
messy.
and
it was
scrappy at times. There was the Jack Higgins sort of moment in the forward pocket where everyone was trying to work out the snap over his shoulder as to what had happened there. He didn't get a free kick, and there was probably a few moments that I think will have better clarity in the next couple of weeks.
It always evens it or irons itself out, doesn't it? There's a few wrinkles early on, but yeah, and the game's fast. Like it's happening really quickly. We spoke to Lockie Schultz just then about that in terms of, it's like, mate, the intensity feels like finals early on in the game, so or early on in the year, and that's where the umpires are they're finding their feet as well and seeing things and the way players are adapting to these new rules as well. Was that a high shrug? Was it not? Was that touch just before it went out of bounds? Like I think we'll be okay in the long run, but I'm reluctant to bash them up too early.
The other news from Sydney is the Matildas and the Korea Republic have played out a high-scoring 3-3 draw in Sydney. So the Matildas now finish second in Group A and they advance through to the knockout stage. So they'll play either Korea or China in Perth on Friday. So that's the news coming through as Alana Kennedy scored the third goal for the Matildas, her fourth goal of the tournament. But, they needed to win to finish on top of the group. So that's the result. Of course, the Asia Cup is available on ABC Listen. Brendan from Hobart on the SMS, 0437 774 774. If a couple of Saints guys are getting $2 million, what would number 35 for the Pies be worth? He signed till 2029, but with Tasmania looming...
Do you want to know? Because I'll tell you what, there's a club that might be coming for him. So I don't... I'll be very careful what you wish for in that sense. He's worth plenty.
Well, I think that's what he's saying. I think, isn't he from Hobart, isn't he?
He's from Hobart, yeah.
Let's open up the checkbook.
Yeah.
What's he worth?
Well, he's magnificent.
They got a big signing bonus, don't they? I think, has he? So I reckon a fair bit of it might be thrown in front of Nick.
So I would imagine, I don't know this, but I'm thinking if you're his management, they're going to have to weigh up the signing bonus and whatever he's getting at Tasmania if he goes there at some point. The contract might make it difficult for him with that running through to 2029, and then work out that value as opposed to what it's worth to him to be a Collingwood champion and a one-club player for his entire career as the son of Peter Dacos and Nick Dacos at Collingwood.
He'll always be
for the entirety. Well, you're a manager. How would you try and weigh that?
You got to take in all offers. You got to weigh it up to understand the market, and that's where you're not doing your job if you're not exploring all options for your player. You've got to take loyalty and emotion out of it in terms of you might be a one-club player.
I don't even mean that in terms of emotional loyalty, though, Lids. I mean it in that I think there's a tangible financial worth for him being given all of Collingwood's networks and how big a club they are and speaking engagements and all the rest of it, whether that is worth enough to negate whatever extra he's going to be getting at Tasmania.
Collingwood haven't got that extra money in their cap that they can just go and throw at a player. So it's all about weighing that up. Now, he might not want to take that up regardless, but you're going to be wanting to try and make it up somewhere along the line if he's a Collingwood player. But look at what Gary Ablett did. He left, went up to Gold Coast, and he was able to come back as well, which is the fairy tale, isn't it? Not everyone gets to do that. Jack Gunston's been able to do it. But otherwise, it's... maybe that could be an option. But I'll tell you what, I'll put you in that position. You've got a $5 million signing bonus put in front of you to go and work at an opposition broadcaster.
I'm actually weighing this up at the moment.
Where are you going?
You turned it down, didn't you?
He's so loyal.
Lucky. Just wanted to be here with you boys. So, one club player at the ABC.
He's 23 years of age. In 3 years' time, he'll be 26, going into 27 when Tasmania come into the competition. I mean, he could get $20 million over 10 years, plus signing bonuses.
Pretty hard to...
Ablett's the comp, isn't it? He's a very similar player, isn't he? It is, because I think he was 26 when he left, I reckon, 2011. Did he leave? 2010. 2010. The end of 2010. Yeah, so he was 26. Yeah, so anyway, it's round zero. Can we just park those conversations for it? Just watch him...
So as we talk about one superstar, Nick Dacos, who had 41 disposals, how do we assess Nasai Wanganeen-Millero? He's had the same hype around him. He finished with 19 disposals for the night, kicked a goal, had just one disposal in the third quarter. And Harry Perryman, who had the job on him in parts tonight, finished with 22 disposals himself.
I think it's he's shown us a flaw potentially in his game, that he's gettable if you add some pressure to him. I think largely over the last probably 6 months of last year that he went around and did as he pleased. Would everyone agree with that? That he didn't have a lot of attention come his way, and because St Kilda were near the bottom of the ladder, so I was like, well, do we really need to put much time into them? They'll challenge us, but if we'll let him just go about his business. Now, with a bit of extra attention from Harry Perriman, we didn't think that was going to happen tonight because they haven't shown that Collingwood over the journey under Fly. But I liked it. I liked it for Harry Perriman's sake. I think that's another string to his bow to be able to do that and go forward and play back on them. But also, Naz is going to have to work out a way to not just get handball receives and be that run pass and deliverer.
So you would have gone through it. What advice would you give him?
What advice would I give him? Work out ways that you can make your teammates better around you in terms of, can you create a 2v1? Can you go and
block for someone else? Or
block for someone else? Can you? He showed that he can go to half back and do that, and that's a really easy way to do it. But are we wanting to see him just as a bona fide mid? I mean, the old school player, old school commentator, media person will say, oh, he's got to, if he wants to be one of the greats, he's got to do it just in the mid and beat the tag. There's not many players out there that can go out there and beat someone who's there to nullify. There's not many. I can't think of too many. Judd may have probably did it the best. Ablett probably as well. But there's someone's out there just to say, I mean, it wasn't a hard tag from Perriman by any stretch. I don't think there's many taggers in the game these days.
No.
But he's got to work out a way of not just being able to run past for handball receives and go and win it himself a little bit, but also can he put time into, I don't know, Scott Pendlebury would have been a good one to go and stand next to and try and nullify his influence on the game.
It's interesting because you feel like he's got more support out of this year. That Flanders was pretty good tonight. He had 26 possessions or 28 possessions. Flanders and obviously Sinclair spending a bit more time on the ball, Windhager.
But no mid that really jumps out and says, here, tag me instead of this guy.
So he's going to be the one. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and young Philippou's still developing through the middle of the ground as well. But you're right, it's just a work rate. You watch Nick, it's just a work rate thing, isn't it? You just got to keep getting into more and more contests. Yes, you've got to go in and win your own footy, and I think he can do that. He's shown he's got the toughness to be able to do that. He doesn't mind, the other side of the ball as well. We saw him tackle a few times, but it's just it just comes down to that in the end, doesn't it?
We've got lofty standards, haven't we? Like we expect a lot of him and his output, and if they're going to win and go well this year, he's going to have to play All Australian footy this year. But ultimately, I think it's can you go and win more of your own footy and spread like what we watch Nick Dacos do? Like, there's a reason why even when he is tagged or has someone running with him, he gets it 26 times and has still has damage.
Oh, I think that's part of it though. That we have such high standards because of Nick Dacos, that we hold Nasiah Wanganeen-Malira to those standards. I felt like tonight Nick was going to come out and remind us, and we spoke about this on the podcast we do, that I felt like he would want to lay down a marker, and 41 disposals, 25 kicks, 11 score involvements, would have had a goal if the kick was 5 centimetres to the right. I mean, he was everywhere tonight and reminded us what he can do. Just his kicking.
It's elite.
It's worth coming here just to watch him kick the football.
Yeah, both those two blokes, to watch two players execute, Wanganeen-Malira and Nick Dacos, they are just incredible kicks of the footy. That one of Nick Dacos where he's running full tilt on the other side of the ground there along the wing and hits Jamie Elliott 60 metres away without breaking stride, is because as ex-footballers, we know how hard that is to do.
It's his ability to get out of traffic, isn't it? Just his agility and his ability to turn on nothing, and his brother's the same, and it's just it's what an asset it is for in a game that was reasonably scrappy in and around. It stands out, doesn't it? Really stands out. The guys that can show composure in traffic and then execute, see the decision and execute. That was the difference tonight in the end. That was the difference in a low scoring tight game.
So St Kilda by 12 points, Collingwood by 12 points over St Kilda. I guess the other talking point will be the Saints forward line, and we've spoken a lot about Darcy Moore and Jeremy Howe missing tonight. Max King has missed so much footy, but it felt so congested despite having 23 more inside 50s St Kilda tonight. So is that another role where maybe if they try and clear out the forward 50 a bit more and try and get Nasiah Wanganeen-Malira some one-on-ones, but That being said, they're trying to play 2 rucks. They've brought in Liam Ryan to try and support Jack Higgins and their small forwards. What was your assessment of St Kilda's forward line tonight?
Clunky. I thought it was really clunky. I thought Owens and Sharman ultimately they jumped into each other a fair bit with Marshall taking up a fair bit of space there as well with the conning. And we didn't I thought Quainer was outstanding tonight on Higgins. He largely went unsighted. Liam Ryan, he's just finding his feet at a new club. I think he'll offer something different there. But then Max also, the other one that spent a bit of time down there zipping around. But I think they've got to get better with their execution going inside forward 50, but work together a bit more as a forward line and a forward line group. And we don't all have to try and get out at one time. Can we work to get one out and try and hit him on the chest?
Well, they're crying out for Max King, aren't they? Really, he's the one.
He's a focal point. Isn't he?
He's straight to one. That's right. Yeah, and it just the flow-on effect for an Owens and Sharman is that they don't get the opposition's key backs and they're able to play like those sort of hybrid athletic forwards that they are. And then Higgins also has the point, doesn't he? The reference point.
Yep.
For which to get front and centre and do his work.
But tonight was a night, though. If they were ever going to get a hold of a back line, it was tonight. Because they're missing Howe, missing Moore, and largely it falls back to Maynard to play as a key and Quain almost as well with Frampton. It makes a big difference, and that's why it's sort of they should have been better, but plus 23 inside 50s.
Yeah.
Darcy from Warrnambool poses an interesting question. How much do you think the pressure and the big crowd affects young, talented Saints players like Filippo and Wilson? Will it be hard for a side like the Saints to get experience like that into younger players?
Yeah.
It's interesting given that the
thought it during the call as well.
Club administrative side is to try and grow the club as much as they possibly can. The fact that they had 82,000 at the MCG, big tick, and yet if you ask Ross Lyon, would you prefer to play Collingwood at the MCG or Docklands, he'd probably take Docklands, but the two have to go hand in hand, really. You've got to win at the MCG to win finals.
Yeah, and I think I think they're keen to play more footy here. I think because you have to. Yeah, that's right. And I think at times tonight it probably showed that the occasion was big. Yeah, that's right. But you can only get better at it by being in that position, can't you? You can only sort of keep putting yourself in that position, and every time you do, you become more comfortable with it. So. That's sort of I don't know where their next game is here or whether they get to play another big club here or not. But, yes, they play well at the Marvel Stadium, but I think they want to be able to play well here as well. And they would have come in feeling really good about themselves tonight. Yeah. There's no doubt about it.
I picked them
as we did, as did I. Sort of lean that way just based on what I'd seen the previous month, and our esteemed caller over there went the other way. I think you just did that just to be a bit different, just to be just to take the other way. Yeah, I don't think you really meant that, Ben, but you got lucky, so well done. You won from one.
Even the Formula One commentator, David Croft, is down in the Collingwood room, so everyone's enjoying being a winner. The Magpies winners by 12 points. I did see Sir Swamp Thing, the crowd of 82,528, which would have been the biggest crowd for the majority of the St Kilda players to play in front of, was... what was the number for Scott Pennery? The 41st biggest crowd he's played in front of. So just shows you those experience you get for playing for the big clubs like Collingwood and Richmond, Essendon, Carlton. You can't buy it. The votes for the ABC Footballer of the Year.
Jeez, that was a quick handball.
Quick handball tonight.
I knew it. Yeah, you were. And I knew it was coming, so I just started to jot a few things down. I'm going to give one to Lockie Schultz, our man that we just spoke to then. I think there were great contributions all over the ground from role players, if we want to call them that, from the Pies, and I thought his impact on the game was huge. So I'm going to give one to Lockie. Oh, geez, I feel like I want to give Harry Perryman a vote, but I'm going to give him a special mention.
Yeah, special mention.
I'm going to give two to Scott, to Pendlebury.
Yeah.
10 score involvements from 55.
Half a game.
You talk about maximising impact. When you're on the ground. I thought
he calmed him down too, though, and that's
the other part. You're right. Yeah. So he had the burst when he had the goal assist in that that first quarter and third quarter, and then just when everyone was out on their feet and scrambling towards the end, he goes in a quarterback mode, doesn't he? And just says, "Give it to me. I know what to do next." So. He gets two, and we'll give three to Nick.
The little master.
New
little master.
He's played better games, but his ability to cover the ground. He had 11 score involvements, didn't kick a goal himself. But
I'm not sneezing at 41.
No, that's right. And that's right. you talk about high standards. We have very high standards for Nick, and he certainly played better games, but I thought he was best man on the ground tonight.
3 to Nick Dacos, 2 to Scott Pendlebury, 1 to Lockie Schultz from Luke Ball and Brett Delidio in the ABC Footballer of the Year. The good news is the footy is back on Thursday night, the traditional round 1 clash between Carlton and Richmond from the MCG. Hopefully we get a crowd of 80,000 plus once more. Then on Friday night, it's Essendon taking on Hawthorn. The early Saturday feature sees the Western Bulldogs, after their big win over the Brisbane Lions, taking on the Giants, also winners in opening round. The twilight is Geelong taking on Fremantle. We've touched on the Saturday night, the Sydney Swans hosting the Brisbane Lions, who could be without Harris Andrews after a 3-match suspension offering from the match review officer. Hugh McCluggage, we know, is going to be out with a calf injury. Darcy Gardner and Zach Bailey have also been offered 1-match bans, so keep an eye on the ABC socials tomorrow. Collingwood and Adelaide on Saturday night from the MCG, and then on Sunday it's North Melbourne and Port Adelaide as the early fixture. Melbourne against St Kilda. The Saints will be without Rowan Marshall given his concussion tonight, and the Gold Coast Suns taking on the West Coast Eagles as the final match of round 1. Is there one game in particular you've circled?
Oh, mate, I'm most excited probably with Richmond Carlton to start the week off. I think
what would it mean for the Tigers if they do it again?
Well, I think what does it mean for the Blues if it was to happen that way, more so. But, mate, I know one team's playing with a free hit and another team's playing with the weight of the world on their shoulders. So it'll be interesting to see how both teams handle that.
I think the Swans Lions is still the game of the round, isn't it? Yep. Despite the Lions, who they'll be missing. Good early test for their depth, and like what we saw obviously in that third quarter for the Swans. Great to see their superstars back playing great footy. So that's probably the one for me. Dogs Giants is a good game too. They don't like each other, we know that. So that's a beauty on Saturday afternoon.
Dockers and Cats as well. Thanks everyone. Thanks Bally. Thanks Lids. Great to have you back for season 2026. Thank you, Benny.
Thanks, Clinchy.
Thanks to Loz Borden down in the rooms. Thanks to Jonesy back at base and to Stuart Hollywood Baker. It was the Pies who prevailed by 12 points. Don't forget the sporting coverage continues tonight from midnight, Australian Eastern Daylight Time on ABC Listen. The men's T20 World Cup final between New Zealand chasing their maiden title, taking on India, trying to claim back-to-back titles as the host nation. So it's all available for you tonight. The Magpies, winners, good night from the MCG.
New inspiration from ABC Books. The author of The Vagus Nerve Reset brings you a new toolkit for calming your body and mind. Anna Ferguson's 21 Days to a Less Anxious You. Find it in bookshops and online.
ABC Sport Digital Radio, your home of netball.
Just focus on a little bit of good news as well in our glorious city.